So 2 different people were selling the hats?
Yep. The exact same hat. It was perfect.
They were just trying to get out.
But I got mine in the mail. I was super stoked about it. And I pulled the strap off on the back to adjust the size of it, and I just shattered all the plastic because it's from 1998.
Oh, it's actually that old.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know if it was just like a new,
Nope.
to make it look old or whatever.
Yeah, I got super excited. And I was like,
Yeah.
and then just all the little nubs just shattered right off. I was like,
that plastic didn't last very long.
Or we're gonna keep it 1997 and just tape up the back of it with electrical tape.
Young Ben, can I get a word?
Not even slightly.
Nope, nothing.
Into the mic, Ben? No?
Well, you get over there, Joshy. Steve, can you say something? Yeah, that thing's totally not on.
It's not.
Nope.
Double D 63.
What up, Double D?
Steve, give me another vocal. Again?
Big broken.
Yeah. Big mood. Big mood.
Just say some words.
I'll make a left turn. Not really sure what to do with my hands right now.
No one can hang up my stuff.
Welcome to the pre-show where we work out problems with the board.
All the kinks.
Where Corey works out all his kinks.
Yeah.
We're not here to kink shame.
We did sit here for the past 2 hours just bullshitting.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Oh, that's fine. We figured you were coming.
Hello? I'm off. And I'm on.
I'm going to holler at you.
Holla, 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 holla.
Oh. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you. Let me holler.
Scumbag, just start quoting everything from Ricky Bobby.
Oh, God. I don't know everything. Oh, there I'm in.
There he is.
There he is. Young Ben, let me get
There I
some.
am. Yo.
Oh, there he is.
We live.
We got it.
We get it.
Hello. Hello.
Now I think we get rid of that noise too.
How?
Hello.
Oh my God, that noise is gone.
It's just so much.
Definitely.
I kicked, turned all 3 of those vocals because those 3 are going into one channel here.
Right.
So I cranked that up a bit here and turned it way down on the main there, which made a fucking world of difference.
Yeah, really got
in
it going.
my ears
Really
anyway.
got it going.
Yeah, we're crispy clean.
Yeah.
Where's my internet? I got to tell the internet we're live on this fucking thing.
No internet today.
No internet day?
T-Mobile said no.
Yeah, everything's just
Oh no,
shut
that was
down
a
again.
DDoS attack. You
Oh,
know
really?
About that? Oh yeah.
Oh,
No, I didn't at all.
Oh yeah. Somebody's prepping.
Oh,
That's
really?
all I'm gonna say. Somebody's prepping. Yeah. Whether it's people at the center of the earth, people in other 2-syllable countries that begin with C and end with A. No. Yeah. No. Yeah, that was a DDoS attack that took down damn near every phone provider, all the internets,
Yeah.
and major social media platforms.
Dude, people love the internet. They'll die for the internet.
Dare I say,
Yeah.
Shard again out of the...
dare I say they attacked any bits of
J3 right there.
communication just to see if
Yo,
they could
who's
pull it all down.
Who's Shorty right there?
I wanted to ask you.
I don't know, man.
Is that new?
Lock it up.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, lock it up.
100%. I
Big
looked
shot
like you
to Jay
tried.
out there
She got
getting
out.
it done. She got out.
Looks pretty flexible.
Yeah.
That's gonna like, boys.
Are we talking
Yeah.
about Josh or?
Listen,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted to
not
ask you
these
who that
jeans.
was because I'm a fan.
I'm a fan as well. Big fan.
Gotta start following
Let me
right
get this
now.
here.
Did everyone miss that Josh just blamed his jeans for lack of flexibility? We're just gonna let that one go.
You need a nice
All
pair
right,
of
we're live on
shorts on.
YouTube / Revival Motoring. Maybe?
Hey,
Scumbags.
I think it is YouTube /
Copy. We're learning
What's
about
up?
NASCAR.
/ YouTube /
Yeah, it's Revival Motoring. Find us.
Everyone
We're
head
live.
over to the Twitch feed
Yeah.
and sit there for 45 minutes like
Yeah.
me, looking like the Travolta gift.
Scumbag
Just,
Steve.
Yo,
There we go.
I'm all about Shorty Yale right there, if you will.
Yeah, I don't think I know him well enough to ask, but I think you do.
Yeah, I'll just post here on the public forum.
Yeah.
Just throw it in the chat.
What's up with Shorty though? Uh-oh, I see some tats.
Uh-oh.
Corey, did you catch the tats?
Yeah.
we're talking about me.
Of course
or-
you did.
Hey.
Nah, she's got the little up high. You know what that
Oh,
means?
yeah.
We all know what that means. I gotta stop looking at this video.
Yeah. Yeah. How many views does it have? Because I think 50 of them are me.
51.
If I hit refresh, does it add one more?
Yeah.
Will she know?
Young Ben, you sit in the other room. You good? You know
Yeah.
you know what you're doing.
I'm good.
Yeah, you're gonna take notes today, right?
Yeah.
We
We gotta get our new segment going.
we ditched the 1 minute segment last week because the audio was crap. So that's why. It wasn't because of your lack of effort.
Which
this-
was also an issue.
What is this 1 minute segment?
This week I brought a proper camera for you to be recorded on. Young Ben's gonna do a 1 minute like a 30-second recap of the entire show.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Revival Motoring news update in front of the banner out there.
Oh, great.
That's the plan.
What's up, pre-party?
Hello,
Is he gonna
hello.
wear some weird blazer or anything? Or
Just
Not
Blaze?
yet. We want him to shovel
Just
some
Blaze.
paper. So what we really need to do is we need to move a desk from the other side of the warehouse. Get that over there. So it's a proper desk. And then we need to give him some papers to shuffle. And then, and only then, will it be 100%.
I should get a
how's
full,
that
I should get a
camera?
full ream.
How's that camera?
Of
That camera
paper.
look good?
The cam?
Do we
Cam
look square?
Double D is just crushing the Ricky Bobby quotes right
It looks
now.
pretty good.
I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
I feel like I should plug this thing in because it's plugged in and it's still losing power, which is not
No.
the best look.
And I'm going to change something on the camera real quick.
All right,
Wait,
everybody cool off.
Your computer's plugged in?
Yeah, but it's plugged into a little charger.
Oh.
I'm just waiting for Double D to just keep quoting over here. See what else you got here.
Yeah, what else you got?
Scumbag, I was joking about the Twitch thing. It's on YouTube. Scumbag's over here on Twitch just like, where is everybody?
Hey, tell everybody on Twitch to get over here. Where's the other fucking power? Josh, we gotta get like a power. I need to get some power onto this table or something.
We should get a power strip, just mount it right underneath.
Yeah, if we just have one in the middle of the floor under there, it'd be better. Because now I have to trip everybody up that has to go pee.
I can't get over the amount of work these guys have done.
You kidding me right now?
Yeah, they started yesterday morning at 7 a.m.
How hard is this gonna drop fucking everything if I unplug this?
Party's over. Everyone go home.
Gonna drop the whole stream? What's it saying now?
Just mic drop. Walk away.
Verge in the house. Big day. Big day.
Apparently YouTube doesn't like me when I turn the volume all the way down and try to watch the live feed.
Apparently YouTube doesn't like me,
Yeah, me
period.
Might as well drink a Bud Light.
Oh,
I
little
know.
BL.
we messed up. We should have brought bushes though.
I know.
Oh, Nick's in the house.
Nick.
Nick,
MR1?
Nick. No, not that Nick. Other Nick.
Walk to Nick.
Oh, Kramarchek?
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself. I can say his name now.
Somebody has to.
So, young Ben, how about another one of them Bud Lattes?
Young Babe, we got a Bud Latte over here.
Kyle's
Love
been
you.
here 10 minutes
Please.
and already demanding young Ben to get beers.
There was a please in there.
We haven't even started the thing yet.
Not even prepared.
All right, camera looks good. That's all straight. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Did you straighten the camera out?
Yeah.
It was the audience.
Double D crushing it.
It was the audience, not the camera.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah,
everybody's
Thanks, Young Ben.
Thanks, buddy. Everybody's heads were crooked.
Exactly. TV, your
Mine just
TV's
comes that
mounted
way.
on the wall crooked.
It's your TV.
Double D, dear 8-pound 6-ounce newborn infant Jesus.
Chuck who?
That's the
Time for a video.
that's the way I like to picture my baby Jesus.
He was a man. He had a beard. Love the way you're talking to you, Chip.
I grew Grandpa Chip's war medals off the bridge today.
Anarchy.
I don't know what it means, but I love it.
That's oh my god! It's such a absolutely, it's a gift of a movie.
Does anybody want to go fast?
All right,
We're gonna get this party started. What are we doing
yeah, I
over here?
think so. You boys ready? You kind of know the deal.
Hit me.
Oh yeah.
No profanity.
You can
Keep on topic.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we
Rules
stay
and
on,
rules.
Stay on topic and use no swears. Pretty much anything goes in the dungeon. The only thing you can't do is Nobody'd get that reference as an old radio show reference. But the only thing you can't really do is throw people directly or companies under the bus. That's pretty much all we shy away from.
They say
Short
words
of-
falafel.
So I can't talk about my least favorite driver.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can. You can say that.
'Cause
Yeah,
Joe
that's your own
Logano
opinion.
sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So I can
Yeah.
train wreck Joey Logano.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do whatever
Yeah.
you want.
Okay, great.
Just companies we're really worried about.
Yeah, realistically, because it's-
Companies that listen to us. So basically, just don't trash
Oh, if
Ben-
anybody sponsors NASCAR,
Naked
they're,
MR1 and FF Metalworks.
Yo,
love
just
those
shout
guys.
out to FCP Euro. Getting my shipment 2 days.
You get it done?
Oh yeah.
That's my man.
Placed it on Sunday. Got it today.
on a Sunday
No,
yet.
I lied. I placed it Monday. I got it today.
Oh man, it's even
Jesus.
better. It's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Was that the injectors?
Nah, fuel line. electric
Oh,
and all that.
you basically have to make love to that microphone.
Okay.
Yeah,
There it
yeah,
is.
you gotta
There it
get on
is.
top of that thing.
Love that.
Sweet
You just pop that
sweet
baby off.
And Kyle, keep yours as straight as possible. Yeah, like mustache tickling that thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, mustache.
Yeah, you
There
gotta.
we go.
The big boys, you can put the mustache on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you lean
Yeah.
over, just move the mic with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can sit back, It's just, get yourself comfortable over there.
Just get real up and personal with it.
yeah, get real into it.
I think that's it. I think we're about ready to go.
Yeah.
You
It's
guys
party,
get,
man.
You guys get
Let's
some
do it.
news?
We're ready to fucking party.
I hope you guys get some news.
None.
Okay, good. Ooh. Oh, almost did it again.
Almost went without recording?
Oh, almost did it. I
Oh,
was so close.
Jesus,
I almost
not
hit the
again.
button.
If you had hit the button, that would have been the end of us. I
I've
would have taken
s-
the freaking.
I have so much shit
11 p.m. The
going
pre-party
on in
starts
my
again.
brain. All right, here we go. Boys, welcome. Welcome, everybody. I'm Josh Garcia, and this is the Revival Motoring Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Chuck Hoop
Heyo.
and Corey.si.
Okay, Google.
Oh, bravo.
Yeah,
That was a
let's see,
good one. That was a good one. I like it.
Whose phones?
I
They
was
got
gonna
them
say,
turning on. Now
that's
Google's listening.
Everybody's phone is just fucking
Yeah, you should
haywire
say,
right
okay,
now.
Google on
Yeah.
the thing.
Oh, yeah, yours just went off. Mine surprisingly didn't.
Nope, not mine.
Fancy that. It only works when I don't want it to.
Yeah.
In studio today, we have good friends Kyle Belcher,
What's up?
Scumbag Steve.
Hey.
They are here to talk about NASCAR. That's right.
NASCAR.
NASCAR. I wanted
America.
to, damn it, I wanted to make a fucking sound.
What do you mean? He's got it with a bald eagle.
I mean,
NASCAR.
that's tough to beat, right?
Hold on, where is it? I just got my
Should
read.
have that one.
Yeah.
I wish every car sounded like that as it went around
It does.
and made left turns.
You just have to understand.
They are here to help us learn NASCAR, what it is, why people love it, why Kyle personally loves it.
Yep.
They brought their NASCAR Winston Cup Racing Series hats in directly
Beers and
from
hats. Beers and hats, man.
1998.
From 1998.
I think-
Yeah, I think it was 98, 97.
Those are
whenever it's out.
captain's hats, too. They
Yeah.
got the rope. That's
Oh,
official.
Fish up
absolutely.
front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are classy.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if those have ever been used on a boat, but
Definitely
Oh,
not.
they're captain's
yet.
hats.
Different kind of captains,
Yeah.
buddy. Different kind of captains.
Oh, okay, right,
Probably one of
yeah.
those boats that was turned into an RV. So like they have this the big ship's wheel on top of the
It's-
RV.
Doesn't matter as long as you can stand on the roof. That's all.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we're here to learn some NASCAR stuff, talk about that, and see what else happens as we go along. So, with that said, this episode is brought to you by us. Visit revivalmotoring.com. Buy some stuff, some shirts. Unfortunately, there's no magazines up there right now, but issue number 6 will be coming soon. We are hard at work at that, so that is in process. But then, fancy around there. Leave a donation if you feel free, or you can watch some of our YouTube videos and, of course, our podcast, as well as the Talking Motorcycles podcast. So check out revivalmotoring.com.
Oh, boy. And we're back. Josh, is your car full bolt-on? Does it still feel like it's missing something? Welcome to the wonderful world of custom machining. Need a pro to show you the ropes? Dennis at FF Metalworks is the man for you. FF Metalworks is a full-blown machine shop that can make your dreams come true. Catch can not snazzy enough? Sick of that shitty coolant overflow bottle? How about you make those bitches out of titanium? That's right. Any type of metal for your custom projects is possible. Need to spice it up in the bedroom? FF Metalworks has a strict don't ask policy. Just send them the specs. A great way to take your build from full bolt-on to custom monster is a completely custom shift knob. Dennis worked shift knob. Dennis worked with yours truly, Chuck Hoom, to come up with an absolutely ridiculous titanium and purple hardwood shift knob for my car, the Nurple. Dennis is also currently working with both Corey and Josh's knobs.
My knob was great. Handled fantastically.
I mean, the guy's he's got the gentle hands of an angel.
Yeah.
Also, this just in, FF Metalworks now produces custom knobs for your Ultra Hot Boy CA shifter. Get rid of the bolt on the top and show the world you're a custom dude now. Trying to spice it up even further? FF Metalworks can do intake manifolds, valve covers, cans, bottles, you name it. Dennis works hand in hand with you to create the perfect piece. Ready to step your game up? Reach out to FF Metalworks today on Insta or pull them up on ffmetalworks.ca. Hit them up via the email over there. All prices on there now in U.S. dollars, so it stop confusing y'all non-worldly folks. So, hit Dennis.
Uncultured
He's
swine.
He's basically the man. So that's
It's basically American North.
ffmetalworks.ca, boys. CA.
America's top
CA.
hat.
What's that?
America's top hat.
Yeah. It's looking mighty appealing up there right now. if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
actually, that's true.
Looking
an
like y'all
extra
did
bedroom
something
up
right.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if they even let me in.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think they'll let anybody in
I
right
don't
now,
think
right?
so,
Because
yeah.
I wanted to go up to Canada to go up to Montreal and
Yeah.
just hang out, you know?
Montreal.
Are
on
they
that.
doing bureaucracy? Did we figure that out?
They are, but I don't think we can go.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
may not be allowed in.
And if we go, we're probably not going to be let back, which actually probably isn't a bad
Yeah,
idea.
fuck, that's not a bad idea.
Probably a better idea, honestly.
So let's see
Yeah.
what happens.
yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Let me make sure I got my notes right. Josh, are your wheels not John Blaze enough? Tired of having the same old finish as all the other Hot Boys? Does your multi-piece wheel not get you as noticed as it used to? It's probably time to give those babies a refinish, and I've got just the guy for you. Nick at MR1 Wheel Refinishing. He's not a simple powder coater, painter, first-time wheel taker, parter. No, the man is a wheel enthusiast. A lot of the quick fix boys just applying makeup to your wheel, and just like the club, when the lights come on, the monsters come out. MR1 is a full-service refinish and repair shop. We're talking full-blown machine shop, polishing, powder coating, tumbling equipment. Here's a testimonial from one of those happy customers. Hey, I'm Chuck Hu, and my AC Type 2s were powder coated by famous blind recording artist Stevie Wonder. He tried, but these babies weren't my Sharia Moore. Nick went through them, and not only did he unfuck my wheels, but he made them better than new. Now these beautiful wheels make me realize what a turd my E28 really is. Thanks, Nick. That's right, kids. Get your wheels glammed up so you can realize what a turd your project car actually is. Reach out to Nick at MR1 Wheels now. Sorry, Junior. Nick only works on multi-piece forged wheels, so it's time to start saving up. Also, God, when this was written, it's booked till September, so he's probably way late in September now.
Yeah.
So you want to get on the schedule, and you can pull him up on MR1 Wheel Refinishing on the Instagram, I believe. I believe he's touched a lot of wheels of ours as well.
He's continuing to touch wheels.
Every single person here he has a set of.
Absolutely.
Set 4, actually. He's got Scumbag's wheels. He got mine. I dropped mine off to him this weekend.
Dude, I was literally just talking to him about redoing some wheels for my brother.
Yeah.
I know I've been talking to him about redoing some wheels for my 6 and my coupe. I mean, the guy's Casanova. The guy's
Wheel
got all the
machine.
wheels.
Did you see his own wheels on his
Yes.
own?
Yeah, big
Oh,
show.
Jesus,
He got
yeah.
that beautiful that beautiful
Renault
A
Turbo
series.
looking
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Those
Oh,
are gonna be-
those I saw those in real life.
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
serious business.
Quite nice.
He
Big
called
King-
me on, I think it was Sunday. He's like, hey, how about we take these weds that you just gave me and we just get rid of the faces and we take some factory wheels and cut them up? I was like, okay. Do your thing. Just,
Do whatever you want,
here you
buddy.
go, Nick.
Yeah.
Big congrats on the new car too, that 850.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad he
Big
had the
sweet.
technical know-how to fix that baby. Really went deep in it. So God bless. Can't wait to see him cruising in the 12-cylinder with some big old wheels on it.
It'll be cool.
Fuel's important.
Put some wires on it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Some wire wheels, that is.
Wire wheels.
Gentlemen, do we have any
If you'd like to leave a callback number, press 2.
callbacks?
Do I ever?
Oh,
Good question.
I'm ready.
I got my BMW back.
Yes.
All right.
It was with Kyle, not
Yeah.
Ryan.
Shouts to
Shouts
Kyle.
to Kyle.
Pocket
Shout
full
out to Kyle again.
Pocket full of sunshine.
Pocket full
on
of
the old
sunshine, king of the
Ingra-
side work.
Instagrams.
Yeah, and I went there for a recall, and he took a look-see over about some noises it was making. I was convinced it needed a new AC compressor because the pulley was all fucked up. Come to find out, there
Low
was just
compression cylinder 5.
there was
Brand new
just-
motor.
there was just a missing bolt. Yeah. Oh my god, I wish. There was just a missing bolt. That was it. Missing bolt. He's like, yeah, I see this. There's supposed to be 3. There's only 2.
What the hell's happening?
I don't know.
What
Oh,
was
is
What
that?
was that?
we just
I'm
get-
on silent over here.
Yeah.
that was
That
weird.
wasn't me.
Let's get somebody's phone
Yeah.
somewhere.
Young
Yeah.
Ben, do you
Young
just play
Ben.
music on your phone?
It was MR1's video of him powder coating a turbo.
Okay,
We'll-
okay,
we'll
we'll
allow
take
it.
it.
We'll
We'll
allow
allow
it.
it.
Big shouts
We'll allow
to
it.
Nick. Big shouts to
Check out
Nick.
Nick and MR1.
Yeah.
Sorry, Corey.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah. So. What?
Come on, once is enough, young man.
One job.
My God.
Another
Fuck's sake,
one.
man.
Jesus.
And
Put
another
that phone
one.
on. Shut the hell up mode.
Yeah.
If I go out there, I'm throwing it across the warehouse.
Jesus, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Where's the Khaled quote when you
Maybe he
Yeah.
thought it was. He meant play the whole thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Let it ride. Let it ride.
Shout to young Ben in the back room.
Fuck, I lost my train
Okay,
of
so
thought.
Yeah.
anyway,
Anyway,
a bolt. Did
go
that?
into
Did it
Kyle.
vibrate out?
Yeah, it must have, because he said when he dropped the belly pan of the car to work on it, the bolt was sitting there.
Great.
It was just fucking
Free
sitting there.
bolt.
No, he's like, I already put a new one in, so it's fuck it. It's all set.
I'm gonna have to bill you for that talk.
No, but he went through the whole car. There was a bunch of service bulletins. He took a look at a bunch of stuff. There was something he had to do with the oil filter housing. The cap, that got swapped out, so they got an oil change. Some other pump that I have to Google because I have no fucking idea what it does. That got changed. There was a bunch of shit that got done, and then I had him do a little side work on the side for me. Little
Amazing, man.
tighten it up. Little snug it up, really.
Get a toy.
Yeah.
Just take where you are and come back.
Just
a
give
lot
it some
tighter.
Kegels and just kind of
Yeah.
Just toy like a toy guy.
Yeah, toying it up.
tighten it up. But yeah,
Stop the pee.
shouts to Bill Burr, overrated, underrated. Underrated would be having friends that you can rely on to do good quality work for you when you don't have time to do it.
Yes.
Highly underrated.
Yeah.
What's
Highly
what's
100%.
overrated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's overrated?
Yeah.
It's fucking everything.
Or the dealership in general.
Yeah, the
especially when
dealership in general, yeah, it would be overrated. But
Yeah.
or like you trying to do it yourself when you're like not totally confident, no, you don't really have the time to do it.
Right.
It
and
kind of sucks.
yeah, that's then you're time crunching and
Yeah, and that's when
unknowing,
you just fuck shit up that you don't need to fuck up.
diving in. Right.
But you got
right.
someone who you can rely on, who you know is going to do good work, do you right, not lie to you.
Especially if that's their trade, like that's
Yeah.
what they do professionally. They're
It's-
gonna do it in twice as
it's
much
his bread and
time.
butter, yeah.
Oh, sorry, half the time that you would do it.
Yeah, they're gonna knock it out.
Yeah, he's going to do twice as much work in half the amount of
Yeah,
time.
that's where I was trying to go.
But yeah, it was awesome. Shouts to him.
That's
Great.
awesome.
Happy to have the BMW back.
I got a story about twice as much work.
Yeah,
Maybe 3 times as much
three
work.
times as much work. Yeah.
Because, gentlemen, I took my little Honda Acti to Jesse's house this weekend, which is about 15 minutes from my house, to pick up some barrels of shit to plant stuff in, because Jesse has horses, so that's kind of what you need when you're planting stuff. And I'm driving down there, it's making the ping pong sound again. I'm like, that's weird. Daddy just fixed this actually yesterday.
Another one.
Brett, I was going to say for the second time, right?
Yeah, for the second time.
Okay, so
when I
this
totally
is-
figured it out.
Okay.
And I get there and I just get out of the car. I'm like, hey, Jesse, what's up? And I just go into the truck and I can wiggle the axle. It's like, oh boy, I think this baby's in maybe 2-wheel drive mode. So whatever. I picked up my 150, which rocks. We'll get into that. Got back to my house and I was backing it up to a hill, like on the side of my garage to unload it, so I didn't have to use ramps. And I just started doing front wheel drive 1-tire burnouts. I mean, no, rear wheel drive 1-tire fires because the front axles were just spinning the empty fucking shaft.
Doing the old Fox body style.
Yeah, exactly. 1-tire fire, baby. So, yeah, loose again. So Saturday I was DJing that night. So literally I got this thing. I'm supposed to start DJing at 8. I get this 150 back at my house at like 7:15. So I took a couple hot laps on that, parked this thing on the lift, went in, started playing. Between sets, I took the axle out. So I take the axle out, and I see where the C-clip is that I'm missing. It's like between the end, the stub, like the actual stub of the axle,
Yep.
in the shaft of it. Boop, you pop it in, you throw a C-clip on. Easy. I'll show you a thing. So I'm like, well,
Yeah.
the C-clip has to be in the axle boot, which I just put new grease in a week ago. So I'm going in. CV boot full of grease, no gloves. I'm searching for the C-clip. Dude, I'm like, ugh. And I fucking don't find it. I'm like, just fuck it. I'm going to put at least I'll put it back together. I'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
I grab the stub of it, and there is the C-clip totally clean sitting in the stub. So I throw it in, boom, popped it back on. Axle's working again.
There we go.
And that was between my first and second DJ set. So if I started sucking, that's why. Because I really think I did start sucking.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say because he's trying to hit buttons.
Oh,
with
dude,
just a
so
handful of
gross.
grease.
Yeah.
Boom shakalaka.
It takes
Got the
forever
whole
to
thing
get that
back
off your
together.
hands.
We had you playing by the pool on Saturday.
I know. Thank you, man.
You were
It's
DJing at the
awesome.
pool at my house.
Dude, it was, yeah. So, and I threw a new boot on while I was at it. I was like, well, I got one. So, that axle's mint. I got 1 mint axle on that vehicle. So that's 3 times the work that I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
But now I have a full understanding of the axles. And as I was putting the C-clip on, I was like, This is why I couldn't hammer the other end off.
Yeah.
It has a C-clip on it over there, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
you live and you learn. Other weekend updates for me.
happens.
And you got anything else before I start going into
No,
this?
no. This is. I was hoping we get into. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I get all sorts of shit. I was like, I don't have anything. And then I sat down. I was like, oh, I got a whole bunch of shit.
Oh shit! This was an eventful weekend.
Yeah. So my wife, we got a new car at the beginning of the Rona. Got a great deal on it. I haven't even made a first payment on this thing yet. She went up to the Cape to hang out with my family. And I'm not going to the Cape. What am I going to do? I go to the beach like some kind of schmo. So she goes up to the Cape, literally. Hey man, some guys like the beach, some guys don't. You know. She goes up to the Cape as like an escape from. She says the kids, but obviously me. And she pulls into my parents' driveway, and then like goes in, comes back out, and the tire's totally flat. So somehow she made it all the way to the Cape, and then blew a tire in the driveway, which was amazing. So she was supposed to come back that night. That obviously isn't happening, but it's got a run flat on it. But run flats suck, is what I came to find out. So it was just like, call this guy, we can get the tire tomorrow, call him back, okay, do it. And I say tomorrow, I meant Tuesday. BMW doesn't have it. But I did, then I remembered my AAA renewed that the coming Monday. So this Monday, my AAA renews. It was like, baby, guess what? Call AAA.
We're gonna use that.
Tell me towing at home 120 miles because we have a 200-mile tow.
Yeah.
That gets renewed. Use it or lose it by Monday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude towed it back, man. And the guy that dropped it off was fucking awesome. He's like, dude, I got 3 kids. When I saw a 4-hour round trip, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm taking this. Yeah, so came back, but, like, there was nobody that could get a tire for this thing. The dealership couldn't get it, nothing. It was a fuck show, man. And I ordered one. It was like $100-something, but I just can't win. And so I go to take the wheel off, and I take my Ooga Dooga machine, and it won't get it off. I'm like, oh, it must be low on battery, despite me just pulling the battery off the fucking charger.
Yeah.
So I go get like a 2-foot breaker bar, still can't get it off. Dude, I had to take a 4-foot bar off my Harbor Freight jack, put it on my breaker bar.
Oh, that's the move.
Yeah. Even move them.
Just the jack.
Dude, but even at that point, I like half rounded 3 of the bolts. I mean, it was just...
That was a Friday tightening job. Someone
Dude.
just...
Yeah.
Dealership guys, limit your Ooga Doogas, man. I mean, that's too much.
They don't
Holy
care.
shit.
3
They
is
do
tight.
not give
This
a
thing
shit.
had to have 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. It was taking the center lock off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
If they're gonna continue to Ooga Dooga the Volton, I mean, they should have a separate Ooga Dooga machine.
Yeah,
set
like
for the right
a light
Ooga
one,
Doogas.
you know?
Someone
Yeah.
had a 1-inch and just with an adapter.
Yeah. Who shout to FCP Euro? I got new bolts like the next day.
Yeah.
Big shout, but
So what does it look like? A shotgun? You hold it like this?
Exactly.
It's the ones they use for semi-trucks.
It's like a battering ram.
yeah, it's like a
It looks
little
like a
jackhammer.
minigun.
Yeah.
Why does your Impact have hydraulic lines going to it? That's odd.
Had to cool it.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
are
so,
the feet that come off of that thing?
Yeah.
The last thing on my lift was a semi-truck.
dude, it's the worst. I was expecting to see a wheel. If I saw a wheel lock, like Corey said earlier, I would have just had to tow to the dealer and be like, you guys fucking deal with this.
Yeah.
Because I know what happens when I get wheel locks and Ooga Doogas involved.
Yeah.
So then this
not
morning
good.
I just loosened every bolt on the car and torqued it.
We talked it appropriately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it even
You
if she could have gotten a tire, like nobody could have gotten that wheel
Right. You
off.
couldn't. Right. But yeah, on the side of the, or even in the driveway.
In the
with
driveway, no
normal shit.
fucking
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
man. But you don't
Um,
have a spare, so if it's got 1,000 foot-pounds on it, God bless.
I had a brief intermission, not intermission, but side note here.
Yeah.
We asked young Ben to come up with a color.
That's right.
Young
that's
Ben?
Right, that's right.
Young Ben, you suggested blue. Young Ben, please, can you speak on the blue?
It was a nice day out.
All right, fair enough.
Hey, you know what, Ben? That was exactly what I was looking for.
That's
Thank you
Nice,
so
young
much.
Ben.
I
Yeah.
enjoy the reasoning.
Nice, young
Yeah,
Ben.
that's
I
proper.
know-
Good. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I dig it.
It was
solid.
fantastic.
We might not have that many young Ben updates anymore because young Ben's becoming a responsible adult for a couple weeks. But we're going to have the young Ben color pick every week.
Yeah.
It's 2020. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
Quick callback to a Young Ben update. Young Ben, you came in with some mail. What was this mail?
Oh, my airbags will kill me if they go off.
420 Blazer.
Well, there's one way to put it. So you get a recall on that baby,
Oh,
right?
those are the Tacadas or whatever?
Tacadas, yeah.
Yep.
Those
And
got
my
ninja.
last
They got
two,
ninja stars in there. It's packed it with ninja stars.
My last
Built-in
two
lead
German
brake.
cars, both accidents I've gotten in, airbags didn't go off. Big accidents, total both cars, no airbags went off.
Hey, that's good for you. You could have
Yeah.
gotten fucking ninja stars to the face, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be out there suing people, to
Probably
be honest with you.
shrapnel in your
You
face
live
right
to
now.
tell the
Yeah.
tale, so you're
Yeah, you could be
welcome.
crashing Ferraris.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get some
so
money for that.
Ben, when you give him a ring and you get this all sorted out, give us a little
Ta-ta-ta.
update on what's going on.
Yeah, man. Let's get those Ninja Stars out of your earbags. We'll fix them right now.
We're
You know,
trying to
box
get
cutter.
young Ben to get a loaner, so he can get a little new car for like a day or so.
Give us a little review.
No one's gonna give young Ben a loan.
It's under his mom's name, so
Oh
give his mom a loaner.
no, mom. Oh, Ben,
Oh
mom.
man, can you imagine the
Oh.
disaster that could turn into?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm just trying to get
Mom's
young
getting
Ben in a
dropped
good
real
in a new
quick.
car for like
you're,
a day.
you're trying to put young Ben in a bad situation for the podcast. That's what you're trying to do.
No, absolutely not.
Dude,
A car
dude.
with more safety.
More horsepower.
And what else?
No,
Your
that kid
silence.
deserves to drive a car for like a new car for like a day.
And
Good
we
for you.
conveniently get
Dude, let
more
him borrow
content.
yours.
Mine's not new. Yeah,
I remember when English Ben, young Ben, drive his
Yeah.
brand new Mark 7.
yeah.
Two
And
in
he-
box 7.
Ben goes blowing. Young Ben goes blowing up my driveway, and English Ben's like, "Did I just make a giant mistake?" Like, yeah, that was a terrible idea.
I'd had my license for like a month and a half.
Listen, man, I'm
and
working.
he only had 2 totals on.
I'm working for you, not against you.
Yeah, we want young Ben to get the best new cars, like an E30 with an SR20.
I was
Yeah,
just gonna say,
we'll
young
figure it
Ben,
out.
God bless young Ben.
Young Ben,
Sell
you-
to you cheap.
how's that drift car coming? Is that in the works?
I have to get the wheels first.
Young Ben's getting
Okay.
the wheels, but he's signed up to buy it. So if you want to buy it out from under young Ben, that price is $6,000 now.
What else do we have for callbacks?
I got one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last week we recorded the 100th episode, right?
Oh, those guys were the best.
Right off. Shouts to Brett.
Yeah, Brett and Scott.
Shouts to Scott.
Shouts.
I go home and every night I've been watching Seinfeld from the beginning.
Yep.
Turn on Seinfeld. What episode is it? The 100th episode of Seinfeld.
So we're
Fucking
the
perfect.
Seinfeld of podcasts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a show about nothing.
Yeah, show about nothing.
Exactly.
Absolutely
no
nothing.
talent. A
I
show
just
about
was
nothing.
like, holy shit, look at this. What are the odds?
Would you look at that?
Look at how
Hey.
many Seinfeld episodes there are.
If we
tight,
can be,
man.
if we can be a fraction as successful as he is,
I'd take a 30-second.
I'll take exactly. Yeah, I'm small.
Dude, I'll take
64th.
way less than
yeah,
that. I'll take
yeah,
Still a massive
Yeah.
payday.
thousandth.
yeah, exactly.
But
Shout
yeah,
to Jerry.
small world, right? Small world.
Yeah.
Small world.
Shouts to Jerry.
Uh,
I'm
I
sad
bu-
about the comedians in cars getting coffee being over.
yeah, but it's good because he just doesn't want to do it anymore. That's the
Yeah.
best time. People push that shit like The Simpsons forever, and they're just
Yeah.
like, dude,
But
how long are you gonna do this
They're
for?
so
Yeah,
great
it
that
just
you can just
turns into
rewatch them
trash.
100 times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
you
And
can
he
start
knows
them off.
that, and that's
Yeah.
why I admire his
Gold,
like,
Jerry. It's gold.
yeah, I admire his like, nah, I'm done
Yeah.
attitude,
Yeah.
like perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Chappelle nails it too. He's like, nah, it's not
Yeah.
gonna go my way. I'm just not gonna do it.
And the
Absolutely.
second, it feels like work to them.
Yeah,
And
I'm out.
that's what they don't want to do.
The Kramer one was probably my favorite one. He brought the bus, the Volkswagen bus. Do you guys see that
Yeah.
one? And he just starts hurling like trash barrels into the back of it, just screaming. And he had no idea whose person lived in that house.
Yeah, it's an excellent show, and it'll live on, and everyone will rewatch it just like they rewatch Seinfeld and
Yep.
everything else, and all his stand-up specials that he does, and good for him.
Oh yeah.
Shouts to Jerry if you ever want to come on the podcast.
Yeah, shouts to
It was
Jerry.
a show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do that anymore. But he'll definitely come on the podcast.
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely come here.
Yeah. Come on, do it once, and then never do
Yeah,
it again.
that's all.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all were listening back in the day when I purchased a totally clapped out Honda 150 off Young Ben.
I vaguely remember
Shout
that.
to Young Ben. But it's running. Jesse got it running. I'm a dirt bike guy now.
You have box stickers on all your cars yet? or
Hell yeah, dude. I just ride around mad at my parents for not letting me have dirt bikes when I was a kid.
Monster Energy drinks all over the place.
Just change
Fuck,
the name
man,
to
dirt bikes
Kyle.
are so sick. I love using the goddamn hand clutch, and I'm like, you know, it'd be really cool doing this on the street.
And next thing you know,
And I'm like,
Supermoto?
I mean, cars are like, cheap cars like 20, 30 grand. What can I get for 30 grand on a sport bike? It was
Oh
like,
my God.
holy shit, I could get a dozen sport bikes.
yeah.
Chuck, for 40, you could get an H2.
Dude, I didn't even know what fucking what 40's ridiculous.
What does he
I
want-
could get like
what-
a $10,000 Gixxer and be God.
What does he want with a Hummer, young man?
Yeah, come
No.
on,
Yeah.
young Ben.
At that much, you can just get a Hayabusa. It just pretty much just ruin your entire face.
Boosa.
Boosa.
You
No,
go on
H2
Facebook
is
Marketplace. and
faster
they
than
went up
H2.
for
H2
5 grand.
supercharged.
Stuck.
Yeah, H2.
Are they 40
H2.
grand? That's bananas. No, there's no way it's that much money.
I think we talked about it when Tom
We
was here.
did, yeah.
Does it
What,
time travel?
Is it a Kawasaki?
Yeah, I was gonna say young Ben. Who makes
It's
that?
40 grand for a street bike? Can't you get like a ridiculous Ducati for 20 grand?
Yeah, you can get a 1098 for like
Oh,
27K, like at best.
Oh, the H2R is $4,000.
What's the H2 Chuck
Yeah,
dies on the highway?
20.
25.
You go,
25.
25. There we go.
There you go.
I
You
mean,
don't make it to the highway.
I was gonna say you can
That's true. I want to make it out of the driveway, dude.
you can
Not
get
with the streets around here.
you can get way cheap. Your entry level pricing for death on the highway is much cheaper than 20.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like $1,000.
$5,000. Get yourself a jigsaw, extend the swing arm, chrome everything, just stunt.
Boom. Stunt parking up
Holy
there,
shit.
straight 6 feet from everyone.
2020
You'll be the hottest
Ninja,
boy in India Point.
2020
So hot.
Ninja H2 MSRP $29,000.
It's a Ninja?
Ninja
For
H2.
how many?
Yeah, but
Like-
it's got 300 horsepower.
Yeah, you got
That's-
6 of them.
Don't they have like 300 horsepower?
pallet?
I just don't
Or like
get-
250 horsepower?
Let's see
Yeah.
specs. Let me go to specs.
I mean, a 250
does
horsepower
almost-
car is fast.
Stock
Like,
it does
yeah.
almost 300 miles an hour.
so let's see.
What's that?
What?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I would try that first day I got it. That's where I
And the
go
last
off.
day
you
you
know?
ride it.
Absolutely not.
That's why
And
I
the
want-
last minute on it. Yeah,
No
I can't
part
have
of
a
it.
bike.
You'll
Can't
be
have
the
a bike.
fastest person to the crash scene.
Let's see.
Dude, it'd be sick.
4-stroke, 4-cylinder, dual overhead cam, 4-valve, liquid-cooled, supercharged, 998 cc engine. This doesn't have a power rating.
Just ask Googs.
Or at least not.
I
in
think we
front
should
of
all
me.
buy street bikes,
Wait.
preferably those.
So it's
We don't have to
not
make
even-
one payment.
It's not even 1,000.
Yeah.
What's the first payment? The $600.
It makes
Let's do it.
200 horsepower.
Your COVID deferred payment, you won't even make one.
Exactly, dude. It'd
Yeah.
be 9 months before my widow had to make a payment on that
I
bike.
was going to say, absolutely terrible
Yeah,
idea.
what happened? Did you just need to turn in a death certificate to kind of
Yeah,
end that, or
exactly.
what?
Hey,
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
She can keep it.
I mean, what's the deal? I mean, you've passed. The bike's wrecked. Well, they got nothing to take back.
Yeah, come get it.
No wonder why the MSRP is so high.
Insurance will pay Kawasaki the rest.
yeah.
I
What, you
assume.
gonna piss on my grave? Go ahead. I don't care.
Your life insurance policy will drop you in an hour.
Yeah.
Nope.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Talking Motorcycles.
Big
Just-
shows.
just talking
They
motorcycles.
should have me on.
Tom is probably smashing his face against the
He's
wall.
definitely like, yeah, he's keyboard smashing right now. Yeah.
H2, fuck Homer.
Why would he want one of those?
How much for dicks, bro?
You want to talk about the versatility of motorcycles? Tom
YT
and Chris,
200.
the Newport boys,
Mhm.
showed up to my house this week and helped me take down the rest of the deck that was still there.
Not only that, you helped Tom.
Yeah, you really helped him.
Oh yeah, he shaved his head. Yeah,
Gave
I
him a
saw
haircut.
that.
Oh, look
Um,
beautiful, man.
dude, they show up on both their bikes.
Yep.
Circular saw. They've got Sawzall in the case.
That'd be me and my H2.
They've got like a 40-inch long crowbar. They've got a full-size
Red wagon.
sledgehammer. They're just on motorcycles.
Oh,
What, did it have a little red wagon on the back? One of those things you put toddlers in behind your bike?
I believe the legend had the sledgehammer in his backpack.
Chris just looking like he's gonna rob something.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and it was
yeah.
just like, no, I always carry this.
yeah, it's totally normal.
It's not a
But
tool,
yeah.
it's a brick.
I mean, they showed up. They showed up full contractor spec on motorcycles. It was incredible.
I didn't know that aspect of the story. That's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
I
absolutely
mean,
amazing.
and the deck was gone in 35 minutes, and that was it.
Nothing like a projectile on your back, like a sledgehammer,
Dude.
traveling down the highway.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's a play.
Yeah, Chris put some miles on that supermoto.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, he's got that supermoto. That's a badass bike.
it's awesome.
I think
Yeah,
he
That's
sent
a
me a
KTM,
Snapchat of
isn't
it or
it?
something.
yeah, it's KTM.
That's spicy, man. That's real spicy.
Spicy meatball.
What
What else you got? I got polo updates.
I got the workbench set up in my garage. Big shout to me for
To
setting
you.
that up.
Yeah.
I'll post a picture once it's done.
Watch that shoulder. Don't throw it out.
Oh, man, my shoulder's perfect, man. I got a massage therapist. Whew. Magnifico.
What?
I'm all better, man. Shout to Jingles for making me hurt myself on the mountain.
Yeah, I
Miss the
mean,
hill,
it's
buddy. Miss the hill.
a lingering hill issue.
You know, I was talking about this earlier. COVID's really making the summer go away super fast and ruining it for everybody.
Yeah,
It's making the hill come so quick. Can't wait. Hill time.
it's gonna sneak up on us.
Yeah,
He's not
gonna
going to sneak up on us. He's coming at me fast, man. I can't wait.
Might actually
Mike-
get some snow this year.
My car's still gonna be a jack stand from the other room. At this rate, dude, customs must be just be laughing at me. Like, you know what?
Polo update.
Yeah, we're gonna hold this asshole's
Yeah,
packages.
One person heard the podcast, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're just holding it.
They heard
back.
me bitching about
Make
it.
this content, huh?
Yeah. So that's that. Still sitting there.
I got an exciting update.
What do you got?
I got a donut meat update.
Donut meat.
Ooh.
Donut meat. So we're not. We shouldn't really have a big meet. That's all I'm saying. But if it's Sunday at 8 o'clock in the morning, this weekend, you find yourself on Blackstone Boulevard in Providence, the boy's going to be there.
might be some donuts involved.
It might be a bring your own donut meet.
Yeah.
Blackstone Boulevard, Providence,
A
Six.
BYOD.
8 a.m.
Usually is BYOD.
We've interpreted the rules.
Not all the time.
And it seems you can have groups of 15 people
Yeah,
6 feet apart.
6 feet apart.
The groups
Yeah.
So we can have 18 groups, 15.
of 15.
Perfect.
So once again,
This is
Sunday morning, 8
non-san-
a.m.
non-sanctioned event.
Finger
that
tight
could take.
donut meet. Bring your own donuts.
Theoretically.
theoretically,
If
8
one were
a.m.
to do
this
something like
Sunday,
this.
if one were to go there, one
Yeah.
might see us
Yeah, potentially.
on the north side.
Yeah.
Going towards Pawtucket.
Could be there.
Could be there.
Might not. Could be.
Definitely will most likely be there.
Definitely
What a
could be.
coincidence.
Yeah.
Little Father's Day meets. I know everybody's missing German Car Day, which usually happens on Father's Day. I know a couple of us are Fages.
Yeah.
May as well come out.
You hear me?
Just show up
A
in my
couple of us
Ford.
are Fagers. All of us are daddies.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Come on out, show your support for the Fager of your choice. And if we get asked to leave, we'll just come here.
Yeah, disperse. BYOD. What else do we have for callbacks? Anything?
Callbacks.
I think I'm fresh out of
I'm-
callbacks.
I'm-
You guys
I'm-
any callbacks over there?
Not from last week.
Young
No?
Ben, any
Not that I can
callbacks?
think of.
No.
German Blake had me slaving away cleaning his pool that he hasn't opened since 2017.
I saw that. I saw that. Shout out
Wait,
to German
what?
Blake.
You're
No
cleaning
shouts
Blake's
to Blake.
pool?
Yeah, Blake hasn't opened his pool since 2017. Thanks a lot for that. And I volunteered myself to open his pool for him, and it was a swamp.
How many?
Are you a pool person? Do you
Animals.
just know about pools? Or do you just make
I have
bad
a house
decisions?
with a pool, and I've learned from many, many years of mistakes on how to open them properly.
Oh, yeah. No, I got a house with a pool. I'm just thinking I would never.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what's better than having a
Volunteer.
I
pool?
would never do that.
Having friends with
But
a
if you do, I mean,
Yeah.
you can come by my
Yeah.
house every spring. I mean, we
right. Is
show
this
me
a-
how to open this
Is
baby.
this a service you provide?
Jesus,
If
buddy.
you guys, I'll come down. I
With-
mean,
with
if I can
that
get Blake's
mustache.
running.
With that mustache, it's just it's built into your veins.
I made Blake call me Pool Poppy all day.
Pool poppy?
You were the sexy pool boy down the place?
Yep.
Dude, you gotta
Speedo
be.
and all.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Popped the top as soon as I got there.
Mm-hmm.
Probably listening to Jimmy Buffett the
Is
entire
Blake
time,
home?
weren't you?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just
what I do.
Margaritaville on loop.
Yep.
That's all I do.
Dude, you gotta.
Kyle's
You
gonna be
absolutely gotta.
first in line when they open Margaritaville in Boston.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Damn right.
Where we might we might somehow touch upon that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
NASCAR, Margaritaville, they're all kind of related.
Touching
in
upon
some
stuff.
way. Touching
Touching
upon
stuff.
stuff.
Buffett.
Before that, if there's no callbacks, we might as well cue the boys. News. The news.
I got my favorite news.
I got some good stuff.
I got my favorite fucking news ever.
I don't want to
Josh
jump
has got
on.
it pulled up over there.
I just think this is hilarious, and I hope Corey has
Please
more.
say it's the same news that I'm about that I have.
The fact that Ford Ford has decided to release the Bronco
Yes!
on O.J. Simpson's birthday.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's amazing.
The new Ford Bronco coming out on O.J. Simpson's birthday.
the
and-
worldwide debut will be on July 9th.
Dude, so tight, and the color's innocent crystal white.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ed for that joke.
The Ford spokesperson said the date is purely a coincidence.
Yeah,
Purely-
sure it is.
purely,
It's the
yes.
most brilliant marketing ever.
Yes.
Ford's back in the game, ladies and gentlemen. If you're letting the goddamn Bronco, if it's white, I'm gonna be so goddamn amped. It's gotta be white.
What they have
Dude,
to do.
is
They're
OJ out of
obligated
jail
at that
right now?
point.
It
He
has
is.
to.
yes.
Could they have OJ drive it out?
They very well could.
And it's gonna be still surrounded by cop cars.
Dude,
However-
if OJ drives it out, I will be. I'll buy one.
You would think that a large.
I'm so in for a highway run.
You would think that a large, motoring company would almost want to distance themselves from
Dude, you
murderer.
kidding me? That's woke as fuck. He's not a murderer. He was innocent.
Yeah.
It's,
Glove didn't fit.
Clip don't fit.
Dude,
Just
he was
do it.
innocent.
Yeah.
that's true.
Am I the only one that saw the trial when I was 10 years old? Dude was innocent. I would
So-
have him out there right now.
It's on his 73rd birthday.
Yeah. Okay.
73.
Big shouts to the
Wow.
juice.
Yeah.
The juice. My God, what a story.
He still looks pretty good for his age, though.
He looks all right, man. He's
Give him
out there
that.
golfing, doing him.
Out there golfing,
Being-
armed robberies,
being-
all the stuff. All the stuff a 70-year-old man does.
Being-
He was just taking back what was rightfully his.
Extremely crazy on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen his Twitter feed.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, I don't fuck with
No.
Twitter.
He only
My-
opened his Twitter like a year ago, and
My
he just
God.
went,
Yeah.
came in guns blazing.
Dude, I'll
Oh,
tell you
yeah.
what.
Knives are
Pun intended.
shanking.
If Ford really wants to hit it out of the park, that's what you do. You have OJ come out. You have like the tape, the helicopter tape of him blasting down the highway, and then it pulls into the stadium or whatever. And it's OJ. He's driving the white one. It's the juice special. He signs the first 100 cars.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it'd be such a wonderful train wreck.
So this isn't the first time that, like, Ford obviously has been tied to this since the new Bronco.
Yeah.
So they went on Twitter and they asked everyone to kind of post their favorite memories.
Favorite Ford memory?
Why did no one think of that? And they were just
Oh, that is
over
my
inundated
favorite.
Oh
with
my
like
God.
their favorite memory was clearly
It's that or a
What is
Mustang
it?
in a crowd.
Al Crawlings was driving fucking
Yes.
what's his face down the 405.
Yeah,
Like
just
man.
iconic
There it is.
video, iconic
for an hour and a half.
images. Right.
Yeah.
OJ in the
Shout
back.
to Cato.
Yeah.
Kiddo.
Shouts. Oh.
Oh my
My
God. How insane would that be?
Yeah.
In all reality, I'm quite excited for this Bronco. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
the OJ aside, the murder
Are they,
aside,
are they going to make a Raptor edition?
Allegedly.
right? The alleged murders.
He was
aside.
innocent. He was accused.
That's-
I mean, he
that's-
did lose one of those cases, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sure did.
Yeah,
Sure did.
sure did.
Definitely did.
Ford is expected to offer a full quote unquote Bronco family of vehicles, including a
Oh,
bunch of
yeah.
smaller SUVs. So
That means
just like
the-
we got the Mustang family, we're gonna
Yeah.
have the Bronco.
The
family.
Juice edition could be the big one.
The
Yeah.
juice one's gonna be the all electric version.
The Juice.
Yeah. So
Just comes with a jersey.
I mean, you just can't make it up, man.
Ford certainly can. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Bronco Raptor Bronco.
Raptor Bronco?
Yeah, Raptor Bronco. I'm in on that.
Raptor, I hardly knew her.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, the Raptor Bronco's probably
Yeah.
not the best name. Name
No,
it something a little
no.
lighter, like the Juice edition.
Bronco ST.
Bronco Juiced. And it's just like a jacked up Bronco.
The juice, yeah, the juiced up.
The greatest player of all time.
Oh my
Comes with a pair
God.
of
We
flat
could
leather
donk
gloves.
one and just make it juice themed.
Oh, jeez. Make it orange
Make
juice.
OJ,
No, go Tropicana.
OJ
Just go for the play.
Sunkissed.
Bronco. Hear me out.
Yeah.
I think I'm onto something there.
I mean, it is possibly a coincidence with Ford, but there were 364 other days you could have chosen.
And I'm going to be honest. There's not much else on the schedule right now.
Right. Everything's wide open.
So like,
So obviously their original debut was pushed back because of the Rona.
yeah.
that was,
But, like-
that was OJ's favorite day.
Now
That was the day he picked up his Heisman.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe someone they're just sitting in a meeting. Someone just threw out July 9th.
And they're oblivious to
they're like,
it,
hey, you
right.
know what?
Yeah,
Let's
but then
run-
when it comes out on Twitter that it's OJ's birthday, you should be like, hey, you know what? We're going to change that.
Right.
Because
do you double back at
this
that
is
point?
going to make Chuck and Revival too happy.
And it's
I
just
mean-
like a Thursday too. It's like,
Or do you just
It's not even like a weekend.
or do you just steer right into it? And
You
like,
steer right into it. Be like,
Yeah.
is OJ busy?
yeah. What are you doing, OJ?
Can we get the juice down here?
Something tells me he doesn't have much on his schedule either.
the
Wide
second
open.
Thursday in July. What are you doing?
Yeah.
He's probably golfing.
Yeah.
Golfing, maybe I'm doing something for Ford.
This
Something
thing-
makes me think you could use a little bit of money, just a couple, $2-3 bucks.
A lot of bit of money.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'd assume so.
I know who couldn't. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
need me down there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be the first person to put a vanity plate that just says juice on it?
Oh my
Oh,
God!
there's people who
First
already
one
own
up
them.
already at the
First
DMV.
one sold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Someone's already got it on their car now.
I'm
waiting to transfer
curious. I
plates.
wonder if there actually will be a white one for sale.
Yeah, of course there was. I already told you the color name.
Definitely.
Oh, there has to be. Yeah. Bronco. It shows one right here in what looks to be a full production version,
In white.
in white. Yeah.
Mhm.
But they
That's the only
kinda-
color they're gonna offer. It's gonna be like the Grand National.
Yeah, black only.
So there's that. What else we got for news?
Actually, I have it right here. Give me one moment. I don't know where it went. It ran away.
You got the big Volkswagen buyout.
The big Volkswagen buyout, which I didn't actually get to read the whole thing, unfortunately.
What
so
was
if
that?
you got anything on that,
They
bring
paid
it up.
what 260 something million to buy out the rest of the
267.
shares. 267.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of the shares from Audi.
Oh.
So
Wow.
so what's that
I
do?
didn't write anything down. That's just off
Okay,
the top of my
okay.
head because I read it every
I
day.
don't-
Yeah.
So there's separate companies?
Yeah.
No.
To own the rest of
just
the shares,
fully
like they
means
own
that.
like 90 something percent of it.
It's like
So now-
99.6.
So now they own all the Audi.
Yep.
So it's all them.
They bought out the remaining shares.
Well, quality can only.
They're
improve.
doing whatever they can to get that 5-cylinder for the new R.
Yeah.
Right,
How you
right.
gonna say no?
Yeah.
No now, huh?
Yeah.
We own you.
Yeah.
So
my
this-
call.
This is cool. This came up. So Mazda pickups coming back, right? Obviously, we get the Ford Ranger, so they can just slap a Mazda badge on the front.
Not in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, not in America, but they got the right, and because they got the right combination here, that's why it's not coming to America.
The right stuff.
Diesel engine, 6-speed, like that's cool. Little pickup truck, diesel engine. It's got like 3 and change torque. Like,
Yep.
it's fucking awesome. Not in America.
Not too small for America.
Not here.
Nope.
25,
I know. What is it?
I need a
it's-
Bronco pickup truck. please.
25 years from now, we might be able to get one of those.
Yeah.
I need a
25
4-door
years.
Bronco pickup. I need the Jeep Gladiator of Ford.
You know, I wonder what that would be called. The F-150 Raptor. No.
F-150 Raptor. I guess,
Four
but it wouldn't be
doors?
Bronco enough.
You know, nah,
I'm
maybe
looking to
not.
have the whole hatch section of the Bronco and then a bed behind that.
Oh, and then a bed.
yeah.
Oh,
Like
Okay.
a nice covered section and then a nice open section.
I gotcha. I
It's a
gotcha.
big vehicle. That's a big
Big guy.
vehicle. Yeah.
OJ was a big guy.
Yeah, a lot of room. A lot of fans, a lot of room.
A lot of room.
A lot of place
Fit a-
for merch.
Fit a couple bodies in the trunk.
Yeah.
And some merch that is yours that you stole from somebody else.
And beat
Mhm.
somebody up about. Was
Great
that
place to
no?
hide a shotgun.
That wasn't allegedly. That was proven.
That was
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
that was
he
the
was
one.
convicted
was
of
fact.
that.
Yeah, that one didn't go
that
well.
was fact.
You
Well,
got away with what and got caught for what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of highway robbery, the four-banger Supra's out.
Is it?
Oh.
Yes, boys, it's lighter. It makes 255 horsepower, and it's $43,000.
So wait, how much?
Wow.
How much is it cheaper than the?
I'm glad you asked. The six-banger is 382 horsepower, and it's $51,000.
So they basically created a useless vehicle.
They have made the more expensive BRZ.
Right. That I don't know. Who
How
in
much
their
did
right
that thing
mind
have?
would
I mean,
buy.
this has torque, actually.
Yeah.
Let's
BRZ
see.
was
BRZ
like-
was a 200 even.
The article I read was like, well, it's easier to get a loan for 43 than it is 51. And it's like, not that much easier.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
you're kind of at the point now where like if they're gonna give you 40 something, like they'll give you 50.
Yeah,
like, if you're
exactly.
I think if
For quick reference, 2020 BRZ, MSRP $28,000, performance 205 horsepower.
Ooh, they
Performance?
cranked it 5 more.
no
Yeah.
performance, no,
Not available.
that's not available in that trim.
Quick side note: JOOS is available as a vanity plate in Rhode Island. So Juice is not, but JOOS is.
Okay.
the play.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I looked at that. I looked at some. Matt Farrer was saying how it his initial drive it wasn't good. It overheated the transmission. I saw another video that said it was pretty weak. For 43,000, there's a lot out there, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot out there.
Yeah.
This isn't an S3 that kind of money.
Maybe
Uh,
just entering it.
I guess it's not a two-door thing though.
Not a 2-door. I said,
What's
because
an M2?
Golf
An
R
M2's way
60.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 60.
Golf R comes to mind.
Golf
but
R, yeah.
Four-door hatch
Actually,
type thing.
43. Again, it's different beasts, if you will, but 2020 S3 starting at 43.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it
that
just goes to
makes-
show you can get so much more for that kind of money.
And
Yeah,
that makes
absolutely.
288.
I think for the 51 grand, the six banger is a pretty good deal. It's almost 400 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's a real sports car.
Yeah.
For 43, you're going to be driving around in a car. I mean, I'm sure you can chip it to 300 horsepower, obviously, but you're going to be driving around a car that, like, your whole life you're going to be like, yeah, well,
I
it's
wish I would
lighter.
have. Yeah. I wish I would have.
just
And it's
Buying
lighter, but it has smaller brakes.
It's like the
It's
same
like, that's not
equivalent.
good.
Yeah.
It's like the same equivalent going out and buying a Camaro. Be like, nah, I'll take the V6 over the V8. It's fine.
Yeah, let me grab the 6. It's lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the
That's
extra
cool.
8 grand, do you really want to justify that you bought the weaker version?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't.
But what's crazy is
That's why the industry said they weren't going to bring it.
Yeah,
Here
with
it
that
is. It doesn't make
Camaro-
sense.
thing, like the same thing with the Mustang. Think about how many of those are out there that actually are V6s.
Oh,
and you look at
yeah,
the price
all the
delta
time.
between that, and it's even smaller of a gap.
Yeah.
Like at $8,000 or $9,000, a pretty
Yeah,
significant
so maybe
gap.
maybe it sells. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe it'd be
And
because
maybe it's a cool car. I
Is it
don't.
manual transmission?
No.
No. Okay. So it literally
It's a
has
paddle
nothing
sat flap.
like
No,
short of
and
price.
I'll
it's
read
just-
some reviews on it, but it just doesn't really interest me.
I read some just first takes, not
yeah,
in
that's
depth,
exactly
anything
what
like
I
that. Just
saw.
some first takes of the whole thing.
What's the so it's a Supra Toyota Supra what's the is there a specific edition?
It's also a Supra. I don't know. So I was thinking they should call this the Supra and then call the six banger the Supra Turbo. Because Porsche does that. Cars
Yeah,
both have turbos. Nobody gives a
Throw
shit.
an S
Right.
at the end of it?
Yeah,
Right.
throw an S
Yeah.
on there.
Right. Sport, TRD, Supra, something.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it'll do well in other countries, but if you look at like just the way that America is, like Acura was just created to throw a badge on something.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing, I don't know how well the Supra itself is selling.
How
let
many guys are
alone
not
this
opening
thing.
the hood at car shows now? You know,
It ain't
Nah, I can't
selling
open the hood,
great.
bro.
No.
Yeah, what are the distinguishing features between?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that deep yet.
We gotta find what those they are.
Hopefully,
Right.
there's none.
There's probably less working vents.
What if it's
on the Ford
Not
Ranger.
possible.
what if it's
Excuse me,
It's got
sir.
drum-
Not
we have
possible.
less than any.
exactly the same, just a different motor?
I hope it is.
Literally
It would make me
exactly the
so
same.
happy.
If it's got the same brakes and stuff, people will buy it.
Nah, it has different brakes. That's why it's lighter because the brakes are smaller.
So what engine
it's
is
slower.
actually in it?
I didn't even go into it. It's a BMW 4-cylinder.
You can't fake it with small brakes.
So what's there? Is that the
One from the 2 Series.
It's probably the thing that's in my wife's car.
Which is an N20, or is
Probably
it a B
N-
at that
N-
point?
It's B20, I think now.
Interesting. Yeah, because we obviously know.
But
the
I don't know. Just the
B58
price difference really threw me off because I was like, shit, if it's like 35, even a little higher than that, that's a price, man. Because the Supra's 50 grand.
Yeah.
But at 43, like,
yeah.
Listen, it's not even a $200 difference in payment.
You get at the point now where like the bargaining, like 51's MSRP. So if you go out there, you're pulling the truck system. If you get them down a little bit, you're closing the delta between the two.
Yeah,
and
you're
now
pulling 5 off that thing.
Yeah, you get a little more reasonable. Everyone knows 10%.
Everybody, you're out of there for 45.
And
yeah,
it's a 10%
46.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just have 2-liter turbo, Ford producing 255. Matter of fact, other countries are getting a less powerful variant, which is interesting. 200 pounds lighter. Yeah.
Let's face it.
So other countries are getting even smaller ones.
Yeah.
Just a detuned.
It's gonna be like those dudes that you see on YouTube at 3 a.m. when you're still watching YouTubes that like built Ferraris over bicycles. And they're just pedaling down the street.
No, it's like if you're doing man math, rationalizing buying the 6 to your wife, you're like, baby, listen, the 6 is like 50 grand. It's 51. I can get 10% off, 45. I mean, the 4-bang is 44. I want to pay the extra grand. You know, boom. You never mentioned you can get a discount on the lower one. You add 1,000 to that one. You take 1,000 off the big one. Boom. You're basically there. You just rationalize the bigger car.
Chuck system part 2.
Exactly. That's Chuck's rationalization. Baby, come on.
Here's some interesting.
I'd be crazy not to. It's going to be worth way more.
Oh, absolutely.
Resale value.
So
Come on.
Let's see. This
Basic
is
economics.
People will make fun of
Macro.
us.
referencing motortrend.com here. Has the 4-cylinder Supra's interior changed? There are a few key differences that lower the equipment level on the 4-cylinder model. Instead of having power-adjusted seats, drivers must manually adjust their seating,
Oh, how could I even live?
which I prefer.
Yeah, I'd rather
The
that.
standard audio system has only 4 speakers.
Dude, I got it because I don't like power seats.
Power seats are real heavy.
Let's see. Other features like Apple CarPlay and radar cruise control, which are standard on most Toyotas these days, are only available with the safety and technology package.
So you're going to have to option that shit out to
So
even
you
get
gotta
close,
option it.
baby.
So
I
by
tell
the
you, it's going
time
to
you
cost me more to buy
Right,
the
by the time you
4-cylinder.
get right, I just bought this $67,000 4-cylinder Supra. Let's see. There's also, again, blind spot monitors, parking sensors, navigation, etc. All these, right? So
That's all for guys
so
that
you
shop
can
at Lowe's.
literally
Skirts.
you can literally option this thing out and be equal to a 6-cylinder version.
Yeah,
which
but
has all
if
the
you
shit
don't like
standard.
if you like manual seats, it's the only way to go.
Right. Yeah,
It-
look, man, this has put me over the edge.
Toyota
here.
just forced my hand. I
what's-
had to buy a $67,000 4-cylinder Supra.
Hey, can I get those seats in the 6-cylinder one? How much does that cost me?
Yo.
It's only a little bit of time before
Just
the
swap
charge
the
and-
engine.
and
Yeah,
up-
I bought the 4-cylinder. I'm going to swap
Yeah.
the engine.
Yeah.
They're charging an upcharge for not, for non-power seats in the 6-cylinder version.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Only a matter of time.
That'll
Yeah,
come.
absolutely.
hopefully.
So that 2-liter is the same one that's found in the BMW 330i and the Z4S Drive.
I mean, it's going to be okay.
30i.
Then 330i goes, and my,
Yeah.
Oh,
my wife's
that-
car's
that's
a big
the-
boy.
That motor isn't bad. It's
No.
just like it's
No,
neutered.
it's not bad.
It's a neutered Supra essentially.
Yeah, one should be the Super Turbo or something. This one
Yeah.
should be the Super Light.
Yeah. So like maybe I assume
Super latte.
Yeah.
So the
L-I-T-E.
Yeah, hit it with that LIT. Get that marketing spelling.
the rear end of the Supras are identical except for the exhaust, so you'll be able to tell the difference between them between the exhausts.
just different tips.
Now
I'm
when I
assuming.
swap it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe one's got 4, one's got 2. I don't know. I really
Yeah.
don't know.
It's always the
HKS.
tips.
Interesting. I'll be
Difference in tips.
very, very interested to see how well that thing sells, if at all. Because
It's going to sell like wildfire. It's going to sell all over.
imagine it's just everywhere.
Those are
Yeah.
gonna
I
sound good as
still,
Ardeons.
in all reality, I've still only seen one Supra on the road to date.
I remember back when I had my 135, I think I paid $35 for that thing.
Yep.
I guess that's old money now.
Yeah.
But fuck, man.
Well, it was what, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But that thing,
Well, there's no such thing as inflation, so, you know,
it doesn't work, right?
yeah, no,
Yeah, money's not real either.
but
so.
that thing
it's
kind
not
of
real.
warranted itself. Yeah, that would 35 for that makes sense.
Oh, I think it was a ripper. It was like the same price as an STI, but it came with 2 more cylinders and an extra turbo. I was like, count me in.
Two
Two
less-
less driven wheels.
Yeah,
And
2
a
less
bit of-
doors.
and a bit of soul.
Extra gear. Oh,
Yeah.
no, not extra gear. They all had 6s.
Yeah.
But did it have the snow and tarmac mode?
Yeah. It was controlled by your right foot on,
Yeah.
on the old pedal there.
So it looks like the only way to quickly tell if you're looking at the faster of the two Supras is to look for the red Brembo calipers. Everything else about the car looks identical.
Yeah, give me a little grill high heat paint.
That's
Yeah,
like every
red.
Volkswagen dude that puts a Golf R bumper on a GTI.
Yeah.
Just look at the brakes. You liar.
Yeah.
You
So-
lie to me.
Interesting. Yeah.
Didn't-
Well,
didn't you do that, Kyle?
I'm
No, I did
interested
not.
to see what
Golf bumper shape.
the whole thought process is, because then you get into like kind of psychology of it all.
And almost like, why not make a different car? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, why not make a Mr. 2?
What if they just threw that engine?
Send your dose, I believe.
Send your
They're going to
dose,
milk
right.
that name for all it's worth.
But then, like, they will milk it. But if it's not sell, you know what I mean? It's just to everybody who would buy that name. How is that one appealing? Is my thing.
Yeah,
It's
you're
just
gonna
like,
water it
what
down
makes
pretty
that?
quick.
Yeah, it's just
What's the thought process behind just not putting that in the BRZ? Why make a
Right, why-
Supra? Why
right,
not just
right.
keep the BRZ name and put something worthwhile inside? Because imagine, I think we'd have a different tune.
I'd have a completely different tune if that motor was in the BRZ.
Yeah, because they were
100%.
like, oh, we're putting on a new BRZ, and it comes out, and now the BRZ is all of a sudden
Suddenly,
50 or
and-
60 more horsepower. And
Say, because what did I just say? BRZ is 28.
yeah,
So kick that BRZ up to 35.
yeah,
Cap it off at 37 or 40 somewhere, right? That thing becomes a more than viable
Yeah.
little machine. And then, Supra lives at 60.
They
Okay,
wouldn't be able
I
to
would
keep
get
those
that.
things on the lot.
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
Because
Because
Like,
everyone that wants an STI that can't afford it would just be buying the BRZs.
they would just
or
be
someone
popping
wants a
up
two-door.
everywhere, right?
Oh,
which
right.
is
It's,
technically already happening.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just, it's
You smash
head,
a turbo on one.
head
Oh,
scratching.
yeah, interesting.
Although we say BRZ, that's a Subaru, because I don't think Toyota is making the FRS anymore.
They're calling it the 86 now, aren't they?
Oh, right,
Yeah,
that is,
yeah.
it's the 86, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still there, right? Just redressed, if you will.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just don't know why. Hey, let's create a shittier car with the same name, or not shittier, but
imagine if
lesson.
Toyota was like, you know what, we're gonna fucking throw this in the 86. You guys can stick with whatever you got over there at Subaru with the BRZ. You know,
right, and just suddenly
Then you
yeah,
get
yeah,
some
yeah.
real shit show going on.
Yeah,
That'd be some real legal shit show
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, it's gonna be a whole fucking disaster. Hey man, I'm just living in a hypothetical world over
Exactly.
here.
I just right.
Hey,
It's,
thanks for the pawn ship, boys. Peace. Your
and
motor
if you
sucks.
Yeah, but then
Um,
you'd see Subaru smash the STI motor in it, and then
Would they? I mean, I don't know. Would they?
They
If it-
should
if
have
it
done
becomes a
that in the first
competition.
place.
And then it becomes a goddamn war, and I'm
That'd
in
be
for
amazing.
that.
Yeah.
But that, like, if you look at it as a whole, if I don't even know if Toyota cares to compete in that segment. Truthfully, they don't give a shit. Their hand was forced to make the Supra, I think, and you have others out there like, who else? Nissan, for instance. They're
Yeah.
going to have the GTR. They're going to have some 400Z. So you would almost like, okay, let's hypothetically GTR. I know it's not really side-by-side comparison, but GTR and Supra, okay.
Yeah.
And then the next tier down, some BR's 86 version, whatever, something cool, and then
Yeah.
400Z and that kind of compete. You would think, but
Who knows?
yeah, who knows?
Everyone's just living in their own world.
Yeah,
Good for them.
You live your truth.
they're just hiding people in fucking bass guitar cases.
Yeah, man, that's what
Smuggle
happens
them outta
sometimes.
here.
Sometimes you gotta.
That's
yeah.
it.
What's the status of that guy?
He is hiding in the Middle East.
Still on the run?
In
There was
Libya,
some-
I believe.
there
right?
was some
no,
recent-
Lebanon.
There was some recent stuff that came out about him.
Banned on the run.
Those dudes from Mass
Good
helped
track.
him, and then there was some other stuff that some statements were being retracted. I don't know. The story is developing story continues.
It's such a wild story.
Yeah, it continues, and we'll never know. Goddamn center of the earth.
The world may never know.
What else do we have for news?
What else do we have for news? Oh, you boys strap up your New Balances and get ready to be shook
Oh,
because the 2020 vet is wildly delayed.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
GM
yeah.
said they're not going
Jeez.
to be able to build all the 2020 orders because of
the
the
$60,000
UAW
pricing.
the UAW strike,
Okay,
which happened before the Rona and now the Rona. So they're thinking the word is that it's going to be the lowest year of vet production on record.
wow. So,
It's going to be super limited. edition
so all these
2020.
guys are gonna fucking go right to the Barrett and just be like, "Look, there's only 17 of these made in
Oh,
this
yeah.
color with this
Listen.
make."
Their dicks haven't been this hard in fucking years, dude. Years.
So
All these
much
guys
more
were able
time
to
to
get
turn
them.
those New Balances green.
Yeah.
Mowing
Yeah.
the lawn all summer.
right.
Which is also a bummer because at the same time, it just cuts down the possibility of seeing them out there, being able to interact with one. And
Yeah,
I
I saw
actually
one, it
saw
was
one
cool.
driving through Providence. It was an orange one.
really,
really.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I haven't seen one of those yet.
I haven't seen. I have a handful of Supras, and I haven't seen a vet yet.
I've seen more C8s than I've seen Supers on the road.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I'm living in the wrong place.
On the way from New Hampshire the other day, I saw 2 of them.
Like together
I
or?
don't know, just completely separate, like 2 hours apart.
Oh, so that's what I'm glad you kind of mentioned that, because just as a side callback thing, I was driving home from shooting here on Friday.
Yep.
Last Friday, and there's cars that we talk about and we can poke fun of, and they have their stigmas and things like that. But when you actually see some of these things, i.e., a fucking Lamborghini Aventador,
Yeah.
like
that shit
on
is
the road,
serious.
on the highway, and it's just
You saw them because I went to Chick-fil-A after I left here, right?
okay, yep.
And I saw all of them leave. They were at
So-
the Chick-fil-A parking lot.
Wait, they were just Lamborghinis hanging out. Is that where they meet now?
So
don't
I
know.
didn't see them there. So I seen them on the highway. So
Yeah.
it was an orange or burnt orange-esque Lamborghini Aventador,
Yeah.
which he was probably a mile or 2 ahead of the other guys. They
Yep.
weren't flying, but I mean the thing was doing 85, 90 as it went by me, and I could see it, and I'm like, holy shit! And it's just one of those things where like I'm in the middle lane, I'm just cruising. I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna turn my radio down, open the window, and just hear it growl by.
Yeah.
And again, it's just the presence of said vehicle. That's
Those things are wide flat
like,
boys. The flat boys are
as
back.
The fucking width of that thing was like astonishing. And then seen that go by, and then I believe shortly after that it was a purple Gallardo Superleggera, and then
the purple one with the Italian
purple-
flag on the side?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's around.
And then a like dark blue. I think it was a Ferrari California.
I didn't see the Ferrari.
I think,
no.
and then a dark blue Ferrari California. Those two were running together.
There was a white one as well.
I
You
didn't
didn't see the
that
white one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I don't know again where they were going. It didn't seem like they were. Maybe the 2 were going for a cruise, but one of them took one exit, and then the other 2 just kept going. So I don't know if it was a meet, whatever.
Yeah,
but
they left the parking lot full asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, just full asshole.
Full on,
Yeah,
yeah.
no excuse. Full
Yeah.
asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, well-
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
here's-
talking about.
Let me
Yeah.
play the sound of my people.
But I mean, that's right next to the highway. It's like right on there. Yeah.
yeah.
At
Yeah,
least they're
it's,
driving them though.
So
Yeah, they're
and
not
that
parked.
it's just like one of those things. We talk and poke fun about at a lot of these cars. The not Aventador, but the Lamborghini Aztec, and even that's one that again they have the like the holy shit when you see something like that going down the road. Like, oh, there it is. It's just a cool thing to see.
Oh yeah, it's got a presence.
Yeah, exactly. The presence.
I ran into a T350R in Mexico on the way back from Newport.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Those things. It's just
Yeah. Outside air temp was a little low, so it hit 25 pounds of boost real quick.
Boost, brother.
Turns out that thing cuts all my throttle input, so it wasn't great.
Yeah,
It wasn't great
Oh,
for everybody.
It was an interesting event, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm like, 70, huh? This babe was tuned at 110, so this will be perfect.
Not having it.
No, but I always see those guys. I see the purple one all the time.
Yeah,
I've
I've
in
seen
that area too.
I was
Like,
gonna say, I think I've seen that purple one before.
Yeah.
That was truly the first Aventador I've ever seen on road driving.
oh, they're
Really?
ridiculous.
Yeah, and it just
Dude,
like,
all the big Lambos have such road presence. It's crazy. Like I see like the Diablos and stuff. Don't get me wrong, they're cool.
yeah,
So's the other whatever the Huracan or whatever.
Huracan,
But
yeah.
you see the Aventador or the Murcielagos or the Diablos, and you're just like, holy shit, that thing
Yeah.
is like lower than this table, and
Yep.
it's 9 feet wide, and it's just like steamrolling down the highway.
They
Yeah,
must
look so
design
cool.
it from that. You know what I'm saying? Like when they design the car, they must like put it out on a road
He-
and just like
basically-
go like a quarter mile away and be like, okay, how's it look from here?
Oh, that looks totally fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
it looks
just
like
sweet.
it looks like a parking block in a quarter mile.
yeah,
I just stamp a bowl on the screen
yeah.
and then just mold it from that.
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
kind of work from a distance, right?
Yeah.
And then however the fuck it looks up close, it's like it doesn't matter because
Yeah.
Don't matter.
from
This
that
is what we
point
want, right.
it looks perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
This looks good. Flatten it by 2 more inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And widen it 6 more.
Yeah,
Dude, they're so cool.
it was
They
just
really
a
are
cool
right?
sight.
Rolling.
Yeah.
I always appreciate seeing guys like that actually like either beat the snot out of the cars or just drive them a lot. 'Cause
Yeah.
all too often you see these like crazy supercars that like it's got
Collections,
1
baby.
mile
Well, that, I
on
was
it.
gonna say
Yeah.
that's
That
the thing.
sucks.
Aventador, I always see him parked, just sitting there at the thing, or you see him slowly kind of creeping out
Yeah.
of the parking lot. You know, if that at all. But seeing one on the highway was like, and again, the guy wasn't even getting it or being an asshole. It was just he was
Just doing
cruising
him.
along.
Yeah.
I'd have so much more respect if someone was like, "Yeah, there's 65,000 miles on my Aventador." It's like, I love you.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's cool as
Well,
well.
it would have blown up 7 times.
I was gonna say no. That would have caught
On
on
my
fire.
ninth motor.
Yeah.
What's is a gentleman?
65,000 on the body.
8th motor.
6 transmission.
Yeah, Team Salamone.
Team Salamone.
That guy's a legend.
Team Salamone. You
Yeah.
want to talk to someone who, or not talk to, but like look at someone who.
Is he a YouTube guy?
No.
Lamborghini.
Yeah. He ships this thing all over the country, drives it everywhere, back and forth. I mean,
Good for
Ah,
him,
Yeah,
that's
he
man.
does all the gumball rallies
Yeah.
and stuff. He's in everything.
every few years he gets a new one and just crushes more miles on it.
Yeah.
Like no one's putting these kind of miles.
That's
on
what you
his
gotta
car.
do if you got one, man. Just beat
Yeah.
the shit out
He
of
just
it.
Yeah.
got the matching Aztec. Do you
Yep.
see that?
Yep.
Oh,
Same thing,
that's
same chrome wrap and
savage.
everything.
That's where it's at.
But who brought up the Diablo?
Mm.
Anybody
Oh,
see the thing
jeez.
about Patty?
I hadn't.
I
I,
saw
hadn't
that.
Oh,
read
that's a
it.
bummer.
I hadn't read it, but
It's a good thing Top Gear's got that
It
insurance.
didn't look that fucked up. The picture.
No,
I saw,
but you don't know like what
Well,
happened
you
underneath.
crash a
Oh, that he
Lamborghini
wrecked
Diablo,
one,
you're in
yeah.
trouble.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. I mean, you're having trouble with parts for a Polo. Lamborghini Diablo.
You'd probably be better off. I
you
mean,
very well could. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. So what were the details on that? They were filming for Top
Just
Gear. And
filming.
He said it was torrential rain and Diablos don't work good, but like people in the area at the time were like, "Yeah, it wasn't raining."
Oh, see, I didn't read anything about
the
rain
roads
at
were
all.
a little wet.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't read anything about rain at all. The story I read had something to do with like there was oil on the road.
Okay. Well,
But
He's
wow.
still got a ways
Wow.
to go to top Richard Hammond.
yeah,
yeah.
He's
for
got a
real.
lot
Well,
more cars to wreck.
Shoot.
I was gonna say,
cliff.
yeah. Which time?
there was some
Yeah.
quote unquote oil on the road.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
And that was backed by the police that were observing the event or closing down.
What are the-
so.
The
One
police,
of-
the band.
Yeah.
One of
They
the
were there.
best. One of the best excuses I've ever heard. My friend Ed Andrews, rest in peace, buddy.
Rest in peace.
His Mark II. The story is he was driving his Mark II. I believe it was a
All been there.
Fuck. G60 swap. I can't remember what it was. His
boy.
swap Mark II.
G60 swap.
He's on a date with his to-be girlfriend.
Mhm.
Like one of the first dates, and the road. All I remember him telling me is like he told the cop as they were pulling the car out of the ditch with the truck. Sorry, sir. The road got away from me.
The road got away from
got
him.
away from me.
Hey, with that
Sure
ass.
did.
Just
Sure
like my
did.
sandbox
Rascally road.
incident. Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
like he didn't. He just the road got away from
Found
me.
the
It's one of
ditch.
the best.
The
fucking-
car didn't get away from me. The road.
Yeah.
I stayed with the car the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Here
my
I am.
The road, on the other hand, way away.
Yeah,
Way
yeah,
away.
just-
What's up there, Mr. Drifter?
right.
Yeah.
Found the old ditch, man. It
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, wonderful. I love those type of stories.
Oh, I got a little bit of news.
Yeah,
Oh,
do
boy.
it.
Let's hear it,
You
man.
guys
Bring it to
see
the table.
that 40 that burnt down in Monaco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The dude's just laying out checks just to rebuild
I
it.
saw
Good
that,
for
man.
him,
Full
man.
From top to bottom.
Turns out when you
Wow.
live in Monaco, if your Ferrari catches on fire, it's not a
Yeah.
big deal.
Speaking of Ferraris in Monaco, did you boys see that video I sent you?
No, I didn't get to watch it.
Okay.
No, you sending me a video?
Yeah.
Yeah, just via text. It was a link to a YouTube video that Ferrari put out of the SF90.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that video. There's a lot of complaints about that video.
I like
Them redoing like the classic
Yeah.
French Paris at night.
short of hearing the car and kind of seeing it go around Monaco, which is cool. I just there was no fucking point to that
No.
video at all. There
Especially if
was
you compare it to the real one, and you're just like,
it's just yeah.
okay, this is dumb.
Yeah, this is not like I think I sent and just like Ferrari's gonna Ferrari.
Chris
and
Harris,
that was just
did you see Chris Harris tweeted about that? And he's like,
No.
if you ever wondered why people like us are necessary, watch this Ferrari video.
okay, right. It's literally a
It's just like
dude.
shit production value.
A dude pulls up to like the front of a church with a bunch of dudes out there, and they start clapping.
What's up with the flower thing at the beginning?
It just shows a florist, right? It shows this girl.
What's up with
florist.
Shorty though?
I don't know.
Exactly.
We can inquire. If
Yeah.
so she's
This is very Italian.
she's doing her flower stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
They're
really.
in
there's-
France.
Yeah.
There's no story or anything
Italian,
behind
baby.
that. And it
The
just
car.
goes to the dude in the car in front of all the dudes, and then the dude pulls away, and then it goes around for like I don't know, a 4-minute clip of him just driving this vehicle around the Monaco track, and then it pulls up, or the next clip is him pulling back up to where all the dudes were who were clapping, and now this florist that they showed originally has 2 bouquets of flowers. They both take a bouquet, stand there, take a picture. She gets in the vehicle, and they go around for another lap. And the only thing that I noticed was they're all wearing masks.
Oh,
as
Jesus Christ.
they're all wearing COVID masks, right?
Okay.
So they're all wearing masks, and then she gets in the car, and they both immediately take off their masks.
There you go. They must have known each other.
I
Maybe
just,
they grew up
that's
together.
what, there's, I just have so many questions.
They got to know each other real quick.
Yeah,
is-
mouth hugs we're gonna
Yeah,
have.
He's
exactly.
like-
I mean, it's a Rari.
I just don't know anything.
A lot
that
of
was-
moves you can't make with a mask on in a Rari.
Whatever story they were trying to tell about said
wasn't
event,
clear?
Look, it's just the goddamn
thought-
spider web.
Were
of
the guys
stories.
still there?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Ferrari.
They're
It's a Dica
there.
magnet.
And then it just ends. It just ends with a picture of them taking their scene of them taking their masks off, and everybody goes off into the sunset. And I have no fucking clue what they.
God,
were
that's
trying
my
to portray.
fantasy life.
Yeah,
Paris mask off,
it just
Ferrari,
right.
Drive around for no reason.
Yeah, it just
with a Dica magnet.
it could have what could have been was not.
It was magic.
Yeah. Oh, it was magic. All right.
It's never a day in the Revival Motoring Podcast without Tesla news.
What do we got in Tesla news?
Tesla put out the Model S Long Range Plus with an EPA certified 402-mile range.
So long range plus, is this different from standard long range?
Yeah, it's a Model S Long Range. It's got a plus at the end.
Plus.
Plus. And that's a 402-mile range certified by the EPA, not just Sven from Germany's that Porsche had to use when they couldn't make
402 miles is
It's pretty solid.
That's something.
Yeah.
That's something.
That beats most gas vehicles.
I'll say that beats
Yeah.
full tank in any vehicle.
Yeah, most like mine, for instance, 300-ish, 330.
Yeah.
something.
Well, that's what people said. Hey, when these things can do like a gas car mileage, that's the place. So now if
Right,
you get like
yeah.
120 grand to spend, you can get
Right.
the
So,
same
yeah,
mileage as a Honda Civic.
Is that how much this thing's going for?
I'd imagine so, because the long range wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh can look it up. He's on the computer, but it was confirmed by the EPA. And as I said, we remember when Porsche came out with their number,
Yeah.
and the EPA gave them like 198 miles. And they're like, well, that's not a real test. Let me show you a real test that we made up.
I went
Model-
down a rabbit hole of how like the back and forth between like the EPA
Yeah.
testing is like total just shit versus like real life testing, and then the real life testing saying like it's like the EPA shit is rigged and it's like
Yeah.
I'll never get to the bottom of this. So I'm
No,
just
but
gonna
if one of
fucking-
them's standard and they do
Yeah.
it the same all the time,
Yeah.
like that's the one you're going to go off, right?
Model S Long Range Plus,
And you buy it right now.
$69,000.
No way.
Nice.
Model S Long Range Plus is 69,000.
how is that
Right?
possible?
I got that's what it is.
How much is just the long range then?
Jeez, how much is neither range?
So it looks like.
What? Give me a
Give
standard.
me a new one
Sign
for
me
like
up.
All right,
40?
I'm sorry. Include potential savings. Oh
Ah,
yeah. Oh, actually, no.
fucking Tesla.
Still $75,000.
75 for the Long Range
Long
Plus.
Range Plus.
400 miles.
Model S 402, and then the performance variant of the Model S, currently priced at $94,990
That's
Oh,
the,
so
bra-
the-
the
the
Brain
P-
Scramble Edition.
with a 348-mile range.
I take it.
Which is still 348 miles.
Still,
is still
yeah.
more
Yeah.
than I'm getting in my 1 Series currently. So
Yep.
And how quickly can you charge that?
So this, I think it would depend on a supercharger, because again, remember the thing that Porsche has over them is that the voltage system for the Tesla is lower, so it takes a little while longer. However, a supercharger to full charge, I don't know, a couple hours.
I don't think so.
Is it, or is it faster?
I think it's faster than that. Just the thing with that I think a Harry video pointed out back in the day is when you have one of these cars and you park it in your house and plug it in every night, you never go no supercharger anyways. But I guess if you're going to go beyond 400 miles in one run,
Yeah, that's like what
that's
I'm
going to be
thinking.
your issue,
Like,
right?
Once you hit 400 miles, if you can like quick charge it for an additional 2, like that's a viable road
I think
trip
it's
car.
even less
well,
than
I
that.
mean, you go.
I think it's 45 minutes to get to like
You pull over, go grab some
100 plus
snackies,
miles.
some fucking Bang Energies, maybe have some Bud Lattes, whatever the fuck you want to do, and then throw it in the charger for like
couple
15,
Bud
20 minutes.
Lattes, put that thing on auto drive.
Yeah.
But I think
few road lattes,
Yeah.
autopilot. I like that.
It's not something we condone here.
No, not
It's
at all,
Very
but I mean,
clear.
it's
Totally kidding. Don't
You
do
do
that.
you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what you might be able to get.
I mean 400 miles gets to New York City and back from
Yeah.
here.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
charge it
it's
once a week type
Driving
shit.
like a
Yeah.
skirt, if you will.
Yeah, a Lowe's.
A Lowe's shopper.
Wow. So Tesla's supercharger Model V3,
Mhm.
ones that are supposedly hitting their locations, in the next few months or already, can charge up to 75 miles of range in 5 minutes.
Oh Jesus!
It's
not even a pee break.
And that's with like no one else there parked, using any other power from anywhere else.
Right. There's,
And the
everything
sun's going to
shut
be
down.
fully in the
Yeah.
sky.
And let's see this, and it can charge at peak range.
And Jupiter
of
has to be in
1,000
Gatorade.
miles of 1,000 miles per hour of range. So it basically
So I can
a
you can charge
supercharger
a car
can be fully
in
charged
half an
in
hour.
Yeah.
at most, right?
So if it
However
does
that works.
1,000 miles in an hour at 400 miles, it should take like 25 minutes to charge a
Right,
car.
realistic about half hour.
So
Yeah.
So you
I
can
mean,
just
that's-
go
that's
inside,
impressive.
grab
That's
a bite
crazy.
to eat, and
Yeah.
then
And
be fully
that is
charged and go
only
your
the
way.
supercharger.
and that's after driving
but-
400 miles, where you're
Yeah.
probably going to want to grab something to eat.
But
Yeah.
still,
Exactly.
their network
if
is
it's
just getting
70
better and better.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the math doesn't work that way, but the first 5 minutes gives you 75 miles, so you figure 10 minutes is probably going to get you 100 plus. It's not
Yeah.
going to double, but
Yeah.
I would just motor on down
is
the road.
15 going to get you halfway home? I mean, I'll take it.
I'd probably get you something, a little nappy poo or something.
Yeah, right.
Pretty wild. Still not going to buy
Yeah,
one, but
and as
pretty
the
wild.
network just keeps getting bigger and bigger, they'll eventually have just the most ridiculous network that it won't matter.
Yeah, what do we
anyway.
think? So, what's going to be the cap on the mileage, or is it just going to be forever?
Well, they say that this isn't even like the Plaid Ultra 4 engine thing that they're
Yeah.
going to put out, which is supposed
Right,
to
they're
get 600
supposedly- yeah,
miles. So
yeah.
I just think, we knew that these guys were kind of ahead of the game.
Not
and-
kind of.
Yeah,
Just-
Oh, yeah.
well, depending on who you ask. And
Yeah,
then they
It's from
were,
a different world.
then everybody thought that the Rona was going to knock them off, but old Elon from space was like, yeah, I ain't shutting down.
Yeah.
So I just think their lead's been extended so far, and you see all these other guys taking hits, canceling cars. I don't know. I think they've cemented a pretty solid lead in this space.
Here's
I
my
think-
conspiracy brain.
If you were like a vaporware place,
Yeah.
you'd be like, shit, I don't know if we can get this thing going
Yeah.
now.
I don't think there'll be a cap on the range for a very long time.
Like, do
if
we
ever.
think eventually we're going to see something like, like a new update, 1,200 miles?
Probably.
Right.
Eventually,
like,
they're going to run out of names like Tesla Model S Long Range Plus, Extra Plus.
What do you mean
Long,
Yeah.
long?
Tesla will
I think
It's
they'll
gonna
just
turn
make the
into the
Tesla
Subaru.
Model S like shit will be 400 miles. You
Yeah.
know? Because once you get battery capacity, it gets bigger and bigger. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, why would there be a limit?
'Cause
Think
that'd
about how
be
big
insane.
batteries now.
Yeah.
long range.
Just think about like laptops, like 10 years ago, how
Right,
giant they were.
right.
This thing
So-
will last 10 hours
and
on
that's
battery.
the thing. There's no negative to making the range longer, because then again the demand is
Yeah.
on the chargers is smaller. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, less charge.
That's a positive,
It's
yeah.
just it's going to help.
I mean,
itself.
400 would I could get to work and home for a week plus and
Yeah.
not even have to plug the damn thing in. Never mind if
Right.
you charge it every night. Like,
Yeah, and
Oh,
how
you
often
wanna go
do you
to the
need
hill?
more than
Fine.
4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, this is before I had the 400-mile thing. I was like, these guys are never going to be able to catch up as of right now, the way it looks. How long until like the big three are like, listen,
let me get some of
electricity
that
is not the
technology, dog.
future.
Gases.
Gas is. They partner with the oil industry, and they just like try and fucking sink all this electric shit because they just can't do it. They can't do it.
You know that's what's happened for the past 30 years, right?
No, but like until it actually takes like a forefront of what's going on, like
They've been doing it. They've tried to do it. They just couldn't do it with him.
they have more motivation now.
Yeah, there's that like
Maybe.
documentary,
Yeah.
Who Killed the Electric Car?
Yeah.
You ever watch that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Just keep buying the patents out.
Yep.
There's one guy you can't buy
like
patents from.
the
A man
water
from
car.
space.
Yeah.
The man that just randomly sends people to space for fun. He's like,
Yeah.
"Ah,
Elon says no.
Yeah.
But yeah, until they're just like, we just can't do this, so we have to take them down. You know?
I mean, he's offered the tech, hasn't he, to license
the
out the
charging
tech?
was like the open
and no
source,
one's
right?
no one's taking it, which is
Yeah.
so dumb.
Right. It's
Yeah.
all there.
Because to make the charging open source.
Hyundai, just take the tech, baby.
Yeah, right. Perfect.
Become the
Right.
second biggest car company in the world.
Can you imagine? Oh man.
I mean, look at the infrastructure. It's
Just pay
already
the
in
man.
place.
Just pay the man.
Use it on the Genesis line.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
paved
just
the
pay the
road
man.
for him
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
jump on board.
Somebody pay that man. As long as Tesla just paid him $700 million. But I mean, if
Oh,
the
yeah, that
tech's
was
possible
his-
to get, man, I mean, you'd be crazy not to. I mean, he's building this infrastructure, build batteries in the tech. I mean, he'd rather sell
He's
it.
getting unrelated, but somewhat related. He's getting more and more inquiries about tunnels, boring tunnels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
Pour me out.
different- just so yeah, it just just
Pour me out, dog.
just make that hole.
Yeah.
What else do you
I-
have for
Nothing. I just
For
think
Tesla
it's
news, I'm glad you asked.
for Tesla news?
super foolish that these companies they're not just. We talked about this network and before. I think it's foolish for them just not to be using it. Ford's get their own bullshit, whatever they're trying to put out. Volkswagen has their obligation to put in these charging facilities because of they tried burning down the planet, and then like everyone else, like what is this 1,000 horsepower, trillion-mile Hummer going to use? Like, what charging station are they going to use? Are they going to make?
the
they're
one
gonna
in
make
space
their own
where
as
the
well?
truck exists.
That's what I'm saying. But like, they're going to make their own charging station as well. So that everywhere you go, you'll be like, nah, the VW one can't use it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's
They
like
gotta
the infinite
standardize.
battle between the iPhone cable and the Type C cable. Listen, Let's just make one.
Yeah.
Let's just make one.
Someone said I think like Tesla's market cap's like $189 billion right now,
Yeah.
and like the second highest is 60 maybe.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
Just like they're crushing it, man. I mean, the other companies are really taking a beating right now.
Yeah, they're the only. Yeah. Everybody's
At what
in
point do they
trouble
give
to
up?
a certain extent, but
You can't give up. I mean, what's give up mean? To like buy the tech,
Yeah. What?
or just be
exactly.
like, hey, we're doing gas cars, fuck electric.
Exactly.
We're running this baby to the ground. 'Cause
Yeah.
you got a good few years. I don't know if you're a future thinking company, you can't give up, but you got to
Yeah.
do something different.
At some point, like you got to change the way what you're doing. So
Because
it's
let's
either
face it,
just-
there's no viable alternative right now.
right. That's the
We've
thing. Is
driven
like,
the Porsche;
if
it's
they
fucking
say-
awesome. But if you're only getting 100-something miles and it's
Yeah.
an eighth faster in the quarter, like
What
who
does that really
gives
matter?
a shit?
Yeah.
Like
Right. So, and that's the thing is like if you buy Tesla tech, well, you can still make a Porsche.
I don't know, maybe they're just not offering the tech anymore. I guess,
Yeah.
but I just
yeah.
I don't think that's a thing. I think there's a bunch of pride involved, but there's nothing else.
Right, to your
if you're gonna
point,
go buy, if
what's
you're
the
gonna go spend
alternative?
$100,000 on an electric car, unless you're drinking the Kool-Aid from Porsche, you're not gonna buy anything else.
Right.
And how long has it been like that? It's been like that for a long time.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
then
much since the start.
and then the COVID thing, the coronavirus, as we once called it, when it
Yeah.
wasn't serious,
Yeah.
went and knocked all this shit out. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't stock with them, so go baby go. But
Right,
it is
right.
it is
But-
almost comical at this point, where it's just like, there. I mean, like
what's
the
the
the main-
what are you
the
doing? What's
the
the
mainstream
long-term
media is not even talking shit about Tesla anymore. They're like, oh, I guess we're fucked now.
Well, we have to accept it, right?
Yeah.
Right. What are they doing? And yeah, who knows? I really don't know.
Yeah.
What was that, Kyle?
Like too proud to admit defeat. Like I really wonder how much pride is actually involved in that. Like, oh, we won't.
We're not gonna buy the
succumb
tech.
to
You would
we're
think,
learning from him.
and it's so stupid because everybody would get over it
Yeah.
very quickly.
And it's an
Like, oh,
American
yeah, no
company
shit, like,
Still, no
doing
one
something
cared.
good.
Yeah.
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 Like,
Like,
oh,
oh, cool. Ford partnered with them to do this, and they're
Right.
coming out with a better car. Sick.
exactly.
Like, everybody wins.
Right.
Well, Ford dumped all,
Yeah,
not
so
all their money, but they dumped their eggs into the Rivian basket, which still doesn't exist.
And
so it's like-
didn't something happen with them too? They canceled all their pre-orders or something recently.
I don't know.
There's something with them.
I followed along for a little bit, and then I was like, yeah, well, I just can't continue to watch this, so I'm just going to move on.
yeah.
So,
Let me
yeah.
look that up. I wanted to find out what Chuck thought about the new M5.
Oh, I saw the pictures of it. It looks all right. I don't know.
Looks all right.
That's about all I got too.
I see, like, here's a picture of the new M5 before it's supposed to be unveiled. Look, it's mildly refreshed. Like,
Right,
yeah, I could have
right.
waited for the unveiling.
Still the same motor, still 4.4 liter V8.
Yeah, probably totally tears ass, and it
600
looks a little
horsepower.
more aggressive. I
And
think it looks better than the previous one, but
Competition.
that's the point.
Competition version available.
So all-
617.
Everybody knows how I feel about the competition version. Gotta have it,
Yep.
especially for the four-door sedan. Gotta have that competition
Yeah.
version.
Have to.
Get the kids in and out of the back faster.
Yeah, competition means bigger wheels for
Is
some
that
reason.
red?
It's
Yeah, it was a red one.
Yeah.
I really like the red. Holy
It looks
shit.
good.
You never see that car in red like that.
No.
How much larger are the front grills?
Not much.
No.
No. And
Very
these are-
reasonable.
No,
these
they
ones are
didn't.
blacked
They didn't
out.
fuck it up as bad as
That's
the
good.
three.
Yeah, very
before.
reasonable. Big fan. I really like the kind of the side grills, the lower
Oh,
side
I mean,
grills.
if you compare it to the new 3 Series, the new M5 is a fucking masterpiece.
It's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
It's one of the
this
most
is-
beautifully penned cars of all time.
This is way better.
I always think the M5 or the 5 Series in general has always been an excellent aging car.
Handsome car.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It's
all
aged
age pretty
very,
well.
very
I think
well.
the E60 is probably the worst aging one out of all of them.
The only
it's
thing
still
that
not
bothers
that
me is the
bad.
trunk.
Yeah.
I don't like the trunk. Besides that, everything else is a beautiful
No,
car.
it's still not bad at all.
Yeah. The trunk's a little funky. It's
That's why
almost
the
like they
wagons
just
look
gave
so
up.
tight. Yeah. That's that Bengal butt.
Yeah. But
But yeah, I think the 5's good. I hope they don't big grill it. I could see how you could immediately ruin that thing.
we
But
were
yeah.
at BMW Norwood picking up the car, and there was like an X7 M50 X-Drive I some other bullshit, and like
Was it an S? Was it a competition?
I don't know. I just don't know. It's just too much. And the grills, I mean, were just it was enormous. It
Yeah,
was
but at least they
enormous.
weren't hexagons though.
No, but it's still it's like
I
I'm
look
pretty sure if that spot was MD, I could crawl through it.
I look back at the big grill days now before the hexagon,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, those were the days
Yeah.
back when the grills were really big.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh boy.
Some of these things are so big. Just
Yeah.
the vehicles in general are just enormous.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
X7,
Yeah.
whatever the hell they call it after that, doesn't matter,
Yeah.
is wildly large.
Yeah. I just couldn't get
Big
over
boy.
it.
Big mama.
Is that it for news?
Yeah, I
I
just
don't
got
know,
some
that's
tube
That's it for
views.
news.
I got a bunch of YouTubes too.
Got some tubes.
Yeah.
Let's get into a little bit of
Time for a
YouTubes.
video. Time for a video. Here we are.
Yep.
Finally played the goddamn noise.
I
What do you
haven't
got?
been watching much.
Oh, I got a couple, two,
of the
three.
tubes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I got the first one I want to bring up is shout out to Jason from Rotiform and
Big
Ryan
shouts.
Turek,
Oh,
Big
yes.
shots.
I
Oh, I
did-
saw that.
who
I
watched
did
the
watch
texting
that
and
one.
driving video.
Yes, I did watch that one.
Very nice.
Yep.
These two, man, it's a lovely little relationship we're watching bloom.
Did
Develop.
Sam have big involvement in that? Was he the filmer on that?
I have no idea.
I saw it from Mr. Dobbins. So
Yeah, I
I
would
imagine he
imagine
was
he
very
does.
involved.
I don't know. I got a kick out of it, man. It was funny. It was lighthearted. It was
Yep.
it was a great way to promote the partnership, but also promote Rotiform, but also promote like everything Ryan's
race
doing.
service.
Yeah,
and,
it was tied everyone in, and there was very little actually spoken in the video. Actually,
Yep.
like Jason had like a funny little one-liner.
And I like the bloopers at the end.
Yeah.
Where he was just coming up with a bunch of.
Yeah, sure, I'll go get your
I'm gonna do
laundry.
your laundry too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
just-
yeah.
yeah. It was very fitting.
I like that. That was cool, especially seeing race service and now knowing that he's got a big hand in that. And then I don't know, you just imagine seeing that car just like doing donuts on some
Dude,
side road in the middle of
race service
California.
is just like the coolest looking shop on
Yeah.
the planet. Plain
Very
and
cool.
simple.
I have Dougie D, who I'm not a huge fan of.
Dougie D, Doug DeMero.
I haven't watched a ton of his videos lately, but he bought a Stinger GT,
Let's find the quirks of the Stinger GT.
right? So I was like,
He bought one?
Quirks
bought
and
one.
features.
All right.
bought one. Get rid of his E63 AMG because he's put 90,000 miles on it in 3 years.
Wow.
Also, the underlying point of this whole video was that he now has launched his own car auction website. Thank you. And which is somehow going to compete with Bring a Trailer or
I
whatever.
hope it does, man. That'd be awesome.
But
Bringawallet.com.
yeah, he talks about so it's a 2018 he bought. He bought it in January of 2020. It's brand new. No miles on it. It's a 2018. He got $15K off MSRP.
Wow.
And he traded in his E63.
No, his
MG for it.
E63 is up on the auction website now because he needed a car to fucking
Launch it.
Yeah, launch it.
I can't even imagine, and I'll watch a video for it.
Yeah.
How sad it has to be to drive a Stinger after driving an E63 AMG.
And so the whole
A
time he's
Stinger, not a Singer. Singer would be great.
Singer would be wonderful.
the whole time he's like, I just think there's no reason to not spend $40,000, spend more than $40,000 on like your daily car, your daily driver. But like the whole point of the video is that, oh wait, I just put up my E63 AMG wagon, which is
Spend over
Which is what?
$40,000.
I mean,
Right.
how much is
Is it a wagon? Like
It's a wagon.
current gen
Oh,
one?
jeez.
$40,000 to
Previous gen.
$60,000, I'd imagine.
Yeah, so that's up on his auction site now. And like his gripes to Singer GT are pretty silly. They're just kind of like, oh, these materials are kind of blah blah blah, and it's the same reason why I don't really like his videos to begin with.
It's more just a hype video.
I
for his
love
website.
Dougie D, honestly. But
Exactly.
Does he still have that 4GT too?
Yeah. So he was like, oh, I caught so much shit because I bought a Stinger GT, and people say, well, if you can afford a Ford GT, like, why are you buying such a shitty like daily driver?
He's making a point. Like
Yeah.
I get it.
I also don't think Stinger GTs are shitty. I just
don't think
a
they're shitty at all. I
E63
mean,
is like a Halo car.
As
Yeah.
I voiced, and he says, I've come to the point where I have so many other cars that I can have fun with. I can't afford to buy a car and lose. He put out the number, and it was somewhat like X amount of $1,000 per month as I own it, like he did in the E63. So he bought that car for what was probably $90-something, $1,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
It's a
at
lot
least.
of depreciation.
Yeah. In 3 years, he's lost probably 55, 60%
Yeah, but
of
the
depreciation.
miles per gallon.
Yeah.
So would
Well,
it pay
that's the other
40
thing
for
is-
the Stinger?
Yeah, he paid 37.
What's
for
it
the
worth
Stinger.
off the lot? 15?
Yeah, if that. But he's like, I guess he sees that the fact that he can leave the money in this thing and it's okay to depreciate because it's only $40,000. But I was like, that's still a decent amount of money, as we were just
Right.
talking about.
I don't
like,
think that's how depreciation works.
Yeah, but like,
If he paid 90 for the E63,
Maybe.
and it's
we have
going to
no
sell
idea.
for 60, you lost 30. If you buy it a $37,000, I guess it would have to be worth almost zero to
Yeah.
really lose.
but
But then you have to drive a Stinger for years.
yeah. So
which
his
is
plan
not-
was to drive it
which isn't
for
great.
a year, is what he said. But I drive it for a year. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
so he's just hoping the dealer took a huge hit on the no mile 2018 when they gave him a deal on it.
yeah.
So he won't take a hit. He won't take a bath on the.
It's gonna be
The
Just a shot to
Appreciation.
the ego.
So
be
what he did
covered.
is he
He'll
kind of
probably be fine, I
he
guess.
covered that with he put in the video like actual screenshots from used 2018s selling for 35 and change.
Yep.
So his reasoning was, I paid 37 for a new one with 0 miles on it. So like if these all have 20-something thousand miles on it, whatever they are, and they're selling for almost the same price I paid for it,
Why not?
yeah, why not?
Yeah, but then they put that video up and they're not selling for that
Yeah.
kind of money
So
anymore.
the whole underlying thing is that he launched his own car auction website.
What's it called?
Fuck if I know. I'm not
All
plugging
right.
it. So
DougieD.com.
yeah.
Dougie D a trailer.
No, I don't know. So interesting. Not a big fan of his stuff that he does in general because it's kind of like you said, like check out these materials inside the car. Like you would think if you were to pay $50,000 for the car, they'd put a little more stitching around the steering wheel. And it's like, the fuck does it matter?
I know that I know that Doug DeMero is a big car guy and he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I think that keeping the videos like that is great for YouTube.
I get
audience.
that.
It's just-
Yeah, but I
right,
think
right.
that's also, and we've talked about it before, that's
Yeah.
kind of the issue with YouTube. If you're
It
like a
matches
highly
audience,
technical thing, like you're not going to get out a lot of views, but if you're Doug talking about how there's not enough stitching on the steering wheel, you're going to get a ton.
Well, I
Right.
mean, the video's been out 5 days and it has like over 2 million views. So
Oh, it's
like,
absurd.
clearly,
yeah.
my opinion is the unpopular one, and I'm fine with that
Yeah.
because there's 2 million other people who feel differently.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like, that's fine because I get what you're doing. Like, I don't question the fact he's a car guy. That's clear through and through.
Yeah.
I don't question the. Obviously, he owns Ford GT, Defender. He's got a convertible G-Wagon.
Yeah, all sorts of bad decisions.
I don't fucking
The
know
guy's
what's
got
going
it.
on there. And he's had E63 AMG wagon. He did the funny stuff with the Ferrari when he lived in Philly. He went and bought a big screen TV and tied it to the roof. Like, I get
Yeah.
it. It's funny, but like, and this is how he's gonna make his money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, whatever. But like, I clicked on it because it said Stinger GT, and I'm a big fan. So
There we go.
yes,
Well, you can get one cheap, man.
apparently, Jesus, I mean, 15K off. I thought it was a little light, but
Hey.
fuck, do I know?
Just what we need. More auction sites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird. So
Well,
the
there's
whole
only
thing-
one good one.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
right.
no, I'm kind of.
There's
I
also-
mean, good.
You're right. Right.
There's one popular one.
popular one.
There's one that's
Right.
around.
There's P car market too, which is like really started to blow up as well.
That sounds terrible just because it has
P-
P-car in the
P
name.
market?
P car market. Yep. Yeah.
And then there's also actually the collecting cars, right? Isn't that an actual website over
I have
there?
no idea.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah, it's Chris
developed from
Harris's,
the
yeah.
podcast?
Yeah.
Or
Podcast is
whatever
incredible.
came
Collecting
first.
Cars podcast.
Yeah.
Big show.
He's really stepped it up actually lately, which
Yeah.
has been good. So I've been on that.
Had some time at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I like they all dyed their hair blonde over there, you know?
Did they? I didn't
All
see
the
that.
all the
It's
top
strange
tier
bunch,
guys. They
strange
look
bunch.
hilarious.
Do you have any other YouTube?
Yeah, I watch more the old Ryan Turek vlogs. He's doing the East Coast car. It remains to be like a very fun to watch technical video on how to build like a drift car.
Yeah.
And it's just them fabricating. The one they have like 4 more, which it just got away from me. The road just got away from me.
Yeah.
But they were like putting the pedal box in and how they do it, and he rediscovers an air hammer and makes me realize how much I miss air hammers. But yeah, a really good video. And I got 4 more to watch, so I'm loving it. So if you want a good like little tech vlog, and Turk's like a real deal car guy, and it's really cool. And race service is so cool inside; it's worth. We were there once before he was involved, and it's like, how does a place like this work on cars? God damn, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I watched that, and then of course I watched some 1320 video. I watched the video that just came out called 200 mile per hour street racing, and it's a bunch of guys in the middle of the country, Mexico, racing.
Big dick energy.
Yeah, it is.
For real.
They're all racing turbo Vipers,
Yeah.
and I've decided I need a turbo Viper.
Yeah.
So they're all racing turbo Vipers. They're all Cavello Motorsports, CAVLO, I believe it is. Their kit started at 1,300 horsepower twin turbo and end at 2,000 horsepower. One of the guys is running. It's funny. It's funny because young Ben brought it up. He's running the 1,800 horsepower kit, which I think is the biggest one you can get right now.
It's the blue one, right? The blue car.
No, it's purple,
No, it's
but
Oh.
depends on
Okay.
who you're looking at. And he
and then
is
there's
running.
the white dirty one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dirty one.
he's running a 320 horsepower H2 motorcycle and fucking eats it alive on the highway.
Wow.
It's just
The Viper eats the motorcycle.
oh yeah.
Oh really?
Jeez.
It's a sequential boxed 1,800 wheel horsepower twin turbo Viper.
Holy shit.
So being an idiot, I'm like, well, I could probably pick up a one generational Viper for reasonable money.
Yeah.
And I bring up this Cavello Motorsport, man. 63 grand gets you at 1,300 of the wheels.
60
On top of the car?
63 on top of the car. You want a PPG gears is another 10. You want the sequential is another 10. So 83 gets you sequential 1,300 horse.
Plus the car.
I mean, it's not unreasonable to be in that for $100 grand.
For $100,000, you have a 1,300 horsepower Viper. You can drive
Where are you
every
going to
day.
get a $20,000 Viper?
Oh, if you get a first
No,
gen, they're at
you,
like
you get
28
no,
grand.
you
No,
can't
not
get
a
that. You can
first-
get a 5th
yeah.
gen.
Yeah.
gotta
Oh,
get the-
oh, these are
So
brand
you
new
probably
ones
be
only.
at-
If you
Okay.
want to die.
Well, no, the new ones are 6th gen.
They're all death machines.
Hold
Yeah.
on. Let me go to
Because I've
cargurus.com.
recently gone through this and looked at what Vipers
shots.
actually cost versus what I thought they cost.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Expensive?
Much more money than I actually expected.
I think since they stopped making them, they got a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But if I'm shopping for my Gen 4 Viper, I think is what I want because it's probably gonna be cheaper.
So do they only work on the newer gens?
4 and 5.
Okay.
So if you want their lowest package for a 4th gen Viper is 65,000, 1,300 horsepower. Then you can get a 1,600, which is $135,000. So you're really getting the getting the price on that.
300 horsepower, you're doubling.
Well, then there's the 1,800 horsepower, which doesn't have a price listed.
Yeah.
That's a call to ask price.
Chuck, doesn't one of them catch on fire in the video?
Not on the one I saw, but it wouldn't surprise. Oh no,
The
one of
yellow
them
one.
isn't a Cavello car. The first one he rides in literally explodes the intake. The plastic intake manifold. There's a giant fireball. I was like, where'd that come from? Opens the hood and it just like
Intake manifold gone.
just
Gone.
the plastic just blown apart. I was like, and he's like, oh, blew my intake manifold. Guess it could have been worse. You're goddamn right, it could have been worse.
Yeah, these things are surprisingly.
So twin
more than
67
I
millimeter turbos.
They're holding value now.
Yeah.
What size turbos?
67 millimeter.
Jeez.
10 cylinder. What are you working with? 7.3 liter, right?
Yeah.
So this package makes on setting 6, because you can dial your settings on the computer in the Viper. It makes 1250 to the wheels. So this 1,800 horsepower car, a crank was making 2,200. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was just like, and this was the fastest one he drove. Even the 1,300 was like, holy shit, this thing's fast. But like, he ripped this bike to pieces. So I like the roll race stuff. I think a Viper's the platform you need to get into. Josh, why don't I get a 4th gen Viper?
I still
for?
think
Let's
that's the
see,
platform.
4th gen. What year would that be? Like
No idea, buddy.
2016,
Yeah, sure.
15. So
No,
those
they
are
stopped making
going
them in
for.
17.
Oh, all right. They stopped making Vipers period in 17. So that's
So,
5th gen.
Let's
Yeah.
see. We got a couple different scales here.
Give me
So
like a 2011. Something that tells me
let's
that's the
see.
year we need.
I got a 2006.
Yeah,
You can get a 2006 for $45,000.
all day. Tell me that's a 4th gen and I can put 63 into it and make
It's
1,250
got the
wheel horse.
facelifted front end, so it's not.
So I'm at
certainly not the-
100K murdering everything. They race a 1,400 horsepower Lamborghini. It's like it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Let's see. There's only 2 pages.
Well, if
pages
you can
of these
finance
things
it, you won't have to make
nationwide.
any payments on it.
Okay, so here we go. 2010 Dodge Viper SRT10 Coupe rear-wheel drive, $75,000. And that's a
I can't
steal
even
with
believe-
only 5,000 miles on it.
I
3rd
can't-
gen is 03 to 07.
What's 4th?
4th gen's
07 to-
08 to 10.
Okay, so here we go. 4th gen 2010, $75,000.
There you go.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean-
a lot more than I thought there'd
Yeah,
be.
see?
Yeah, let's just
That's
hold the
surprising.
value really
5th
well.
gen is obviously the rest.
And then
13,
right,
17.
so yeah, here we go. 5th gen 2013, 95,000, and then
Serious
everything
bank?
goes up from there. Or you can get a 1st gen 1994 for 39,000.
I'm sure someone makes a turbo kit for it. They're going to be even more sketchy. I was thinking just
Oh
like,
yeah.
Doesn't Hennessy make one for the 1st gen Viper?
we don't talk about how to say.
Yeah.
If I'm talking, I mean, 1,300 horsepower of the wheels, I didn't even care how big your back wheels is. It's going to be crazy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I was trying to figure out my car feels faster on rear-wheel drive on the highway the other day. It feels faster, but it's sketchy as fuck.
Get yourself some Weld racing wheels.
Dude, yeah.
Some Mickey Stickies.
Third gear, it
Sticky Mickeys.
spins tire from like 6,000 to wherever you shift. It's just like, oh. So I don't think I should have a
That could
1,300
present.
horsepower Viper.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I do, because it has
Vipers in general are sketchy.
305.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I drove a 1st gen. It was hilarious.
1st gen is terrifying.
At 1st gen, I was like, you know what? The last thing I want in this car is more horsepower. I
don't
want more brakes.
Beginning of this.
Do you have any other videos?
No,
Harry?
I just want a freaking
Viper.
200 mile per hour
Yeah.
capable Viper.
Harry video put the Lamborghini engine back in the Espada.
Shit, I missed that one. I gotta go pee.
25-minute long video, right?
Yeah.
Which, again, I'll watch it all day long. Doesn't matter to me. They show the engine. They show the hole in which it needs to go in.
Yeah.
If someone put me in that garage and said, okay, this engine has to go in this car, I would have cut the front of the car off. I mean, we're talking like a quarter of an inch on each side to lower it in and set it in place. And that includes it has the transmission, because we talked about how it's all in one casing.
Yep.
And then the shifter rod has to be in there as well.
Right. So
So you're coming in at like 65, 70 degrees.
with a big with a phallic thing poking out.
Yeah.
And then even more fallacies poking forward.
Yeah. And then and then there's like a nose on the front. I don't know if it's the water pump or a breather or something like that has to go in, because I mean the frame just looks like it's a tractor frame. It's a bunch of square tubing. It's not very.
Do they show how they did it?
Yeah, they show the whole thing.
Okay, because my guess was they just put the motor on an engine stand and actually lifted the vehicle up and in with a forklift.
That's my thing. Is like I don't know if I don't think it even could have gone in from the bottom because of the way the engine mounts are. The engine mounts wouldn't go up through the frame. They have to sit on top.
Yep. Right.
So,
yeah. So you literally have to go from top.
Yeah.
At an absurd angle, like you said.
Yeah, and then once it's in that angle, then you have someone with a jack for that person. It was crazy. They got it in. It was all. I mean, elapsed time was.
How many people did it take to get it in?
I think there was 4 of them.
Okay.
Harry wasn't really helping. He was kind of
yeah.
filming the whole thing and kind of like eyeing some stuff.
Yep.
But I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that people can do that, just shove motors with like minuscule clearance.
Yeah.
With, like fresh paint, everything done, and just make it look swoop in and out. Done
Yeah,
fast,
and you know,
no problem.
on a absurdly priced vehicle.
Exactly.
And the crazy thing is, so they go through and they hook everything up because there isn't much to hook up. You're talking fuel, a few like wires for your distributor cap and all that stuff there. But and then they turn it and it fires on the first fire, like on the first try. And just the genuine shock and excitement on Tyrell's face, you could tell like, oh, this isn't like, oh, we already started this once already. Like,
yeah, this is.
He's like truly look to Harry like, oh my god, and
It was
he's like,
all natural.
He's like, this is like 101, something you would never do ever in a shop. Is like fire a car for the first time with the customer here after a full engine rebuild. Like you just never do it, and he nails it first shot. I mean that car, it's just purring, and then he like gets on the throttle a little bit just to kind of hear it. Oh my god!
Was this a Harry video or a Terrell video?
Harry, yeah,
I had to check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
I saw a new Terrell video. I forgot what he was doing. It wasn't that though.
No, I haven't seen it.
Maybe it was last week that I didn't mention. But
and then my only other thing is Papa. I haven't watched it. Papa Doc has put out the new video, body kit type stuff.
Oh, I saw that. That was really
I didn't get
good.
to watch it. Yeah,
I started to watch that.
They tested it. It was interesting to see because like he, it's just him like driving around like normal, and then he starts drifting the thing. It's like holy shit, this thing really rips.
Yeah.
You see how like serious Steph is about that stuff. I mean. It's like, after every run, we sit down, we have like a little download, we talk about this. Everything's logged on the AEM.
Yeah.
They play with the angles, etc. It was cool. That thing definitely rips. The body kit looks really good too.
Yeah, so I'm excited to watch the video
nice
for
work.
myself, take a look at it. Yeah, it's crazy because obviously they have to put on all that crazy livery and body kit and wild stuff
and make it interchangeable and removable for fast.
Yeah, the way they build it is cool, so they can pull stuff off.
So I don't know what FD event they're gonna be able to go to, or anything, but
Yeah, there's anybody.
They're shooting for it at least. They'll be ready.
Yeah, they'll be ready for sure. But like I don't know, like kind of.
Well, they can still at the very least film a bunch of shit.
They've got to be pumping the shit out of this thing for promotional material because. Right now, it's about all it's good for.
Because I think they went to Willow Springs to test it, right? Was that where it was?
They went somewhere.
Streets of Willow or something.
Something
Yeah,
like
because
that.
Turek's, the Corolla thing or whatever the fuck that is, the red one, the gum out car.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, I'd probably take that over the Supra. But
I think sick.
I
Yeah,
know,
Turek has like a demo Supra he has now.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure they just gave him one.
Right.
Looks
just-
cool.
that's
yeah.
the one
that
that's
was
in the
the one in the
video.
video,
Yeah. He just texting like a total asshole. Like the.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I
Need
wheels.
wheels, and then
Come
you
on,
just throw
give me
all the
wheels.
LMZ, ORZ, all this
Yeah.
other bullshit.
Yeah, I messaged someone in the know. It's like, hey man, is Turek like, is like normal and cool as he seems? Like he's like 100% that dude. Like he's just an awesome guy. And
That's cool. It's
That's
always
sweet.
good
comes
to
across that way. This man would have bullshit me.
hear. Not.
That's all I got. That's all I got for videos. That's all I got for news. That's
That's it.
it.
I think it's
Yeah,
time.
I'm gonna pack it up.
Long and lonely road.
Yeah.
I think it's time to talk a little. Eagles flocking, Budweiser's cracking, NASCAR.
You can hit that. You can hit
Rubbing and
I
racing.
was going to see how long you're going to hype this up for. I was just waiting. I was just letting him go.
We'll go. We'll start our button here. It's the main topic. Main topic.
Still love that one.
Let me properly start this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, is that we're doing that?
Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, that thing.
Yes,
Do
exactly.
you want me to just throw you this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just destroy all the equipment in one big event here.
I think
as
we
I
should,
sip my
we
Bud
should
Light,
admit our knowledge of NASCAR.
I know there's a
Us
track.
three.
I know there's a track.
I know they go left.
I know they make turns.
Yep.
I know it started as bootleggers.
Oh, wow.
I know everybody loves.
You're already way further in than
Yeah.
I know.
I know everybody loves Dale Earnhardt.
Do it for Dale.
I know.
I know America.
I know
Yeah.
many people would argue that it's not a sport. However, those drivers are very athletic.
People say it's not a
Oh, yeah.
sport?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
argues that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard that.
Everybody.
The people
Really?
who watch
Oh,
it, the same people who watch it, I would have no idea. They'd be making the same
I
argument.
think it was
with
Jimmy
some
Johnson, like
exceptions.
either a week or two ago. He posted like his Fitbit like stats for
Yeah.
the day, and like
Oh, the
peak
heart rate must
was
have
like
been massive.
177. Like
Yeah,
steady
fucking-
rate was like 155.
My heart would stop.
Oh yeah,
Literally just
yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, Bubba Wallace like collapsed at the end of the race 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Just from exhaustion.
Yeah, I mean,
Ryan
yeah.
Newman too.
I don't know shit about NASCAR, man. Never was interested. But I also don't know really anything about F1 or rally or any of that shit
Yep.
either. So, like,
I enjoy
I know.
Days of Thunder. Hell of a movie.
Great movie.
How do you not?
I take all of my NASCAR from that. Rubbins Racing.
Robin's
There's a
race.
thing called drafting you do with sugar packs.
Yep.
Uh,
If you ain't rubbing, you ain't dubbing.
and that's
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Remember those stickers in 2004?
Unfortunately, I do.
Ricky
Yeah.
Bobby, man. That's my
Yeah.
biggest rap.
Right, Ricky
all I
I
Bobby.
know.
can hang with my stuff.
also a huge reference. So yeah, let's talk NASCAR.
Bring us up to speed. What's NASCAR
So
about?
well, yeah. Tell us.
Where
Tell
do
us
They
we
get
start?
cars in
It all
NASCAR?
started in 1948.
So I really wanted to kind of unwrap your love of NASCAR in particular
Okay.
and throw some facts in there as that developed. So how did your interest in NASCAR begin?
For me personally, it was kind of a family thing. Like my cousins were big into racing, my uncles, my grandfather, and, everyone was really into cars. So my dad actually brought me to my very first race, August 30th, 1998, to the CMT 300 at New Hampshire. He got tickets from someone. He's like, you want to go to this race, whatever. And I just fell in love after that. Like, watching it on TV is one thing, but if you actually go to an event,
Yep.
it's 10 times different.
Yeah,
Like,
it has to be.
yeah.
Entirely different.
I have written confirmation that Corey will attend
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
I told you, man. Yeah,
they
if it's
have
open, I'll go.
fans. So
Yeah, shit, I'd probably go to that. That'd
Yeah,
be fun.
fuck
That
yeah.
would be-
it's a really
yeah.
good time.
We should
Like,
all go to that.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So what is one of the things that make it so much more appealing in person versus watching on television?
Well, like just hearing the sounds of the cars, the pit crews, seeing how hard they're working. Like it's not just a bunch of left turns. Yes, it is, but there's so many other things that go into getting where they are. The team and the spotters up top. Like if you look behind you at the top of the grandstands, you have a whole team of spotters telling them who's behind them, who's in front of them, talking to each other on the mics and stuff like that. A lot of people will go like full out and have a headset and tune into the team's radios
hear,
and listen to
yeah.
it.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So there's a lot more that goes on. Like the NASCAR app, you can actually do that. Like
Really?
you can click between the teams and you can listen to it right on your phone. And
Wow.
you can listen to the driver back and forth to his crew chief and then the spotter.
Can you talk to him?
No.
That's the NASCAR app, premium
Turn
app.
right, I
Yeah.
dare you.
Just go faster.
Yeah.
So how many races have you attended?
Oh God.
So this is why it's just
Probably like 10 total. I've been to New Hampshire a bunch of times. I've been to Richmond.
I was gonna say you've kissed the bricks, right?
No, I signed the finish line at Daytona.
Okay.
So I did the
okay.
Daytona
That's what it
500.
was. All right.
Las Vegas. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Do you have a favorite track?
Favorite track to attend or favorite track to watch?
Favorite track to watch?
Martinsville. Martinsville's one of my favorites to watch because it's a really short track with concrete corners. It turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 are concrete, and the rest
Yep.
is tarmac. So it makes for some really interesting racing
Okay.
because obviously the transition, and then this year they actually raced it for the first time under the lights. So the temperature change makes a big difference. So it's a lot of really close quarters racing.
So that's interesting. So there's no standardization of like the whole track has got to be one surface or
Nope.
Oh, no,
are they all the same width?
Nope.
All right. See, now we're learning.
So
now
the
we're
tracks are
learning.
different.
Right.
And cars will be different based on the track too.
Yep.
So NASCAR's changed a bunch of rules. 2019, they actually made a really big change as far as like the rear lip spoiler. It went from 3 inches tall to 8 inches tall. so a significant downforce difference.
Bringing back the Superbird.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
After they outlawed it in 71.
Yeah.
Richard Petty.
Yep.
Aha, I knew a name.
Wow.
I fucking knew a name.
Josh, dude, you're really flexing over there.
You want a fun petty fact?
I saw that guy once at SEMA.
I
He was
Did he
walking in a door. I was
Smell
walking out a door.
Marlboros?
Oh yeah.
How many races do you think Richard Petty won in his career?
56.
None.
Over 200.
Holy shit.
Oh wow.
The next
The
closest.
king, right?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
way
King,
under.
King.
The next closest, 105.
No way.
Who's that?
He's like the Gretzky.
Oh God, I don't remember.
Okay. I was just what Dale Earnhardt. Obviously, he's one of the.
I'm sorry, David Pearson was number 2.
He's one of the icons in the sport. Dale
so
Earnhardt.
for comparison, Dale Senior,
Too soon.
R.I.P.
76 wins.
Okay.
All right.
The Intimidator.
Yeah.
I
So
gotta know.
you think 76 wins to 200 wins?
I mean,
Right,
even
that's-
76 is nothing to shake a stick at. I
No.
mean, you're like
How many races they got a season? Like 100? It's like
30.
MLB.
36.
Yes, there's.
Oh wow.
36. That's a lot.
76 is pretty
Okay.
serious shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wins.
Yeah.
26 regular season and then 10 playoffs.
Okay, so
So do they have
Wait,
like
wait, wait.
they have regular season and playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
you
they have
have
like
like
a Super Bowl?
playoffs.
Yeah, pretty much. You have the championship race.
No
which
shit, I
is
didn't know
usually
that.
at Homestead,
Oh, yeah.
Miami.
And the weird thing, their biggest race is the first one, right?
Yeah, it's basically backwards if you think of it that
Okay.
way. Like the Super Bowl is the biggest one. It's not the championship race.
It's
but
the first
Daytona
one?
5 is the first race of the
First
season.
race.
It opens the season. It's the biggest one with the largest purse.
So, what makes the Daytona 500 so appealing?
I mean, the Daytona 5, like one of the earliest races that was ever sanctioned before it was even really called NASCAR was at Daytona Beach. It was a half road, half beach course.
Like
Okay.
sand shit?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was
They
on the
raced
sand.
right on the beach
Yeah,
and
it was
then took down the
48.
They still do that?
The race of gentlemen.
That'll make it happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
race
yeah,
race
race
gentlemen
does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first sanctioned Daytona race was at 1948 on the actual beach.
So 1948.
And then
Daytona Beach.
59 is when Daytona
Beautiful
International
France.
opened up, and Richard Petty's dad actually won the very first Daytona 5.
Holy shit. So,
Lee Petty.
only 11 years?
Yeah.
Before they opened a gigantic fucking track.
Yeah.
How many
That's
people?
how they
did-
do it in Florida, boy. They didn't wait for any
I
building
guess
permits.
yeah, there's
Took
no
off so fast.
no restrictions there. How many people go to the Daytona 500? Do you know how many?
When I was there in 2018, I think total attendance was just over 150,000.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
God damn. 150,000?
You can't even see the whole track when you're there.
No, it's a 2.5 mile course. You can't
Holy
see the
shit!
top.
Really?
Oh yeah.
2.5 miles.
There's a whole pond and everything in the center.
Yeah.
Of it, all that shit. Yeah.
That gets a
Wow.
You can't see the whole damn track and it's an oval?
No,
No.
you can't even see the whole track.
What do we got? Some
Well,
binoculars?
Daytona used to have a grandstand on the backside of like the back straight,
Mhm.
but it was too much maintenance and upkeep and stuff like that, so they actually knocked it down.
They canned it?
Is
Yeah,
it an
so there
expensive
was
thing
even
to
more.
attend?
Not really. So it depends where you go. Obviously, it depends where you sit.
Yeah.
If you get some crazy pit passes and
Can
all
I
that
sit
jazz.
in the car?
How many beers can you carry in?
Depends on the track, but some you can bring your own cooler.
Loudon?
Oh yeah, you
Yep.
can bring your own
Yeah.
cooler in. Yep.
So when I went
As
to
many as
Richmond,
you can carry?
As many as you can carry.
So
God bless.
that's part of the and,
Land
we're-
of the free, baby.
and I think we're gonna get into this.
Live free or die.
We're gonna get into this with some of the questions and the stigma attached to NASCAR about just partying.
Cousins.
Right.
oh, it's
Right.
mayhem.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
what
man.
like. I mean, most other sporting events, you can't bring your own cooler in.
Yeah, not
Oh,
even
no,
wrestling.
no.
And
right.
the
Fucking
cool thing
wrestling.
about that is like it makes stuff super cheap at the track. So a
Right.
quick example, my friend Taylor lives down in Richmond, so I went down to visit him, his wife, his new baby last year. So I bought tickets to NASCAR. He's like, "Oh, how much did you spend? Like, I'll pay you back." I'm like, "Well, I bought tickets what they call Chaos Corner, which is the fourth turn at Richmond Raceway,
Hold on. Why is it called that?
because it's super sketchy and people crash all the time.
There we go.
It's great.
Fair enough.
But Chaos Corner is what they call like kind of like the Bud Roof Deck is at Fenway.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
standing room, and you kind of just come and go as you please.
Yep.
It was $20 a person,
No shit.
and we were in the very first row, just hanging out on the table.
And how, in relation to said first row, how close to the vehicles are you?
If your beer can was half full, you could hit them, no problem.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
That is the most NASCAR scale of anything.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's my new
That was a
favorite
good
measure.
one.
Again,
You're welcome.
Again, not condoned or
Yes.
suggested.
Now,
Like
However,
that's like you could. They're right.
Right,
there.
they're right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's crazy, man.
and
Yeah.
in
What's a
truth-
ZJ cost out there?
Can't afford it.
Yeah. Now explain to me, what's that feeling like as they come by?
Oh,
But you'll feel it in your chest.
Yeah, so,
Okay,
so you
so-
feel it in your
Absolutely.
chest.
I mean,
in
like-
your plums, right in
yeah.
your plums.
Oh, definitely in the
It
plums.
depends where
Deep
you
down in
sit.
your
Like
plums.
you really probably should wear a headset
Yeah.
or
Protection,
plugs or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't at Daytona and Loudon because you're high enough
You
away.
shop at Home
Okay.
Depot.
Yeah.
Home Depot, man.
But I didn't at Richmond because the Busch Light Tall Boys were only $3. So I was like, I don't need these things anymore.
Yeah,
Right,
and my
right.
ears were ringing for like
Sell
3
these things
days.
for 30 beers.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I
Wow.
mean,
Yeah,
the
it-
drunker you get, the tougher it is to hear anything anyway.
yeah.
So,
Well,
'Cause
once
that-
they fire the cars up, you can't hear a single thing. You're
Yeah.
yelling to the person.
so that's
Like,
what I was
usually
going to ask.
I
is
usually
just-
will start a text feed with
Yeah.
whoever I'm
Really?
with, and you
Yeah,
literally have
can't
to
hear
text
a
like this
single
close.
thing.
it's that loud
Yeah.
Once they fire them up, you feel it in your chest. You can't hear a single thing at
around
all
the whole track,
in
or
the entire track.
in just-
Depends where
okay.
you are. It
Okay.
depends on which track. Like at Daytona, it being 2.5 miles, you'll be fine when they're on the back.
Right,
You'll
right,
still
right.
hear them for
And
sure, but you
it'll
can have a conversation.
Intensify, obviously, and
But if you're at a short track like Richmond, once they separate, forget it.
Loudon,
you're not.
too.
so
Yeah, Loudon as well.
so these things are traveling what, high 190, 180,
It depends on the
depending
track.
upon
This weekend upcoming is Talladega.
Yep.
They made a few
Oh,
changes.
there she is.
Oh, Rick and Bobbitt.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw. Do you see Ryan Newman's big crash at the Daytona 5 this year?
We
Yes,
talked
we
about
talked
it,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you did.
That was intense.
They
Did
made
we?
a few changes and they changed the they call them the tapered spacer now. It's not a restrictor plate.
Oh, what the fuck? Restrictor plate was such a badass
Yeah,
thing.
you're
it
really
really
off the
was.
Red Dragon.
It's going to be a nice
Okay,
long
well,
weekend. Going to take
yeah.
the restrictor plates off my
We'll
Trans Am.
deviate. We'll deviate quickly. Before 71, they had homologation rules.
Yep.
So that's where you get the Torino Talladega, and that's where you get the Daytona, where they made the cars just to win at NASCAR.
Yeah.
Yep.
You win on
Oh, I
Sundays,
like
they
that.
sell on Mondays.
Yep.
So in 71, they came out with the restrictor plates, eventually saying like, all right, you guys are going to kill yourselves in these cars. And the restrictor plate was in place until the end of 2018 season. 2019 season, they
Holy
came out.
shit. That's,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Oh yeah.
And it changes depending on the track. Like
Those
most
babies
of-
still carbureted?
No, they're electronic fuel injection now, but
Not
they're
into that at
800,
all.
900 horsepower motors,
Woo!
and they're now tapered spacers, which is basically a restrictor plate, but instead of a round square hole,
Yeah.
it's just tapered.
Yep.
So when air and fuel comes in, it doesn't get all turbulent. So it's a tapered spacer now.
Interesting. Almost sounds like if you're gonna restrict it, make it at least work a little better.
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah, exactly.
and that's one of the things that we'll get into as well. But just the smoky Unix of the trade, right? All the hidden shit and all the stuff.
Oh.
NASCAR has their rules, regulations, and standards that you have to adhere to when you're building a car, i.e.,
Right.
any race team, right? But the amount of people who try to do stuff under the radar,
Oh, people try to cheat a lot.
I can only
yeah.
imagine, and that part of
Kyle
it makes
Busch.
it kind of cool, to a certain extent.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
it just
They have all their rules in place. Like you're limited to a 5.8 liter. It has to have a double wishbone front. It has to have a solid rear axle. Like there's all this stuff it has to have.
Yep.
Depending on the track, depends on what aero package you're in. So like some have aero ducts in the front bumper, which will pull air in the bumper and shoot it out super wide, which they changed a couple years ago. So instead of you getting super slipstream and just take off,
Yep.
it pushes the air out wide so there's no turbulence behind you. So it's harder to side draft and back draft.
Fancy.
So it makes people stay closer together.
right.
Some of them, like if you look at Watkins Glen, bowling at the Glen race, those bumper ducts will be brake ducts, so it cools off the tires. So they'll have better downforce. So there's different aero packages for different races and different restrictor plates for different races or tapered spacers, whatever. So it varies race to race, track to track, whatever.
Now, you as a fan, you know that, or is that like something a casual could like figure out as well? Like,
I mean,
if I were to throw on the race, like, and they're talking about it, like, is
they'll
that
talk
something?
about it the whole
okay.
time. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
they do. All right, they get into some
if
of that
you
stuff.
if you watch a race, like the guys commentating will go into
Cover,
pretty
yeah.
serious detail, especially if you're watching from the beginning.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, truly, like, maybe shame on me. I've never sat down to watch NASCAR.
I know I've
race.
given it a shot. I've given it a shot, but like I haven't watched it with anyone who like knew anything about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So immediately it turns into like a cousin fucking fest. Yeah, and it's
There
like
it is. I was waiting for those.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's how your shit goes.
yeah, you know that's what I'm saying. So like, but if you sit down, that's my point here. Is like if you sit down with someone who knows it and you can bounce questions off them,
yeah.
Right.
you get a better grasp of what's going on
Right.
here.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, like I was talking to Corey the other day, and John Stairs, big shouts to John.
Shake
Shake
Shack.
Shack.
He came up to the house, and I had the TV outside and watching the race, and he's asking me questions. And by the end, he's like, "This is kind of sick.
Right.
When
right.
are you doing this again?" I'm like, "The next race."
Every Sunday. Is it every Sunday? Is that?
Usually every Sunday.
Okay.
Occasionally they'll throw in a weekday race, but
I was gonna
like
say
obviously
now-
this year they
Yeah, a bit of an
They crammed
abbreviated
them.
schedule.
Yeah.
like you and I were chatting about it. They
Yeah.
they jammed 4 races into 10 days just to
yeah.
kind of start catching
Yeehaw.
up.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much back to the every Sunday.
Yeah, it's them and
schedule
UFC
now.
making it fucking happen
Right,
out there.
yeah.
When are these babies going full electric, and what do you think it's going to add to the sport?
Oh,
Well,
we're
we won't
gonna.
even talk
Yeah,
about
I
that.
want
That's
to
not
get to
even-
that
yeah.
at some point.
And we're done here.
And that's all you need to know.
I just want
so,
Elon to throw one car in.
So,
That car's
He
not
can make
making
it
a
400
noise.
miles. He can make 400 miles.
Not going fast. It probably makes 15 miles going fast.
Yeah.
Those pit stops would be long.
Yeah, buddy, charge her up. Run to the Chick-fil-A.
so the competition of this is it car setup? Is it driver? Is it what's the, who wins? Is there top teams or are there top drivers that continue to seem to win? Because ultimately they're competing for a championship at the end of the year,
Right.
so that's trying to rack up points.
So they changed a bunch of stuff. They constantly change rules to make it more competitive, like the aeroducts I was talking about, to reduce drag or increase drag.
Yep.
To basically tighten up the pack instead of letting someone get so far ahead and then it's just boring.
Yeah.
So
Right, okay.
they've been slowing cars down, adding more downforce, removing power
If
to make it more difficult to win and get so far ahead that it's boring. And they also added the 3-stage setup that they do now. I don't
what
know.
is the 3-stage setup?
So was it 2017? Scummy?
Yeah, once Monster took over, they decided to start doing stages in the
Monster
races.
Energy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Monster
it's
Energy.
all right.
Monster
That's
En-
why they run
yeah,
a race.
Monster
No more.
Energy took over for a little while there, and then
No more. Excuse me. No more Winston anymore.
Yeah.
no, it went from Winston to Sprint to Nextel to
Backwards.
Monster.
Really, just
Yeah.
cell phone royalty right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So in 2017, they added
Cricket
what's
Wireless.
called the 3-stage setup.
Yep.
So prior to that, you'd see like the racers at lap 50 just get into a line and just go.
And that's
And
it.
then
Yeah.
it's just boring because
Yeah.
they're just waiting till the end. They'll all pit together. They all change their tires together, get back on the road, and then the last 20 laps is just mayhem. But it was boring in between then.
Mhm.
So in 2017, they added the 3-stage setup. So you get stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. There's a caution in between. Bring everyone back together. They can pit, do whatever they want. But if you win stage 1, you get points on the season, and you also get a playoff point that you save for the playoffs.
Yep.
If you win stage 2, same thing. So the top 10 people in stage 1 get the winner gets a 1 playoff point, gets 10 regular season points, and then second place gets 9, and so on until 10. So if you win stage 1 and you win stage 2 and then you wreck, you still get a bunch of points.
Right.
Prior to that, had you wrecked, you're shit out
You're
of luck.
screwed.
Yeah.
There's so it, right.
It
It
makes it more competitive in the middle of the race.
it gives you incentive to push hard right from the
Exactly.
get
I was
go.
going to say, yeah, incentive to go for broke.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Realistically, yeah.
Yeah.
It also gives more people a chance because if you're just the same guy winning a race week after week after week after week,
Yeah.
no one else is getting points in the season, so everyone just kind of screw it. I don't care anymore. Like I'm not going to win a championship, so
Yeah.
why am I going to race hard?
Right.
Now they're
right.
they're like, all right, if I can get 4 stage wins in the next couple weeks, that'll get me into the top 5.
Yeah.
Give them a
playoffs.
chance to
Yeah.
be competitive.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
If you're not first, you're last.
You're second, third, fourth. Hell, there's
Yeah.
even fifth.
But also comes into it is your pits. Like you going into the pits, it's partly your strategy, partly your team.
I was just going to say your strategy,
Yes.
right? Because obviously fuel and tires come into
Yeah, I mean
play.
you gotta stagger out when you're gonna stop for 2 tires, when you're gonna stop for 4, if it's a tighter bank versus a lower grade bank. Like
Yep.
How your tires are gonna wear differently. If you're gonna go in, like it's me versus Corey, and he's ahead of me. Am I gonna go in now and then try to catch up behind him, and then he has to go in, and I'm on fresh tires, and I got more fuel?
if you're cold trickle and you got special tires.
Exactly.
Go on the outside.
Right.
And,
right. Drive through it.
And how good your team is, obviously. Someone gets
Right.
out of the pits in 13 seconds versus 14, that could make a world of a difference.
Yeah.
And they changed in 2018. They took a pit crew member over the wall away. So you used to be able to have 6 people over the wall. So like
now
they
it's just
stand in the
5.
pits, they obviously jump over the
Yep.
wall.
Yep.
Now it's 5. So you have 1 less person, so you have to change that strategy too. on
Which
average,
changes
it was
it.
like 11 seconds to get in and out of the pit box. Back before that, now it's
Yep.
about 13.
I was just gonna ask that. I was gonna. What are we talking here
About
for
13
pit time?
seconds. Kevin Harvick this season, my favorite driver, has the best time in the pits of like just over 13, like 13:02 something.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, that plays into strategy because you can send 5 people. Could 5 people address all 4 tires and fuel?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Or, you know, you
Yep.
could do 2 tires and fuel much faster, I assume, right? Is that
course,
how?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all strategy.
Right.
You know, who's gonna do what and who's on what team. Like, there's a few people on the same team. Are they gonna, draft each other, help each other out, whatever?
Are there legendary pit guys?
No, surprisingly, a lot of pit crew members are like former college athletes because they're
Yeah.
Super athletic,
Right.
young guys, whatever. Like,
They never made it, so now
Yeah.
they're doing NASCAR.
They just
Yeah.
find themselves on a team.
yeah,
Shit. I
And-
say like
and they're-
Bobby
they're
Pinsky, you
impressive.
know?
I was gonna
Always
say because
swapping
it's
them
a
quick.
pretty grueling thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, with the temperatures, what I imagine would be in the track sometimes, and like throwing the tires
Right.
around and like the speed and everything.
In a
Yeah, you're that many
helmet.
beers deep. I mean,
Yeah.
you just change the tire.
You got to try and keep your shit straight.
Goddamn.
Fun fact: NASCAR actually they regulated the impact guns that they could use to take the tires off.
How
So
many
ev-
Ogadogas?
So everyone had to use the same one,
Okay.
and then some of the teams figured out if you change the gas, you could actually run it a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So then they had to regulate the
What
type of air
gas
and gas
goes-
you could use.
Yeah.
So like people skate those
This is what I
rules.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
the
I-
rules,
all
man.
the time.
So if you win the race, your
Your
car,
car.
then gets inspected again. So
Right.
they inspect every car before the race.
Yep.
They'll test your aero, they'll test alignment, tire pressure, make sure that you're using the right tires, blah, 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 blah. You pass, you go out, whatever. At the end of the race, no matter how you do, they test you again. So you could win, and they'll
Yeah.
take every single point away from you.
Right. Do
absolutely.
they, if drivers weigh different weights, do they add weight to other cars?
There's weight restrictions and weight requirements, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was Denny Hamlin. Was it Denny Hamlin's team 2 weeks ago? I think it was Denny Hamlin.
That failed 3 times.
He had a the weighted bricks. One fell off the car.
Yep.
His crew chief gets suspended for 3 weeks.
Wow.
They take it
Absolutely.
really
What are they
seriously.
just duct taped to the bottom?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does it fall
How
off?
are you losing it?
I have no idea. I've never seen it happen before.
A weighted
crazy.
brick. I mean, falling off at 109
Yeah.
miles an hour.
yeah,
Right.
pretty
I
interesting.
forget
Count
what
me
Bad
out.
time. Bad time
Count me
coming.
out.
Right.
I
Yeah.
forget what metal they use, but it's serious and just
Yeah.
like fell off the bottom
Yeah.
of his car.
So what's like something that the average person or fan wouldn't know that they do? So for instance, I somehow know this little tidbit of probably some video I consumed at some point that they actually glue the lug nuts to the
Correct.
Yep,
wheel, right?
absolutely.
So that's a little trick to make it fucking faster.
Yep.
What are some other things like that? Not to put you on the spot off the top of your head, that
Red Loctite?
It's yellow.
They
actually.
use
Yellow?
that
It's
or
yellow
RTV.
RTV.
Yeah.
Jeez.
oh jeez, okay.
So yeah, they literally put like a glob around the lug holes, so when
Yeah.
they smash the wheel on, it sticks enough to the.
Yeah.
they
it's just
blast
there.
it
So
in.
right, it holds it versus having to put them in your hand and then
Trying
do
to,
it.
like, tighten
So
on, yeah.
It's just-
yeah,
Give
just
it a little
fucking
zip, zip.
I wonder how often they cross-thread it.
Tight's tight, right?
Yeah, it's tight. Yeah.
24/7, boy.
Back to your
Tights-
question, 3 Ugadugas.
Yeah.
and it only needs
Yeah.
to last until the next pit stop.
Exactly.
The mad sorry son of a bitch has got to take it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cars are all similar. The drivers, I feel as if the drivers have to be obviously skilled at driving,
Of course.
athletically, fit.
Yeah.
But then I feel like there's a lot of characters in NASCAR as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of different personalities. What do you got, Scummy?
Well, I mean, you have the kids who,
So, who's the kid who came from the stance scene? There's a kid. There's a kid
There's a
that
stance kid?
There's
in
a stance
NASCAR?
kid.
Boy,
And-
that's it. I quit.
apparently Josh knows
Somebody-
more about NASCAR than we do. 'cause
Oh,
I've never
boy.
heard of that.
I've
ever.
never heard of a Stancy boy.
we've seen. It
didn't
might
know
come
about
up in
that.
the questions. There's a kid who was into like stancing cars, et cetera, et cetera. And now he's a younger driver. I'm
not sure.
I-
I'm gonna have to look into that one.
if you put a gun to
My
my
new
head
guy.
and ask me to tell you who.
Yeah,
I'll
for
tell
real,
you.
right?
My young hot boy over there?
Got a new fan.
Right. Used to drive a Subaru.
Oh boy.
He's gonna be pumped when they do center lock wheels real soon.
Are they switching to center
Yes,
lock?
they're
Yeah,
switching
so
to
they're gonna be
center locks.
swapping over soon.
Holy
Yep.
shit! Are
That was
the
a
purists
question
gonna
I
fucking?
had. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
currently it's not center locks?
No.
No, they're
$5.
Holy
Oh
shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
$5 Steelies, and then they're gonna go to aluminum BBS wheel with a center lock.
No shit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Same,
cool.
Is it gonna look the same or is it totally different look?
Oh no, it's gonna be completely different. The wheels are gonna look
Wow.
completely different. They have
What
a
are
whole
they-
new design of a car now.
So
coming
they
out.
have to standardize. Everybody's gonna have the same wheel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tires
Attention,
and
big
wheels
seat.
are all
So
standardized.
so BBS won that contract.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
They made out.
So you
Wow,
can
yeah.
you can mess around with tire pressure all you want, but wheels and tires are given to you
Standard,
by NASCAR.
right.
And you also
Yeah.
have a certain set of tires. Like you have a certain amount of set of tires per race. Like you don't just have like
Use them sparingly.
Yeah, you got to make sure like
Right.
you plan it all out.
Right.
or
You
can
can't
be
just.
screwed at the last.
Oh, let me
lap
change
because, like, I
this.
got no tires.
Yeah. You're gonna run out of tire essentially.
Absolutely. Yep.
Who is the tire sponsor? Or
Goodyear.
Goodyear.
okay.
Linglong.
Okay.
Goodyear Eagles.
Is
Linglong.
Linglong on the Toyota?
Linglong, round track fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so
I hope Linglong
I see
gets
obviously
it.
all the teams. You see like the Ford car out there, all these other cars. Toyota, whatever it is. Are they all using the same engine? Is it just a V8 from each manufacturer? Like, how is that? Like you said, there's a restriction. What is it? 5.8 liters.
5.8 liters restriction. I mean, you have different teams. It depends on what team you're on. They can kind of piddle with them as they please.
Yeah.
But if it's like Chip Ganassi's a Chevy
Mhm.
team.
LS,
They're-
obviously.
They're going to
Yeah,
use
right.
They'll swap everything.
mostly
I can
Chevy
tell by the
engines,
intakes.
but,
Yeah.
but they have their own stuff. Like Tony Stewart, I don't know if you remember the name.
Oh,
But
I remember that guy.
Tony
Hard not
Stewart.
to.
Oh,
Yeah. I know some incidents with him.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Like Stewart Haas Racing, Gene Haas also owns an F1 team, and Tony Stewart, they have their own team. Like they'll play around with the motors and basically build them entirely themselves.
Gotcha.
But if you have like a smaller team, like Go Fast, they're pretty much just given parts by Ford. So it really depends on how big the team is.
On whether it's factory backed or
yeah,
just okay.
yeah.
Are there many privateers racing NASCAR?
I mean, it's a lot of money to get into it.
Yeah.
Like the limit is 40 cars per race.
Okay.
You can qualify for a race as a bigwig or as a nobody.
Yep.
So sometimes you'll be at Daytona and see like 8 cars you just have no idea who they are, and then you look at the car and there's like 10 little tiny stickers on it and no main sponsor
Just
Yeah.
because it's like a
flat
small
black.
team. Like it's mostly like flat black with a number you don't recognize or whatever. So
Yep.
you can qualify, but it doesn't mean you're gonna win, obviously.
So,
Says you.
are they
Put me in, coach.
I'm ready.
are they all built to hold a certain RPM, stay at a certain gear? Are they geared the same? Like our
Pretty
transmission
similar.
restrictions?
They'll hold about 9,000 RPM
Okay.
through the
Holy
tracks.
shit.
Yeah, dang.
fucking
Which is pretty
screaming-
impressive, yeah.
Screaming eagle.
And
Yeah.
and you're required to use the motor twice.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, you
And-
can't
and-
just one off these babies?
It doesn't have to be back to back.
Yeah.
It has to be
At some point,
same
you must-
motor at some point.
Can
in
you
the season.
rebuild it in between?
Nope.
Nope. Has
If
to
you
be
use it once,
That's awesome.
NASCAR will wrap the motor and will not let you touch it.
Wow.
They will literally take it from you.
So they take it from you, they wrap it, obviously like evidence seal tape it type
Yep.
bullshit,
Yep.
and then
And
like,
they give it
okay,
back to
we're
you.
gonna use this for the second time. They give it back to you.
And you rebuild it?
But
There's a lot of rules here.
it's unbelievable.
I
And
thought
and
this was like
change
lawless.
constantly.
I genuinely thought it was like lawless. Like,
I mean, it really used to
I thought it
be.
was just go out there with a V8 and have at it. Like,
That's how it
Yeah,
used
it's
to
a
be,
limit.
pretty much.
V8.
yeah.
If you look at when NASCAR started, like in '49,
Yeah.
it was called the NASCAR Strictly Stock Championship or Strictly Stock Series. So
Before-
you had to have a stock car. That's how it originally
Yeah.
started.
And when? So where was the bootlegging? How long before the actual?
I
Development?
mean, like the bootlegging was in like your prohibition days.
Right. So like
And the
that,
first like legitimate sanctioned races before it was called NASCAR was in late '40s.
Okay.
Like the
so it
Daytona
was
Beach
still-
race was like one of the first sanctioned races, but when it was actually called NASCAR, it was '49.
Okay, and NASCAR was formed by a bunch of people who got into it.
Bill France,
Okay,
is the founder.
Big shout.
he just decided. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
start
mean
this
they had a
league,
few
if you will.
sanctioned races, and then eventually they like became official.
Okay,
So
What does NASCAR stand for?
North American
Stock car.
Stock Car Racing Association.
No.
Nope.
That's
That's
how you spell
NASCAR.
NASCAR.
North American Stock Car Racing Association. No, Stock Car Auto.
Racing.
Doesn't matter.
yeah. It's
Stock
yeah.
Car Auto Racing.
NASCAR.
and there is a I assume a governing body of rule creators and are any teams involved in that? Any owners involved in that?
Barstool Sports.
That's
like
true.
The bigger names, like
Adams Polish has a car too.
what
What's
they'll
that?
do, like
Adams Polish.
like Goodyear, for example, will have different people like test the tires per week.
Yeah.
and like what they like about them, what they don't like about them, where they're having issues with it, whatever. So they'll kind of like survey the teams, but they make their final decisions based on safety of drivers. You know, the fans are a big thing. Like they want it to be competitive.
Yep.
So that's why they've slowed cars down. That's why they've changed aero.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, when you initially hear it, they slow cars down. You're like, boo.
Bunch of
Right.
wimps.
Yeah.
Bunch of wimps.
Yeah, but then when you think
Yeah,
about
right.
it, keep them all together. That's fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
Right,
You're
'cause-
driving bumper to bumper, door to door.
Little
at
white
100
knuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White knuckle, man.
Little white knuckle.
I mean,
Right.
the
It's like
average
driving the Actie on the highway.
Yeah.
the average speed at Loudon is like 110,
Wow.
and it's
Tiny.
like a mile long track.
Yeah.
But there's only like probably a half mile all said and dead with like straightaways, which are quarter mile each side.
Yeah.
And they're hitting 130,
Holy shit! It's
140
a
at the end of
quarter
it.
mile each
Oh,
side.
pretty much. Yeah, it's
Tiny.
like a 1.1 mile track.
Oh man,
Wow.
that sounds like a
Yeah, so Loudon's really
disaster.
small, and they're just going in.
We'll
like
see what
140
happens
by the end.
Sunday because they did limit the super speedway, which is Talladega on Sunday. After the Ryan Newman crash, they cranked them from 550 down to 500 horsepower.
Yeah, do.
So we'll see what they do, but average at Dega and Daytona, they'll hit 210.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit!
Oh yeah, all day.
I want to bring
Back-
in the
back street,
horsepower
Daytona,
down. You get
210.
better longevity out of the engines.
I'd assume
Mhm.
if there's less stress.
Yeah,
right?
less
Yep.
stress, so you
Yeah.
getting a little better out of that. So maybe running them for 2.
Yeah, a little less in the RPM range,
Yeah.
but
Well, you
yeah.
think about it, like if the motor's just raw power by itself, they're 850, 900 horsepower motors all day long.
Right, so
If
550
you're
's
restricting it down to
nothing.
550, the thing's barely working.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so running 2 is like,
Yeah,
Nothing.
exactly.
Right.
So again, back to the drivers. Do you have a favorite driver?
Yeah, my favorite driver. Well, growing up, I was a Jeff Gordon guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
rainbow guy.
Yep, the
Knew it.
DuPont car.
DuPont. Yeah.
Um,
Typical.
And then, well, obviously, when he retired and stuff, I had kind of gravitated towards Kevin Harvick,
Okay.
who took over the BF Goodrich car after Dale Sr. passed away.
Okay.
At
Rest
the
in
time, he
peace.
was driving the 29 car. He's now in the number 4 car. But yeah, he's my favorite driver now. I've been a
What
fan for-
makes him so appealing? Just
His body.
They call it
yeah.
His sponsorship.
yeah, Bush Latte. No, I gravitated towards him because they call him the closer. That's his nickname.
okay.
He kind of like hung back and he'd sit in like 5th to 15th for the majority of the race.
That's a big range, you know.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
it
yeah.
really is.
But then towards the end of the race, people would start like fighting each other, and he'd just
The
right
heat-
past everybody,
Yeah.
heat is
and end
on.
up closing out the race and winning. And he's an incredible race driver.
So
Is
here's my
there?
oh.
No, go ahead. Go
So
right
here's
ahead.
my thing with like a driver, like say you're getting into it. How do you would you pick it based on sponsors, like you said? Your favorite number?
Well, the numbers are weird because the numbers are actually owned by NASCAR.
okay.
Like you kind of they'll lobby for a number, like we want that number, but NASCAR makes the decision.
Yeah.
Like some people will be, based on their dad's favorite driver.
Yeah.
Like some people are big Chase Elliott fans because he's Bill Elliott's son.
Yep.
And people were Richard Petty fans because he was Lee Petty's son. A lot of it's family passed down, whatever.
Yeah, because I don't know if I see so much. Maybe it's just because I don't pay attention, but like so much personality from the drivers. It's not like you see them out there like
I think it's because you don't pay attention.
being a face for anything. I mean,
Some drivers are. I mean, and some of them are. They're all pretty active on social media these
Yeah.
days and stuff like that. So you'll get to like a personality. Kevin's older now. I mean, he's in his 40s. I just liked how he raced and kind of shut up. Like he wasn't a huge loudmouth like I am. But he just kind of let his racing do the talking for him. And I really liked him. So I really gravitated towards him after Senior died. And like after Senior died, he did a bunch of stuff like in kind of homage to Senior. And you could just tell that he was like a classy guy.
Yeah.
And I just
Yeah.
really
the
liked
class
him a
act.
lot.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's old for a driver?
I mean, Kevin's, I think, 42 right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus.
And
Yeah.
what's young?
Ryan Newman is getting up there too. I
Oh,
mean,
this kid's 22.
Okay.
What's Chase, 24?
Chase is 24 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, Chase
Right,
Elliott,
so
24
there's
years
a-
old, Bill Elliott's son.
Decent gap of it
Oh,
covers
yeah,
a,
absolutely.
Yeah.
an array of
24-year-old with
ages.
a Hooters sponsor. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Classic
Hooters in
car.
Napa.
Yeah,
That's
he
a
fucking
play.
gets it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy gets it.
He's got the Napa Auto Parts as his
Yeah.
primary and Hooters as his secondary.
Hey,
I know Hooters had that kind of money.
It's
Yeah.
a flat
That
black
guy
car with
markets
like
it.
orange all over it. Like, sweet.
My
Yeah.
old driver
It's a
used
cool
to have Valvoline and then switched to Viagra when he got old. So I mean, that's fine.
Shouts to
good
Mark
for
Oh,
Martin.
Mark Martin.
Perfect.
Yeah, man, you got to take care of yourself first, you know?
You gotta do. If I
Um,
use it, I'm gonna sponsor it.
So, with the I'm sorry, what was the with the system that they implemented? The 3 stages. That's it.
Yep,
With the
yep.
3-stage system, does it make the whole race appealing front to back, or is there
Yeah.
a part of it that's like, oh, I got to watch at the end, or
So, I mean, It depends on the racetrack. It depends on what time of year it is. Like if there's
And where
playoff
the
berth
points
or
and-
whatever, where the points are currently sitting. But
Yeah.
it does make the vast majority of the races a lot more exciting because people will battle for more points earlier in the race. There'll definitely be some strategy involved, and you'll see sometimes, for 20 laps, people kind of like fall in line.
Yep.
But you'll even see like tough racing at the very beginning.
Is there a crash every race?
Most of the time.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Most of the time. It
And
depends.
Is it true that the stigma, there's a whole lot of people watch it just for the crashes?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay.
That's why it's
I'm
called
sure
the
there is.
big one at the super speedways. There's always what's called the big one, especially with like the new aero packages and stuff. Everyone tends to be a lot tighter.
Yep.
So one person crashes, they're taking like 10 people with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Eesh.
Right. Okay. Now, what's the stipulation of that? Say there is a large crash like that. What are you allowed to do to get back on the track?
There's a 5-minute window still.
Yep, 5 minutes.
Oh,
So,
Okay,
if you can get your car back to pit road, like they'll take a sawzall and cut the fender right off and put some speed tape
5
over it.
minutes. I mean, 5 minutes isn't shit for time.
No, you get
Especially with a big ass track.
It's forever
Yeah.
racing.
So
Yeah, I would
like
say
you bump somebody too hard and your fender's cutting your tire and you lose a tire. You go down there, take the tire off, get a giant BFH, smash the fender out, or
Yeah.
take a sawzall, cut it right off. They have giant cutoff wheels that they've.
I
implemented
just
this
saw
year
that.
cut the bumper
That
off.
thing's wild,
Like the ones
man.
they use for,
It looks like
concrete.
it's like
Dude,
concrete cutter,
it looks like it looks
Yeah,
like
sick.
a real destruction store. I need one of those for the
That's
house.
how you roll fenders these days.
I mean, I've seen
Take a little off the edge here.
I've seen races where they'll come back out and there's literally no nose left on the car. It's just
Oh, they'll rip it right off.
raw frame.
Oh, okay. So
Engine,
there's no,
just-
there's no.
You don't got to be pretty.
Yeah, it doesn't got to be pretty. There's
No.
no like restrictions on like.
They'll deem it safe or unsafe, but
Okay.
I mean, if you could literally rip the fender off and cover it in tape, and they'll be like, all right, ship
But
it.
wouldn't, even if it's deemed safe, wouldn't the lack of arrow
Yeah.
put them at a
Absolutely.
disadvantage?
Oh, absolutely, you're
Okay.
screwed. But if you think about it, at the end of the race,
You just want to finish, and
you want to finish, you're going to get more points.
Some
finishing
points are
is,
better than no
finishing
points.
is better than DNF. Well, I
Exactly.
know from
Oh,
experience.
yeah, weird how that works.
So
We call it joshing from now on.
Yeah.
So are there rivalries between drivers?
Oh,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
this past weekend.
yeah.
Yeah, you go. You go.
So there's actually been a couple of times where it's been Chase Elliott and another driver, Joey Logano, and they just have it out for each other. They don't care what race it is. If someone's 20 laps down, like so last weekend, Chase Elliott was in second place, running a really good line. He would have been able to take the lead and win the race, but Joey Logano, the guy who's a lap down, decides to just stuff him, block him, just doesn't even let him go anywhere, and just
This was a follow up from 2 weeks prior when Chase Elliott put Logano into the wall and took him out of the race.
So
So basically, I'll get you back.
Yeah.
It will
Yeah.
happen.
oh yeah, all the time.
So is there severe penalties associated with that, or is it one of those like I didn't mean to, the road got away from me?
It's a oops.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Oh,
Didn't
I
even see it, bro.
I had a tire going down and it cut right. Like they'll say that it'll do anything. Like
Right. Right.
as long as it's not, like, as long as you're not like,
Completely.
as long as you're not like T-boning a dude at like 100, like
Right.
you're probably not gonna get really like black flagged or anything like that. But I mean,
Yep.
there has been times where like the race is over, there's just dudes still battling it on the track and the race has been done for like 10 minutes.
Taking a couple victory lap
Oh,
battles.
absolutely.
It's probably like 3 weeks ago, I think it was, and there was a perfect line of cars that was just passing Kyle Busch, and he had nowhere to get in.
Yeah.
Once people get in the line, you're screwed. And
Yeah,
they
you're
just
fucked, yeah.
Slipstream right past you, and he tried to cut in and basically pit maneuvered Chase Elliott and completely wrecked him, took him out of the race. Chase jumps out of the car, runs halfway up the
Did he
track.
flip him the bird?
Yeah.
Okay,
He
I've
just
seen that one.
Runs
him
halfway
off
up the track,
the whole
pulls his
time.
helmet off as the cars are coming right at his face, just flipping him off.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's been
Um,
some helmets thrown onto
yeah.
the
Throw
track.
helmets at the cars.
Yeah, a lot of there's been a handful of fist fights recently.
Tony Stewart used to do that all the time. He'd
I was gonna say
take his
right.
helmet off and whip it at someone's windshield.
He's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
known for that, and
Oh, yeah.
and truly, it's organic and real, right? It's
Oh,
not
yeah,
like
absolutely.
not like a WWE situation.
oh no,
No.
it's they're like legitimately pissed off. And
right? Just
they take it out that way. as
because
opposed to
realistically,
the
they
other
have
way.
a shit ton on the line, right? They want to
yeah.
fucking keep their job, make their sponsors happy, etc.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, look what happened to what's his name?
That was like a good old fist fight to keep the sponsors happy.
Sounds like
it's
sounds like if the
awesome.
WWE
The
got
dude-
involved, we could really take this thing to the next
Right,
level.
this
The
thing
dude who
could be
lost
the
his
next-
sponsorship because of iRacing.
Oh, well,
Bubba,
he made a
rage quit.
racial.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that was different.
no,
That guy
Bubba
lost his
Wallace.
entire career.
okay.
Bubba Wallace got upset because he was losing and he rage quit. And he says, "This is why I don't take this internet thing seriously." And Blue
then-
Emu dropped him
And
as a
then
sponsor.
yeah,
real quick.
he was like, "Oh, we don't take this." Bye.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like the sponsors take it seriously. But if it's like a passion thing, like most of the time they'll kind of let that part go.
Okay. Right.
But like, I don't
So-
take this job seriously. Probably shouldn't say that to your sponsor.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But they picked it back up a couple weeks later.
Of course he did. He's good.
So we got
Awesome. I love that kid.
didn't get a glimpse into the future with COVID-19, but we got an alternative.
Mhm.
How was that? Did you watch any of the iRacing races?
I mean, I watched a little bit of it. Drivers were not taking it seriously at the beginning. They
Yeah.
were using it as more of like a simulator practice, whatever. But then as that kind of progressed, they kind of really got into it and
Yep.
more drivers joined. Like Kevin, my favorite driver, didn't partake for the first like 2 weeks.
Yep.
He's an older guy. He probably doesn't know how to turn it on.
Right.
And he-
Xbox. What are we talking?
I
But
can't
they're
get
like
my headset
legit
to work.
sims. Like they're
Oh
they're
yeah,
no
no, I've
joke.
seen. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And then he
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
right.
joined
Can't
in.
get my headset to work. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that from experience as
that-
well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they started really taking it seriously. It was actually kind of fun to watch. And,
Yeah.
and Jeff Gordon actually jumped back in and he raced one of them.
Oh, that's
Oh,
So there
really?
was two number
Yeah.
24 cars. 'cause
that's cool.
The 24 car's taken now.
Right, because
Yeah.
anything would go at that
Yep.
for that aspect of it.
So, it was cool.
So, kind of harping or going back to what Chuck said earlier, the future. What can we expect for the future of NASCAR? Because at some point, I am sure this is going to be a very scrutinized sport, if it's not already,
Mhm.
by certain outfits, if you will. Is there any talk about the future? Is it fuck it? We're going V8 strong until they have to pull them out of our cold dead hands.
I think it's kind of that right now.
Okay.
Obviously they've like done everything they can for safety and efficiency. Like they went to fuel injected cars and stuff like that. But I mean, I think it's going to be balls to the wall until they pry it from our cold dead hands.
What
kinda
kind of
thing.
fuel are they running?
I don't know.
Is it
I
just-
want to say it's over 100
I think
octane,
it's.
but
I think it's.
honestly
I
don't
think
know.
it's E85.
Really?
is
So
it?
they're running corn fuel?
I think so because
Oh,
they got.
I actually
They
don't know
got
the
the
answer
whole.
to that
They got
question.
the green. They got the green sticker right around the fuel
Interesting.
cap.
Okay.
So I'm assuming. I think it says E85 on it.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
don't know, not
That would make
sure off
sense,
the
like
top of my head,
horsepower
but-
rating and everything like that, and
Yeah.
so some efficiency there. But that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. So like, you take someone like
No, it's custom.
it's like custom blend.
It's an E15 98 octane.
Well,
So
that-
something specifically for them.
Yeah, that's why it has that.
Okay.
Sunoco makes it.
It's
Okay.
It's high ethanol.
So, yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
But in the future, like you take a sport like F1, right? And F1, they're still
Yeah.
gasoline-driven vehicles.
Mhm.
But then you've got the Formula E, right? I mean, is there anything in the pipeline that make room for NASCAR to have like an E series of some sort?
Is there, or that's another good question. Like, is there a AAA? Is there a lower league?
Yeah, you
Oh, yeah,
have the
yeah,
NASCAR Cup Series is your your big wigs.
Yeah.
You have the Xfinity Series, which is just below them, and you have the Truck Series.
Okay.
I'm about the trucks.
There we go.
The
Love
Truck
the trucks.
Series is sick, but a lot of the
Yeah.
drivers will actually race in the lower tiers, either
Yeah.
as more practice or for additional sponsor money,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, and a lot of them come up through those ranks to
Yeah.
make it into the big
Yeah.
leads.
And so again, to Corey's question, there's no NASCAR E.
No, not now.
Not yet.
I mean,
Yeah.
No.
I'm sure they can't ignore it forever.
Yeah.
One of those things. But
Maybe they can
And-
do
and
hybrid
that's-
power plants.
I was going to say
That's what
that's
I was
going to
thinking,
be a
probably half and
difficult,
half.
Dude,
difficult
electric
thing.
motors, you could change the restrictions on the fly. Like this race is boring.
Or-
Pump every up to
or
600.
add
Amp it up.
that, or even add the fact of like, batteries are similar to tires. You got to factor in the battery life.
yeah.
I have multiple
exactly.
battery packs. Et
Rear
cetera.
wheels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Makita, 18 volts.
Yeah, you get your front wheels are driven by
battery.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, electric motor, and the rear wheels are driven by the. I don't
The
know. There's
gas-
got to be
something.
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 Yeah, because they're gonna
Yeah.
have to tie it at some point because these
Yeah.
people are gonna. They're
Yeah.
not gonna
I'm
shut up.
sure there's plenty of stuff they're working on
Yeah.
behind the scenes
Yeah.
that I know of. No.
Right.
Yeah, I
But
asked you that
it's
question. Like
gotta be
it's
something.
like
Right.
they
It
gotta-
just, but there's nothing. Again, like you said, there's we know there's Formula E that exists. It's
Yeah.
the thing. But
Like
there's
the
nothing.
going green thing.
No one's
is
ever
so
seen it, but
big
it's a
that-
thing.
It's a
Yeah.
thing.
There's
Well,
gotta be
sure. I
something.
did see that one Formula E car fly through the air into the grandstands.
Yeah.
A couple
Oh,
years
flying through
ago.
the air. This is not good.
Yeah. Not
How-
not
It was bad.
not ideal.
how would the fans react to any sort of deviation from that?
I mean, it's going to look at this. It depends on the generation, really.
Yeah.
Like you look at the old guys that have been going for 40 years, and I've been going to this track forever. Like,
Not
they're
very
not going to be
receptive.
happy.
Yeah.
But you may usher in a whole new generation.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
not a ton
Right.
of guys like me and Steve that like religiously watch it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't miss a race unless someone in my family's selfish and has like a family party
Yeah.
or as a kid or
Motherfuckers,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're watching it.
But
every
I
week.
I don't miss races very often.
Along
but
that
there's not a lot of
same-
people like that.
Along that same line, are fans very receptive to Toyota showing up? And because they weren't in for a while, right? And then they
No.
came back a few years ago with a Solara or something.
When CDJR dipped, they came into the league and they've at first it was a big stirring, but they came out with some sweet cars and they picked up like
Was
a
it the
really
Camry?
good team. It's the Camry now, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so right now it's the Mustang, the Camaro, and the Camry.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
It's a 5.8 liter rear wheel drive Camry.
Now, why
Nice
did
car.
that automotive group, FCA or whatever, or Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, why
Money.
would they money?
Money. We
They
buy them.
ain't got none.
Well,
Yeah, you
but-
seen their offering?
But Toyota's actually right now in the Xfinity series using the Supra body,
right.
Really?
I
There
know
you
the
go.
Super.
So
yeah.
next year,
and
I
next
think
year will be the
next year-
Mustang Camaro and the Supra
Yeah.
in the Cup
That's
series.
cool.
The big wigs.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we
There's
go.
our in, boys.
Do
It's gonna be sweet.
do the cars actually resemble anything of what they're supposed to be?
They actually changed the aero among the 9,000 aero changes they
Yeah.
did. It was late 2016. They changed it to allow the bodies to look a lot more like the traditional ones. Like if you look at the 90s cars, like the Monte Carlo and stuff, it was just like a smooth body.
Yeah.
It looked nothing like a Monte Carlo. It had some
Right.
stickers that looked like fake headlights.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the new ones actually really do
Yeah.
look
Okay.
like the cars.
Because I imagine like the brands would want some sort of recognition out there.
Exactly.
Where, oh look, there goes a Mustang. Like there needs to be
Yep.
something.
And there's a bit of pride associated with that too. Like,
Exactly.
you know,
Oh,
they want
absolutely.
the Mustang wins.
You win
Yeah.
on Sunday, sell on Monday.
Sell-
Right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
That same.
Is there any? Well, I guess that answers that. It's the Mustang, I guess, but not really.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at the front of the bumpers, like the Camry, like even has like, I mean, they're not actual ducks, but they have like the divots in the front. On,
Yeah.
like, like the bumper where it would actually have the ducks on the Camry. And
Yeah,
like,
those
They're
are
not
those
actual
are
ducks on the Camry
They
either.
are ducks now.
they
on, some,
changed that?
on some of the races where those aero ducks are
Yeah.
the real aero ducks
Yeah.
on the bumper.
The
that you would
Super's gonna be
buy
super
from a
realistic.
Camaro.
yeah, exactly.
None of the
They
ducks
put
are
the
real.
No
Yeah.
ducks work.
Yeah, they put the ducks like in the exact same spot of the real car to make them look even more realistic.
Cool.
Now, if you had to take a stab at like where the stigma of NASCAR comes from,
That's a very long built stigma. You know,
so like how does that come about?
well, I mean, it like the roots come from the bootlegging.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
the
so
good
it
old
starts in the
boys.
South.
You know, started for sure. Started in the
And
South.
on
The
its-
majority of the tracks are in the South.
And
Yeah.
on its own, it's just such an American sport.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Matter of fact, there's no other league like it in the world, right?
No.
How many
European
international-
NASCAR.
Yeah, that's a Euro
Yeah, right.
NASCAR. Like, how many other or are there a lot of the field of drivers? Are there a lot of international drivers?
Not a lot. Daniel Suarez is from Mexico, I believe.
Yeah, he's from Mexico.
Kid's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But not a ton.
Okay,
Not a ton. Been a couple of women over the years.
Yeah. Danica Patrick.
Yeah.
It's the only one I know.
Yeah, she didn't do too well, anyways.
No, that didn't end. I mean, that wasn't a long stint at all, right?
No, I think it was like 3 or 4 seasons.
Who else? Travis Pastrana. Not that he's a woman, but Travis Pastrana. He made an
Yeah.
effort too,
Yeah, he
right?
did.
He
Try.
was
Did
he
over
really?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm unsurprised.
It
Did
was-
not know that.
Right,
but
right,
Yeah, it
unsurprised.
right.
doesn't surprise me, but
Yeah.
Makes,
the-
makes
the-
perfect
The
sense.
first woman was Janet Guthrie in the 70s. But yeah, I mean, it's a big internationally followed sport.
Yeah.
Yep.
But as far as like drivers and stuff, typically no.
Is it really
Be-
like? Is it huge in Japan? I don't.
I think out of our 3 international fans, 1 watches, so that's
Yeah.
33%.
Right.
It surprisingly has a pretty good following in the UK.
Okay.
Much like
Interesting.
a lot of people like F1 fans here.
Yep.
Right.
But we
right,
have one race. Like we have COTA.
Right.
And like that's it.
Right.
Ooh.
Um,
Listener question: is there any track that goes right instead of left?
negative.
Yeah.
Well,
What are you,
no,
crazy?
The road tracks.
Road tracks. You got Watkins
Watkins
Glen.
Glen.
The
Son-
Glen.
Pocono.
Sonoma.
Watkins Glen must be crazy to see NASCAR.
Yeah, it is
I can imagine.
ridiculous.
I know my old man
Because
saw
those-
F1 there when he was young.
Like
Oh, that must
the
have been awesome.
drivers,
He
I
said it
mean,
was fucking
are all
crazy.
I bet. I can imagine.
wildly skilled drivers. Like
Yeah.
they're professional race car drivers. But you give them these tanks that are meant to be battering rams at 200 miles an hour, and then you send them around a road course. These cars are not supposed to go around a road
Yeah.
course, and they are
Exactly.
hot garbage taking left turns. And it is amazing. For a couple of years, they had those big wings in the back. Even worse.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those did not work at all. They're like, oh, this will be create a ton of
But
downforce until it spins around and
It
flips
makes
you into
them
the
that
air.
much more interesting that there's like a random chicane. Like, oh god, this thing won't turn.
Oh, geez, please turn.
Yeah.
You'll see like half of them just go straight because they forget there's an actual right turn in the NASCAR race. Like,
They just hit the apex, come off the
Yeah.
ground. It's amazing.
like oh shit,
So-
burns.
Take me through like kind of like what, because you've attended a bunch of races.
Yep.
So like this is like this is tailgating for football right before it,
Oh
right?
yeah.
yeah.
So there's a whole subculture involved in just attending the race, not even the race itself,
Oh.
just attending it.
Yeah.
I mean, people take that stuff very passionately.
So I've been to Daytona Speed Week.
Yep.
They call it Speed Week for a reason. There's a race every single day for an entire week before Daytona 500.
Mhm.
So people will literally take their campers and live there for a week.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Obviously, other races are different if it's a one-day event, whatever. But people get there first thing in the morning as soon as the gates open. Sometimes they'll camp out down the street, or they make it a weekend event.
Yeah.
Because you got like Xfinity race on Saturday. Sometimes it's a Truck Series Friday night, whatever. But people make full weekends out of it. So
Yeah.
people will bring their campers, bring their families, and be there for
What?
the
Yeah.
entire weekend.
What's the NASCAR at Thompson? They have a NASCAR thing there, don't
Oh, yeah, they do circle track.
Is that-
They have
yeah,
a
it's like,
circle
it's like
track.
yeah, it's like a little modified class.
they? Okay.
Yeah, they do
So
circle
it's be
track.
crazy.
But like when I used to go up to Loudon, like we'd pack up the truck, we'd be leaving 3 o'clock in the morning, getting there 6 o'clock, firing up, making breakfast,
Yeah.
chilling out, hanging out before they open up the gates, get all this shit ready, make friends with your neighbors. So then
Yeah.
it turns into like, oh, I don't have this. Oh, you can borrow it. Blah blah blah. Like you think it's gonna be way worse than it is because you think there's a whole bunch of rednecks getting shit faced at 6 o'clock in the morning
In New
You know,
Hampshire.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
New Hampshire. Like
Well, it
Texas
is, but
North.
really nice ones.
Yeah.
but it actually like the community of it is actually pretty like
100%.
good. Like
Yeah.
you
Well,
make- you
that's
make
that's
friends
nice
with
to know.
everybody. Yeah,
So like it's not like intimidating to attend and stuff
no,
like that. Yeah.
No, it's
especially
not
if
like
you're new to it, they're not gonna be like, get out of here. Like you
Yeah.
don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like they're gonna be like, oh, you want to know what this is? Like, oh, I'll show you this or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Like,
Yeah, like if you say it's your first race, they may make you chug a beer, but
No, they
everyone's
probably
gonna
will.
like, they're gonna like take you under their wing like you're their newborn baby,
yeah.
and the community, like he said, is just fantastic. You go tailgate, you make best friends like this.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter if you're on the same team, favorite drivers, rival drivers.
Doesn't
Very
matter.
seldom do you see
Yeah.
people like throwing hands aside from like those random.
Well,
drunk
that's
idiots.
that's after the race is done.
That doesn't count. But yeah, it's a really good community. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, it sounds awesome. I mean, like I said, we talked and I said, I mean, if they can have people there, I mean, I'll go. I mean, I want to see this. You know, I want to try and understand it, get a better appreciation for it, more than just kind of what I knew it was on the surface.
Oh yeah.
I unfortunately don't think it's happening this year.
No,
No, probably not.
Yeah.
but
Funny thing
There's
is,
next year.
So it's
NASCAR,
next
Right,
year.
right.
Yep, exactly.
New Hampshire is the last race on the schedule that doesn't have official tickets yet. Everything after it has tickets.
oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So we need
fuck it,
1
just have
week
everyone come.
earlier,
Yeah.
and the tickets will be available. You can go to
Right.
NASCAR's website and buy tickets at every single other race except New Hampshire.
Now, what's that? I said last week that they opened, what was 5,000 tickets available.
5,000 at Talladega.
Yeah.
Out of,
So it
like,
was just like first come first serve.
Well, a lot of it was like people that already had tickets.
Like,
Oh, okay.
Like when the season released, you could buy tickets.
Yeah.
So if you
Can
already
you
had
buy season tickets?
No.
Okay.
because
It's per
every
rate, right.
every track's different.
Yeah.
Like Loudon, obviously.
Yeah,
is-
there's no
ha-
blanket, I
yeah.
guess, to cover it all. But
Right.
yes, I mean that answers that. So if
Yeah.
you already had a ticket or whatever, but I mean 5,000 tickets isn't a lot.
I think their stands like 70,000.
Yeah,
Something massive.
Jeez. Everybody gets a section.
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's wild. Don't quote me on that. I don't know Talladega very well, but like, you know, that's nothing compared
Yeah.
to what they usually have for
Yeah.
attendance.
How has it been watching without fans?
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah,
Okay,
it doesn't
so
matter.
right from
You
that
can't hear 'em
aspect
anyway.
doesn't right.
No.
There's no doesn't really change anything.
They're still just
Changed
as
nothing at
competitive
all.
With,
Yeah.
without the fans there. I mean, they even still. I mean, Ryan Newman won down in Atlanta, and not Ryan. Kevin Harvick went down in Atlanta, and
Hell yeah.
I believe that was the first. Once he got into NASCAR, that was the first track he won at,
Mhm.
which was also Dale Earnhardt's favorite track.
Okay.
The first thing he did was do the Polish victory lap, which Alan Kawicki did. He did backwards around the track, and he held up 3 going all
Yep.
the way around. Even this year, he won that same track this year. Nobody in the grandstand still did the
Did the
exact
same
same
thing.
salute.
Oh, that's cool.
It's my boy.
Yeah. What are some traditions, like winning traditions, stuff like that you see from drivers?
Big old smoky burnout.
Big old smoky burnout
If
for
you-
sure.
If you win the 500, you have to destroy the front stretch grass. You
Yeah.
have to destroy the grass. out
Just
there.
fuck it up.
That's
Oh, yeah,
what you
you-
do. Yeah, you, just
You win the
annihilate the
you win the
fucking grass.
Daytona 5. You go all the way back around 2.5 mile track, and you just come in hot to the grass and
just-
just
Yeah.
destroy
You
the
just have
grass.
that.
Isn't there milk involved at some point?
No,
Which
that's
race is
that's
that? Is that Indianapolis?
that's Indy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
believe
okay.
it's Indy.
All right.
And I think that's
Yeah,
But
Indy
NASCAR
car.
does
500, yeah.
does
Yeah.
kiss the bricks. They do the
Yeah.
the same
Okay.
kiss the
They do
bricks
the
kind of
brick
thing.
kiss.
Because there's a lot of like weird kind of like things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The-
Right, right.
The funny weird things are like the trophies.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Martinsville.
Martinsville trophy is a grandfather clock. It's like a $4,000 grandfather clock. It is. I'm a big clock guy, which is kind of my weird fact for the
Yeah.
day.
There you go.
But it's a gorgeous grandfather clock.
Yeah.
And other trophies are like 5 feet tall. They look like the aggro crag from
Right,
Guts.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
They're just absurd. It's like, where do you put all these?
Yeah. That's just
But yeah,
in
there's
storage
some cool
somewhere.
stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like everyone does a big smoky burnout or
Yeah.
whatever. Cracks beer, dumps it on their face because
Yeah, I was like beer, champagne. I thought milk.
Carl Edwards used to do backflips, but he doesn't win anymore, so it's not doing those.
They climb. Sometimes they climb the.
Tony Stewart used to climb the fence
Okay,
and grab the
okay.
flag.
A lot of people will grab the flag now and just like do a lap with the flag out, whatever. But
Have there been many changes that affected viewing a race by being there, i.e., the safety stuff?
no, I mean they did a really good job with like the crazy new cages and fences and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
if you YouTube like crazy NASCAR crashes, you'll see people like in
That's
the
right.
70s
you
going
just
up and
hear
over
of-
the fence and all
yeah,
that
yeah,
crazy stuff. It doesn't happen anymore. A couple
Okay.
tracks they actually did a double wall. So there's like your normal wall, and then there's like those squishy barriers, and
Yeah.
then another
Safety
wall.
barrier
So
walls,
like
yeah.
the safety ones.
Yep.
So they've done a lot, and none of which really affects you seeing.
Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when Austin Dillon crashed at Daytona, and his car went up and hit the catch fence,
Yep.
and his car was going about 100 and hit one of those poles and dead stop, like immediately.
Just stopped it,
It
right.
just stopped and spun him around and everything, and dude just climbed out like nothing ever happened to
Yeah.
him.
Huh.
Yep.
I mean, it
And
does
people were
go.
like 2 feet behind the fence. No
Yeah.
problem.
It does. When's the last time, unfortunately, somebody passed away in NASCAR?
I think Dale
Senior.
Senior,
So that's
2001.
that's
Dale Earnhardt.
that's
yeah,
pretty crazy.
yeah,
Daytona
2001.
500,
So I mean
2001.
that's
We're
19
coming up on
years.
20 years. Yeah.
Right, right. And obviously the Newman stuff, that was a hell of a wreck.
Yeah. He's lucky.
But the safety precautions are clearly,
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually added a new a new safety bar that will be in effect this Sunday for the first time because of the Newman crash too.
okay.
You know
So-
the bar that saved his life was actually called the Newman
It
bar?
was the Newman
Yeah.
bar.
He-
Yeah,
he-
I thought that
he
was
made that
fascinating.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
What they did, they V'd that same bar off.
Yeah,
So
they made
it's
another
the same bar.
one.
They
Yeah.
just added an additional one.
Yeah, just for
So,
additional
yeah.
support
Like
in case it
that's-
does get T-boned.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
So do they study these cars that get crashed?
Oh,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they
constantly.
take it back and like study it and kind of see what's
Yep.
going on.
You wreck a car, they'll probably take it from you.
Yeah.
You'll never see that again.
But that's half the thing. Like they implement all this aero stuff and the safety precautions, and they slow the cars down, increase drag, whatever, to both make it more exciting for fans, make it safer for the drivers, make sure people don't die.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the Hans devices were initiated because of Dale Earnhardt's
Dale
crash.
Earnhardt, right?
That and the safety barrier walls too, because he just went straight into a concrete wall at 170
Yep.
and no Hans device. So I mean, just
It was sheer, purely just the impact.
exactly just
Yep.
it's the impact that killed him.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Well, it's good that.
On that note,
Yeah.
Jesus.
A bit somber,
Good for you.
but gentlemen,
Darken it
thank
up
you,
for ya.
thank you very much for teaching us up on the NASCAR stuff. I'm sure we're gonna have some questions related to everything that goes left as we continue here. So, boys, without any further ado, want to get into some questions?
Sure.
No, I got all mine
right,
out there.
So, let's see. Never finishing projects. Here we go. This is going to start a
Oh
discussion.
boy, here we
Here
go.
we go.
Is there anything that makes Chuck happier than when he sees a Mark III die?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about resurrecting one from the dead?
I mean, if you want to spend your time like that, bro,
You do you, boo boo.
it doesn't offend me. I'm not wildly offended either way.
Ass, I'm gonna go look at my third Mark III, probably tonight or tomorrow.
Oh
Yeah.
on the way home.
Uh,
Another one.
Yep.
Sean, Tootle.
Sean
Tootle.
Tootle.
I think we kind of answered. Oh, the boys kind of answered this. Thoughts on restrictor plate races? I think, or
No longer restrictor plate races.
right, so restrictor V races.
So, fun fact. The reason they-
Tapered funnel.
Tapered
It's
funnel.
literally a spacer.
The reason they did that is because Rusty Wallace decided to qualify one day at 220 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, we got to take these down just a hair.
Let's bring this back.
That's how you get it
Yeah,
done.
let's
Yeah.
take it
Back when the
down.
cars had like a half cage, you're like, whatever.
A guy with that's all it took is a guy with fucking
Yeah.
melons
Yeah,
to
with
just get out
with
there.
like a skull cap and goggles.
Half
like
cage to
going
protect the fuel
220.
cell at all
Oh,
costs.
Yeah, that's it.
my
Just
God.
fuel.
Let's see. Jake _ MX5.
JKMX5.
How many right turns does it take to get kicked out of NASCAR?
One.
One.
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
One.
Let's see. Jake _ MX5.
Jake
NASCAR
_
question for Chuck.
Oh, yeah,
why,
here we go.
why are there no Subarus in NASCAR?
Oh man, those things they have to run those things 2 races, man. Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
What did they have? They had to make 500 horsepower. Or they're making 550 horsepower.
Yeah, they
This
did-
is
they-
not
They're
possible.
restricted to 500.
They pull them down to 500. I don't know.
Yeah.
Subaru,
It's
you
be a
get
lot
to
of boxer
500,
engines.
The ringlands just go.
Yeah, 350.
I drive cool cars.
I drive cool
think we
cars.
kind of get into this, but he writes, will NASCAR always be rear-wheel drive, naturally aspirated V8 platforms?
Here's to it.
How has it changed the last 30 years? All right, which I
I
think
mean,
the answer
we
there's
pretty
no,
much covered it.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't
there's
know
no,
yet. We assume that they're working on something, but
Here's one that I think you guys will have to answer because I won't know this. Ronan _ H21.
Ronan H21.
Oh, my boy.
Why is Martin Truex
Truex.
Jr. Truex Jr. Wow, of course, the way I am
Yeah,
gonna read
yeah.
it
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
the way I.
Yep. Martin Truex.
Better than Kevin Harvick.
Oh, that's for me because I talk to him quite
I
frequently.
know he's
about
he's
our NASCAR.
R1
Yeah.
European NASCAR.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah.
say.
Him and I talk
I
pretty
wanna out
frequently,
him.
and that's just flat out wrong.
Tough to be that wrong.
But Martin Truex is the man because he's sponsored by Bass Pro Shop, and he literally looks
Ooh.
like he went fishing before every single race.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's not like a full beard, but it's like I haven't shaved in a couple days. I got back from a fishing trip beard. It's,
Right.
My
it's,
guy.
it's fantastic.
Shout out to the Lock City Lunkers.
for like the past
Yeah.
like 5 years.
It's been the same for almost a decade. It's amazing.
Ransom Garage.
Ransom Pete.
Shouts to Pete. He just writes local NASCAR track versus Cup. Choose one. I don't know what he means by that.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. Like
Versus
track
a
versus
Cup track. I don't know if that's the thing. Cup track.
I mean, where,
Do you
where is
pick
he
a
from?
local track and put Cup cars on it?
No.
He's from Western Mass.
Oh, I mean, Loudon is our local track,
That's
but
Yeah.
the one close.
unless he's talking about like the championship race, which is
Maybe.
usually at Homestead, which is I don't know.
I don't know. Lost me on that one.
Yeah,
Sorry
Pete,
about
follow up.
Slide in my DMs.
God
follow
bless
up.
Pete.
Let us know.
Pudva just writes. Fuck,
Fubba.
fuck Kyle Busch.
Yeah, fuck
Wow.
the Bush.
I mean, I wasn't gonna go there. I was
There
trying
it
to be
goes.
nice,
Get it,
but
Pudva.
The Bush brothers suck.
that goes back to the Chase Elliott conversation when he ran up the
Yep.
track with the middle fingers out. There's now
Yeah.
T-shirts and swag that says "Fuck Kyle Busch"
Yep.
with a big picture of Chase on it. It's awesome.
Let's see. Rinks. Ryan XNN.
Ryan
Something like that. Thoughts on VIP/BIPPU BIPU style cars?
I don't know what BIP.
Bippu's the
Bippu?
Japanese stuff with like the big victory pipes
talking
and
about
like
Okay,
the long
Bosuzoku
extended
style?
stoppers.
Bozukus?
Oh,
that's the-
Bosuzoku.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
that's what I thought.
VIP
remember.
cars are fucking
VIP
sick.
cars
I'm
are
about
crazy.
VIP.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
VIP cars, but Bosuzokus every now and then just come in being loud as shit, and you'll never.
It's
you'll,
funny.
You
Oh,
will not look
the
at them.
Bippu
Yeah,
style
yeah.
is
You're always gonna
VIP
see them.
style.
Okay.
It's a Japanese term.
If it's
So
a
it's the
Japanese
same.
term for it, yes.
I like
Okay.
VIP cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, the VIP, especially the lengths they go to just fucking
To
cut
just
shit
suffer.
out.
To just
Oh,
suffer.
Right, to
insane.
just yeah.
They cut the
Or
floors
the,
out.
yeah, the dudes who open up the
completely.
back door and you just see pavement.
Yeah,
like-
dude.
Right, or open up the back door. Right, you open up the back door and you see
see-
the inner fender cut
Yeah,
away, and you
just
just see a tire inside the
tire.
car.
Dude, you
Yeah.
get me those
Flat ground with rocks. shoved
big
out.
body
Back of it.
Japanese luxury stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
My
slam the
buddy,
shit out of it.
Love it.
Put some emits on it. Call it a fucking
My
day.
buddy Taylor had a W12 A8L.
Oh yeah, the
Big
There it
shots
is.
to Taylor.
Nuts.
There it is.
Thing was amazing. Just bagged on big wheels with like a wrap, like
Yeah.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big,
was
big boys
sick.
are sick, man.
So
Especially
comfy,
VIP'd up.
He didn't go like static crazy and cut things out, but still.
This
Yeah, but
was
you just
awesome.
use metal pipes instead of suspension.
Exactly.
The sidewall will handle it. It's got a 10, 15 sidewall. It'll be
Go
fine.
straight
There's
ramp.
been so many times where I'm just on YouTube and it just turns into Bosuzoku cars or like VIP cars leaving a show, and they're just
Oh, they're all just
sending it
turtling.
50
Yeah.
miles an hour, just
Yeah.
right over it, just airing the whole thing
Yeah.
out.
Just free willy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Coilover, you mean Weldon?
Yeah.
Let's see. That's Mr. Josh Pelletier to you.
Mr.
He
Josh
just
Felter.
writes,
It's lengthy.
Hi, I'm Ricky Bobby. If you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
When you're working on your mysterious lady parts. Maybach's official tampon in NASCAR.
S15 OCP writes, who
15.
is John Blaze?
John
Blaze,
Blaze?
is everyone we strive to be.
Johnny Blaze?
You really should just
You
get
want the real
just
story?
just Blaze sound.
Oh,
Just
is,
Blaze. Yeah.
is there really a
Just
John Blaze
Blaze?
story?
John Blaze is a Marvel character, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was a clothing company in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Johnny Blaze?
Johnny
Yeah.
Blaze. And a damn
They
thing
made
changed.
sweet jean shorts that were like more like capris.
Yeah. I got a pair on right
Hot
now.
fire.
Username _ Liska.
Let's go.
Which car company has the widest gap between their best looking and worst looking cars? He thinks Mercedes.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know. Ford went pretty bad for a while and then came back.
Is he talking about
I'm
like
going-
current car?
I'm going Lamborghini.
Oh,
Their truck is
yeah.
I think
horrific.
current,
and
yeah.
the Aventador is just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a
And there's
tough
only
one
like
there.
4 cars, not even 3 cars.
Like I
but-
can't picture what's the
like-
worst looking Chevy because the C8 looks pretty good.
I mean, the Sonic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
The
the,
Volt.
the Cruise or something.
Right? Yeah, Bolt.
yeah.
What is it? Bolt? Because
Does
get
Ford
rid of
have
Bolt.
anything
The
that
Volt,
looks
the
good?
Volt. There's all of them. It's
Yeah.
That looks
god-awful.
good.
Oh, the GT, the Ford
The
GT.
GT.
Yeah.
The Raptor.
Ford Rap. Right. There's
What's
some
just the
stuff on-
ugliest car on the block right now, besides the Lamborghini Urus?
Like an actual, like a real
Honda
person car.
Insight, because that
Yeah.
thing's god awful.
Yeah.
They still make those?
I mean, if
Or, or whatever. Or
you could throw
Clarity.
Nissan in the
I'm
ring because
sorry.
the cube
The
is at the
Honda
bottom
Clarity.
and
They made a
everything
new-
looks better
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah,
Essentially
but
a new
nothing's
Insight
good.
It's-
God-awful.
it's-
Even the R35.
What about the Murano convertible? The
Oh.
Nissan Cube and the Murano convertible were out at the same time. That's a wide gap of
Ooh.
hot and not.
The
That's
Nissan
true.
Juke
Yeah.
What
compared
else is
to
there?
the
Hot
Murano
garbage
version.
What's
out
the
there.
ugliest car currently made?
That's what I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
I
that's
honestly,
what
I really think the Lamborghini truck's really bad.
I think I'm with Chuck with
The
Lambo.
Udis.
The Urus.
The Urus is bad, dude. And then
Ferrari
and
was pretty bad when the California was out.
in
That
the
thing was
big
gross.
Lambo, the Aventador is so good.
Yeah.
It makes me like, you know what? I mean, that's
Like, what are you doing?
yeah. What happened there?
The BMW grills are pretty.
BMW grills
Uneven.
are bad, but I don't think there's anything that
Not-
good looking.
Yeah. So the gap is
Oh,
really.
man.
yeah.
I
You don't
wanna
have
think
to be
about
that great.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's not.
The 8 Series looks real good, but not good enough. Not like Lamborghini. I don't know.
Right.
Who? What's the worst car?
That's not, I can't.
That's a good question.
I'd really have to give that some thought. And
Yeah,
I'm sure
just off
there's
the top
probably
of my head, I seriously think Lamborghini's the one.
there's
when
probably an
Tesla's Roadster
obvious
comes
one
out,
right
it'll be the
now.
Tesla Roadster and the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, that's
Cyber.
true.
That's
I'm
a
sorry, but
good-
that thing is.
I mean, it's not out, but
It's not out.
That's
That's
one that
pretty
I just,
easy one.
It
That
does
thing
look
is
like
out.
my 3-year-old nephew decided to design
Right.
a truck,
It's just
so.
like
He did a
wait,
beautiful job.
He did great.
He's a special boy.
Yeah, right.
this is real. That's what I thought. This
can't
is
even draw my
real.
own
This can't
name.
be real. Let's see. Artie Woo Cakes. What was your
Artie Woo
favorite?
Cakes.
What was your favorite TV show growing up?
G.I. Joe.
I don't know.
Big
Growing up.
G.I. Joe guy.
Dude, Transformers for fucking sure.
Transformers,
strong one.
good, like that.
Land of the Lost is pretty
Anything
tight
on
as well, but-
Nickelodeon? Anything
know.
like the Dude?
Yeah,
Right?
like-
Hey Dude.
Rocket
Oh,
Power.
hey, dude.
Yeah, Rocket Power was cool.
Shorts.
Hey
Rocket
Arnold.
Power was good.
Real Monsters.
I like Recess a lot. But
Oh, Recess.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
That was a
Fuck's
good one.
Recess.
hey, if you sign up for Disney Plus, it's on there.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah,
I'm going
Recess
G.I.
is
Joe,
great.
for sure.
What's Recess?
What?
It's
What is
a
wrong with you?
It was a cartoon.
I-
that
I
I-
was probably 20 when it
I was
came
gonna
out.
say, I've not watched that one.
No.
Fraggle Rock, you guys down?
Fraggle Rock. Fuck
I'm almost
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm
another
turning
good one.
32
Hell yeah.
in a week, so 2 weeks.
My GTI _MA.
Yeah, ma.
Kyle,
Big booth.
what's worse than second place?
If you ain't first, you're last.
Nothing worse.
Let's see. We'll do a couple more. Oh, Steph Wong
Steph Wong.
Big shouts.
just writes
There you go.
just to thank you for making Kyle's dreams come true. He's been preparing for this day.
That mustache is dope. I mean, that's what we have to do if we go.
I was going to say my assumption is you grew the mustache just because we were talking NASCAR.
No, I started growing the beard for COVID, and then I was
should've
like, all right,
pulled
this is
it
going to just take too long until I go back to the office. So then one day I just decided to shave it into a mustache.
I mean, it's a proper push broom.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I've recently learned from
You
Bill
clean
Burr.
a mean floor with that.
Well, as soon as the NASCAR season started, I'm like, that's it. Do it
Yeah.
for Dale.
Makes sense.
And she
I've
hates it.
recently
Come
learned.
on.
Oh,
it's
she hates
magnificent, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks
Don't let her
to,
change you.
Thanks to Bill Burr, I've recently learned that in order to be a proper fireman's mustache, you have to have the grow over the lip.
Yeah,
you
gotta
can't,
block the
can't
lip.
trim
Oh,
the
yeah.
lip.
Yeah,
you have to
yeah,
have the
cover.
grow over.
Well,
yeah.
I
The
cut
curl
it. I
in.
cut it
Right,
on the
right.
inside of the lip line, so I don't actually eat it, but
Yeah.
it still
Yeah.
has to cover
it's
the
still
top.
over
Yeah.
there.
For sure.
Yeah, that's why I shaved my beard the other day just because I got tired of wearing a mask and eating my own hair.
Yeah, that's the
because of wearing a
worst.
mask.
It
So
doesn't help.
let's see. German Blake just writes, "Miss you all. You're
Oh.
lucky. There's your one question
I
for
don't
the
miss
rest
your
of the year."
pool.
SRT forever.
SRT forever.
Are hot dogs?
Yes.
Are hot dogs tacos or sandwiches?
Sandwiches, man.
Sandwich.
What
The sandwiches.
How's that a taco?
Is it in
Neither
a taco
fucking
shell?
trash.
There's no flour.
It's
a
hot-
sausage,
flour
man.
tortilla.
If you have two options, hot dog or hamburger, what you picking first?
Hamburger.
Oh, hot dog all day.
I'm picking hot dog first.
Really?
Yeah.
Hot
big
dog guys.
guy.
Josh,
We're
break this
NASCAR
up.
guys,
We
so
got a
hot dog
tie.
guys.
Get some hot dog guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. What
Hot
was
dog
the-
and hamburger, buddy.
What
What are you
picking first?
taking?
Oh, hot dog or hamburger? Hamburger.
All
Yeah,
right.
there we
Yeah, yeah.
Hamburgers rule.
Yeah, I
Ben.
think if there's a proper
Hamburger.
choice.
But hot
Oh.
Hamburger.
hot
Oh,
dogs are a
yo,
lot more
Ben.
difficult to ruin. If you don't trust the cook, hot dogs are better.
Yeah, if you don't
bet.
trust the
dogs are
cook, hot
simple.
dog's just
Yeah.
nothing.
And
you
that's
can't
that's
ruin
a
hot dog.
couple quick
True.
gaggers. That's all.
I don't mind a hot dog here and there, but
Yeah.
you get a nice burger.
True.
Last one, SRT forever.
I love that name, SRT Forever.
He
It's
just
Josh's
sent-
alias.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He got 7 questions in here.
Oh, pump them out.
We're gonna end with this one because we're going pretty long here, and I'm hungry. SRT forever.
SRT Forever.
Best sounding blow off valve.
None. A recirculating
duck.
one.
What's
Well,
the one that
the
makes the duck
turkey.
noise?
Well, the
oh, the
turkey.
turkey.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm an HKS Sisqua guy.
Super
Yeah.
sequential.
I like the
King. I'm that.
SSQ4.
I
But
did like the Turbo XS one when you had like 50-50 recirc. That sounds
Yeah.
pretty nice.
the old RFL one, the one that sounded like you were getting hit in the face with a bucket of
RFL,
water.
Right.
Oh, that,
But it wasn't great. I'm a ski bob.
yeah.
Skiing. That's me. I mean, I have one on my car. So.
I like the turkey.
the turkey, the quack call.
The turkey, yeah.
I remember. Actually, no blow off valve and just straight compressor surge. Just like,
As I said, just straight recirc.
So
Yeah.
any
all
Supra.
yeah, I ran my car like that for a little bit. I don't think it was great for anything, but it sounded cool as
Yeah,
hell.
no, the turkeys. I just remember my friend Wayne's
to Wayne.
Conquest.
Ooh.
Shouts to Wayne's
Conquest.
And it
Wayne
was
got a ton apparently.
It was just the doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. That was it. Any off-road.
Yeah.
doo-doo-doo. That's it. I'll take that all day.
Those are cool.
That's going to do it for us. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to hang out. And
Absolutely.
like I said, schooling
My
us
pleasure.
on NASCAR.
Thank you, thank you.
You did pique my interest, and I may actually turn the channel to watch one of those races.
You are
someday.
welcome
But-
to come watch.
I think I
CB by
peaked
the
during
pool
this
as well.
podcast.
So that's part of the deal is like I'd much prefer to watch one. It seems like a very together event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Much more fun with a bunch of
Yeah,
people.
I mean, see, if you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
go with the boys. It sounds like.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been keeping it socially distant, keeping it light, but watching it at the house
Jeez.
outside.
We-
and,
we
it's a good time.
Just
Yeah,
thinking
we're not
out,
worried about it.
just
Hanging out in
thinking,
the pool, watching NASCAR.
I was
just-
saying that for the people listening.
thinking out loud. We have a space. I think we have access to a projector, and
I was
we have
gonna
a
say-
large
I
wall.
was say we should do a
We do a little
NASCAR
car.
projector.
That'd be
Little
pretty-
NASCAR on here.
pretty
I like
interesting.
how you're just taking
Some
that
hot
as your
dogs?
idea. Like I didn't DM you about that.
Oh, yeah.
Tell him
did
to tell you about that too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
there
yeah,
we
you
go.
did tell me that.
I have a very short.
They tell me,
memory.
but
Josh texted me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, guess this idea I just came up with.
Hey, don't read that message from Kyle.
That is going to do it